Cautiously, Lin Wanmo looked a little dazed. It wasn't until Zhang Xiangyun came out to find her that she came to her senses. Wanmo, tell me honestly, what is your relationship with Yi Chen? What else could it be, just friends? Lin Wanmo's heart was shocked, but she still spoke calmly. The gap between Yi Chen and you is too big. You should know what to do. I know it's annoying, isn't it? I finally get home and you guys keep nagging me. If you keep doing this, I won't come back. All right, I won't say anything more. Is that okay? I don't know who I'm worrying about all this for every day. After taking a shower, Lin Wanmo lay on the comfortable and soft bed, tossing and turning. She doesn't have any prejudice, but my parents came from that era, and their ideas are deeply rooted. No matter how outstanding Yi Chen is, without a good background, in their eyes, he is just a poor boy who is not worthy of them at all. But, is this really the case? Lin Wanmo was very suspicious. First is Hu Xiaoyao, the account manager of Tianxing Trust, took the initiative to come to my door to borrow money and solve the funding problem. And who is the source of this funding? No matter what, it is definitely related to Yi Chen. Let's talk about gambling on stones. Forget about the glutinous rice type, glass type, and ice glass type. He also gave the imperial green and emerald green to himself. If we add in the previously discovered trader Wang Kao, the formula for Yan series II, and the stock market suggestions. If you say that Yi Chen is not worthy of me, isn't that nonsense? However, if I tell this to my parents, they definitely won't believe it. No matter what, there will always be a way out when the car reaches the mountain. Lin Wanmo took a deep breath. The scene of the two of them holding hands just now appeared in her mind, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curl up slightly. But, congratulations to the host, your favorability has increased, and you'll be rewarded with a Hennessy Viper GT supercar. Sitting in the taxi, Yi Chen closed his eyes to rest, but a sudden sound made him lose all sleepiness in an instant. Hennessy Viper GT, known as the king of sports car speed. Even though he had seen countless storms and waves, he couldn't help but be shocked at this moment. I didn't expect that I would get such a reward just when I was planning to buy a car. Could it be Lin Wanmo really has feelings for me? Yi Chen felt that what excited him more than the supercar was, of course, the increase in Lin Wanmo's favorability towards him. Cull. Yi Chen slowly exhaled a breath of foul air. By this time, the reward had been distributed, and he got the car keys. As for the Hennessy Viper GT supercar, it was naturally in the apartment parking lot. As soon as he got off the car, Yi Chen went straight to the parking lot. But, just before he arrived at the parking lot, he heard a frantic chatter. Oh my God, whose car is this? It's so cool. Yeah, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche are completely incomparable. A car like this should cost tens of millions, right? 10 million? You're so ignorant. This is the Hennessy Viper GT supercar, a limited edition, only 20 of them. Hiss, that must be tens of millions. But who is so rich that doesn't live in a villa and instead squeezes into an apartment with us? Amidst the discussion, Yi Chen pressed the car key. Beep, beep. Everyone turned around and looked at Yi Chen, their faces full of shock. Chapter 63. Meng Zixuan's dream is to become a racing driver. Hennessy Viper GT supercar, cool muscular shape, bright yellow paint. It looks bold and fierce, full of grandeur. Its power is equipped with the LS96-2 LV8 supercharged engine from the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, with a maximum power of an astonishing 1,200 horsepower. It can reach 100 km/h in 2.4 seconds, and has a top speed of 440 km/h, making it the undisputed king of supercars. It is difficult to find a car on the market now. It can be said that there is no small goal that cannot be bought. However, but everyone found that Yi Chen opened the car door and sat in. Hiss, I'm not seeing things. He is actually a rich second generation. The Hennessy Viper GT supercar is unique in Shanghai. Ferraris, Porsches, and Lamborghinis all have to step aside. Such a young, rich second generation and so handsome. But I wonder if he has a girlfriend. Hee, you can lie to us, but don't lie to yourself. How could he not have a girlfriend? I'm so envious. I'd be willing to drive this kind of car for a day and lose a year of my life. Amid the discussions of the crowd, the unique roar of a supercar was heard. Boom, boom, boom. Like a spring, it shot out rapidly. The people on both sides of the road looked envious. Very. There were also girls wearing skirts who couldn't help but scream. Enjoying the feeling of being pushed back at lightning speed, Yi Chen's mood also surged. He had never driven any sports car, but as soon as he got in, he felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. It made it easy for him to drive, as if he was a veteran who had been driving for more than 10 years. Only, at this point in time, although there was a lot less traffic, the sports car couldn't get any faster. Thinking of this, Yi Chen headed straight for the mountain road around the city. There, it is a famous gathering place for racing gangs. The ring road around the mountain is about 20 kilometers long. The road winds around Kangshan Mountain, and the difference in height between the top and the foot of the mountain is nearly 500 meters. But because it was constructed in recent years, the road is very well maintained and there are no potholes, which is why it has become a favorite of speed racers. Even now, it's almost 10 o'clock and the place is still crowded. Hey Lao Song, you've taken so long to come. You're out picking up girls again. Go away, Gao Cheng, how dare you criticize me? You've already changed 4 or 5 this month. Okay, stop joking. The competition is about to start at 10 o'clock. Let's see who can win tonight. Is that even a question? Of course it's our female racing goddess. Well, there's nothing we can do. Feng Ruhunen found Hennessy, a well-known foreign modification factory. The Lamborghini Aventador, which was already the king of cornering, is now even more unbeatable. Heh, that's not necessarily true. I heard that Han Feng will be here tonight, and he's bringing a new Bugatti Dior. Hiss, I've heard of this car too. It's a new Bugatti supercar, and it costs a whopping 50 million. Han Feng, what a lunatic. Besides, this Dior is much better than a Lamborghini. He's definitely going to win tonight. Wait, who is this? Oh my god, it's the Hennessy Viper GT, the king of supercars. Amidst the discussion, an inconspicuous corner, Meng Zixuan couldn't help but widen her eyes as she looked at the yellow supercar approaching from afar. Hennessy Viper GT. This is my dream sports car, but it's too expensive, I can't afford it. She pouted her cute lips and clenched her little pink fists. Humph, actually driving this kind of car in front of me, too much, too much. When I get off the car later, I'm going to give him a couple of punches. Only. The next second she was stunned. Yi Chen, how could it be him? Meng Zixuan doesn't have many hobbies or interests, or even any ordinary hobbies. But the only thing I like is racing. This is no secret in the circle. Almost half of the money she earned was spent on the car. From the lowest level Mazda 6 facelift, to BMW and Audi sports cars, to the current Porsche. In just a few years, we had 7 or 8 cars. If she hadn't been so popular, she might not be able to afford it. Only, all the cars put together might not even be enough to cover the 4 wheels of Yi Chen's Hennessy Viper GT. Comparing yourself to others is really frustrating. Yi Chen, Yi Chen, humph, I want to feel the speed of 440 kilometers per hour later. Thinking of this, she walked towards Yi Chen. It's not just Meng Zixuan. Han Feng, who had just arrived here, looked at the Hennessy Viper GT and couldn't help frowning. Interesting, it's Yi Chen again. He licked his scarlet lips, and a strong desire to win instantly made the blood in his body boil. Yi Chen, who is he? Beside him, Feng Runen asked with a frown. I originally thought that tonight would be a battle between you and me for the championship, but I didn't expect that Yi Chen would be involved. Feng Ryu is as her name suggests. She does not have the petite and soft body of the women in the Magic City. Instead, she is tall and strong, but her facial features are delicate, and her figure is very well proportioned. Coupled with her wheat-colored skin, she has an indescribable wild beauty. No matter how good a car is, it still needs someone to drive it right. Feng Ryunen, if you beat me tonight, I'll be yours, how about that? Han Feng smiled at Feng Ryunen. You, forget it, I don't like your small body. Feng Ryunen looked at Han Feng, who was half a head shorter than her, and shook her head. Her eyes fell on Yi Chen and she said, Yi Chen is not bad, but I don't like defeated opponents. He has no chance. Han Feng rolled his eyes, looking speechless. As soon as Yi Chen parked the car, he heard someone calling him. Yi Chen, Yi Chen. He looked back and saw that although Meng Zixuan had changed her clothes and covered herself tightly, her beautiful figure could not be concealed. Meng, Zixuan, by the way, why are you here? Yi Chen didn't expect that he would meet Meng Zixuan again at this car racing site. Okay, you hit it so well, and even lied to me that you were just an ordinary company employee. Hennessy Venom GT Supercar Limited Edition. All my cars are not as good as a wheel of yours. Meng Zixuan walked forward and pinched Yi Chen's arm hard, with a look of resentment on her face. Of course I'm here, don't you know? Besides being a star, my dream is to be a racing driver. But she felt that her arm was as hard as iron, and her fingers felt a little sore. I am really an ordinary employee. Absolutely true. No, I just got promoted to account manager in the sales department. Yi Chen spread his hands and said helplessly, I don't believe you. Tell me honestly, are you attracted to Lin Wanmo? So you're deliberately hiding your super-rich second-generation identity and willingly becoming a sales manager. Meng Zixuan came forward and winked. No, how come you are more gossipy than us? Yi Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could Meng Zixuan be called a star? She was even more ordinary than ordinary people. Okay, no more gossip. Let me see this square lacquer box is cracked. Did you accidentally break it before? Also, I'm going to sit in the passenger seat later. I've never been in such a nice car in my life. Chapter 64, Speed of Life and Death, Zhu Chen's Plot. Yi Chen also noticed the square lacquer box that Meng Zixuan carried with her. At first, after he removed the evil spirit, cracks appeared on the square lacquer box. It is more obvious now, and you can even see part of the magic circle inside. It's not just this square lacquer box. That day, I accompanied Lin Wanmo to do a pregnancy checkup and gave her a bracelet from my good friend Tang Guo. After protecting her from a disaster, a crack appeared on the surface of the jade. Now that I think about it, it must be gradually losing its effectiveness while being used. This has nothing to do with me. Yi Chen shook his head and laughed in silence. By the way, where is Zhu Chen? He comes from an aristocratic family, so he should know more about these things. He thought of Zhu Chen, and for some reason his heart suddenly tightened and he felt creepy. He's like a dragon that's hard to find. After we met once in the apartment that day, he disappeared without a trace. But it's strange. I haven't been able to sleep well these past few nights. I always feel like someone is secretly spying on me. Speaking of this, Meng Zixuan's face was filled with fear. Forget it, why am I telling you all this? What's wrong with the square lacquer box? She always felt that this matter might be related to the square lacquer box. In order to relieve tension, she took melatonin every night, but the effect was not satisfactory. This is not. She planned to come here tonight to race cars and relax. Otherwise, if this continues, it will affect the female-led drama that I finally got the chance to star in. This thing has a time limit. After changing hands several times, its function has been almost exhausted, so it's naturally useless. But you'd better be careful. Why do I feel like you're a little abnormal? Yi Chen shook his head and said to Meng Zixuan, I don't know why. Meng Zixuan in front of him actually gave him a gloomy and terrifying feeling, as if he was being stared at by an unclean thing. You're not normals. Meng Zixuan frowned, her face filled with anger. Forget it, you won't understand even if I tell you. How about this, you get in the car later, and I'll show you after the run. Yi Chen pointed at the co-pilot seat and said to Meng Zixuan, okay, I'm waiting. Meng Zixuan's anger turned into joy, and she happily sat in the passenger seat of the Hennessy Viper GT supercar. Feng Ryunen, what a pity, a woman got into Yi Chen's car. Han Feng had been paying attention to the situation here. When he saw Meng Zixuan getting in the car, he couldn't help but smile at Feng Ryunen. You don't need to provoke me, don't worry. Whether it's you or Yi Chen, there's no way to be sure of winning on this track. I started learning to drive when I was 13. Now I'm 23. What kind of sports car haven't I seen? Forget a mere Viper GT. Even Schumacher might not be able to beat me. Feng Ryunen shook her hair and snapped her fingers. Okay, the race is about to start, so follow closely and don't just follow me around and eat my dust. After saying that, Feng Ryunen got into the car and put on his helmet swiftly. Han Feng smiled sinisterly and didn't care at all. Arguing with Feng Ryunen is just an appetizer before racing. Yi Chen, I admit that I underestimated you before, but today, on the racetrack, I will let you see what true life or death speed is. He took a deep breath and got into his Bugatti Dio. At this time, two beautiful women in revealing and fashionable clothes raised the flag. Beep! A long whistle attracted everyone's attention. In 5 minutes, the race will start on time. We'll go around the mountain from here. The first one to reach the finish line will win. Not only will the champion win a prize of 500,000 yuan, but he will also be favored by the many beautiful women present. Whether you can take it away or not depends on you. These few words immediately ignited the enthusiasm of the men and women present, and they couldn't help but cheer wildly. Yi Chen, who was sitting here, sneered. For him, this time of racing was just to feel the charm of the Hennessy Viper GT supercar. As for the 500,000 yuan prize and the favor of the beautiful woman, he was not interested. On the contrary, Meng Zixuan was very excited. Yi Chen, did you hear that? There's a 500,000 yuan bonus and a beautiful woman. She waved her little pink fists like a new soldier about to go to the battlefield. Is the beauty as beautiful as you? Yi Chen shook his head and smiled, but out of the corner of his eye he saw Han Feng and Feng Ruhunen. I didn't expect Han Feng to be here too. Oh, that woman. Meng Zixuan looked in the direction of his finger. Han Feng, he's a lunatic, but he's actually quite famous. I just joined the circle, and I heard that he always takes first place, while others can only fight for second place. Also, this isn't that girl's name. Her name is Feng Ruhunen. She's also quite fierce. She's the one who's won the most championships since Han Feng. When she said this, her eyes lit up. Didn't you say before that you dreamed of becoming a female racing driver? It's because she's so amazing that I want to catch up with her. Most of the time, because of physical reasons, women have a natural disadvantage compared to men when driving. But Feng Ruhunen was able to suppress so many men and win the championship. Obviously, she has some extraordinary qualities. Won't it be all right if we just beat her later? Yi Chen raised his eyebrows and said to Meng Zixuan, "Okay, that's what you said. If you lose, you will be responsible for completely repairing my square lacquer box." She stared at Yi Chen and said viciously, "Forget about the square lacquer box. Here, keep this pendant. It's more useful than the lacquer box." Yi Chen took out the remaining pendant and handed it to Meng Zixuan. Unexpectedly, Meng Zixuan's pretty face flushed and she asked in a low voice, "Yi Chen, what are you doing? Don't let your little brain let you have such random thoughts. If you don't want to, I'll take it back." "Yes, of course." Meng Zixuan took the pendant and put it around her neck excitedly. And at this time, the race has entered the final countdown. Amidst the roar of the mountains and the sea, the unique roar of the sports car vibrated everyone's eardrums. Yi Chen is no exception. Hennessy Viper GT supercar. The body is vibrating slowly, ready to go. Meng Zixuan was even more excited, so much so that Yi Chen had to remind her to wear a helmet and fasten her seat belt. 109870. As the flag dropped, nearly 20 sports cars roared past like cannonballs and headed straight for the top of the mountain. The first one, it was Feng Ruhunen, who was most familiar with the road section. Her modified Lamborghini, like a ray of green light, takes the lead. Han Feng's silver Bugatti Dio followed closely behind like a ghost. And what about Yi Chen? It actually fell to the last place. "Yi Chen, what's going on? Can you do this? Your car is the Hennessy Viper GT, the best car here, and you're in last place. How embarrassing." When Meng Zixuan said this, she couldn't help but cover her face. Wait, something's wrong. Yi Chen's heart was pounding, and he couldn't help but step on the brakes. However, the car didn't show any sign at all. Not only did it not slow down, it even accelerated and rushed out, almost hitting the car in front. Chapter 65, Yi Chen takes action and wins the championship. Zhu Chen fights back. Just before departure, Yi Chen's attention was on Meng Zixuan. But he kept an eye on his surroundings out of the corner of his eye. In addition to Han Feng and his cool Bugatti Dio, there is another person, that is Zhu Chen. Only, didn't Meng Zixuan say that she hadn't seen Zhu Chen since that night? Zhu Chen concealed his figure very well in the crowd and was almost difficult to detect. Unlike Han Feng's madness, Zhu Chen gives people an extremely feminine and evil charm. There is no doubt that there is a terrible attraction to beautiful women. This is simply too abnormal for Zhu Chen, who stands out from the crowd. After Yi Chen started the car, he felt that something was wrong with it. Really? After the first turn, he braked to slow down. However, the brakes seemed to be stuck and could not be stepped on at all. Not only did the car not slow down, it even started to accelerate and almost hit the car in front. Fortunately, Yi Chen reacted extremely quickly. He turned the steering wheel quickly and narrowly passed by the car in front. The Hennessy Viper GT supercar almost sticks to the guardrail. If you are not careful, you will break the guardrail, fall off the cliff, and be smashed to pieces. Aside, Meng Zixuan was not frightened at all, but instead screamed with excitement. "Yi Chen, well done, keep it up. This is the speed the Hennessy Viper GT supercar should have." Yi Chen rolled his eyes and said unhappily, "Hold on tight." When turning, Yi Chen stepped on the accelerator, and the car accelerated again. After passing the car in front, we finally reached a relatively flat area. Yi Chen let go of the steering wheel, lowered his body, and began to check the brakes below. Right now, Meng Zixuan, who had been a little slow to react, finally came to her senses, and her excited shouting stopped abruptly. She said in horror, "Yi Chen, what are you doing? This is racing you." Before he finished speaking, the car body shook violently, at extreme speed. The front of the car even jumped up half a person's height. Then, fell heavily on the mountain road. Meng Zixuan's heart was in her throat. The next second, Yi Chen put his hands back on the steering wheel. Meng Zixuan, do you have any grudge against Zhu Chen? Why would he want to harm you? Yi Chen asked Meng Zixuan, who was still in shock while driving. I didn't notice at all that there was another turn ahead, and almost hit a big rock on the inside of the mountain road. Yi Chen, drive carefully, drive carefully. Meng Zixuan was so scared that she stuttered. She likes racing, but she is not like Yi Chen, who doesn't take his life seriously at all. This speed is over 200 kilometers per hour. Not to mention a car crash, even if it hits a small stone, the car may be destroyed and people may die. But, thinking of Zhu Chen, Meng Zixuan still said with a stiff upper lip, there is no grudge. He is very good to me. He prepared the square lacquer box for me before. I don't have a grudge against you, could it be? Yi Chen's heart shuddered, and he suddenly thought of a possibility. Zhu Chen's sudden appearance before was not because of Meng Zixuan, but because of him. Zhu Chen wanted to attack me, but Meng Zixuan was in the car just now, so he arranged this. Simply blocking the brakes has no effect on Yi Chen. And, with Zhu Chen's mysterious methods, wouldn't it be easy to tamper with other parts of the car body? Why are you staring at me? Look at the road. Meng Zixuan was completely panicked. For a moment, she wanted to jump out of the car. But, she knows it too. At such a fast speed, jumping out of the car would be tantamount to suicide. But Yi Chen's stare made her hair stand on end, and her heart beat to the extreme. Meng Zixuan, what time were you born? No, what time were you born? Yi Chen turned his head away and didn't look at her again. Why do you ask that? But, Meng Zixuan still said to Yi Chen, 12 o'clock in the evening. Oh, it's the ghost festival. No wonders. Yi Chen understood. Meng Zixuan has a pure yin body, which is like a cauldron that is rarely seen in a century for those who believe in fate. Zhu Chen's appearance obviously came from this. But, during this period of time, Meng Zixuan has been too close to me, which may have caused dissatisfaction from the person behind me. Maybe Zhu Chen was planning to do something to himself in the apartment that day. It's a pity that Murong Jing and Meng Zixuan suddenly appeared and disrupted Zhu Chen's plan. If someone doesn't offend me, I won't offend them. But if someone offends me, I will repay them 100-fold. A hint of extremely strong murderous intent suddenly flashed across Yi Chen's calm face. Meng Zixuan, who had been secretly watching him, was so frightened when she saw his expression that she fell silent. Yi Chen, what are you going to do? She swallowed, terrified to the extreme. No big deal, just get first place first. Yi Chen smiled slightly, and all his murderous intent disappeared, turning into the harmless look he had just been. While speaking, Yi Chen has caught up with the first echelon. Feng Runen drove the modified Lamborghini Aventador and took the lead. Han Feng was only half a parking space away from her and could overtake her at any time. Judging from his appearance, he was obviously playing the role of a pig to eat the tiger and deliberately keeping Feng Runen hanging. Then there is Yi Chen. He was less than 100 meters away from the two cars. But it is obviously not easy to catch up on this winding mountain road. Certainly, this is just for ordinary people and ordinary cars. After Yi Chen's physical fitness improved, he was far superior to ordinary people, and his ability to perceive everything around him is simply incredible. A mere Hennessy Viper GT supercar is no problem for him. He can control it with ease. Julian, it's you. Yi Chen took a deep breath, and at the most difficult 9 consecutive bends, he did not slow down at all, but instead accelerated again. Whoosh! Like a cannonball, the yellow figure passed over green and silver-gray one after another. Take the lead. Yi Chen, it's Yi Chen, he's actually ahead. Feng Runen was surprised, her face full of shock. Han Feng was able to beat me because he has a good car and good driving skills. But a nobody like Yi Chen, is he also going to rely on the good car to leave me behind? Feng Runen's face changed several times, and she gritted her teeth and groaned. Immediately following, she didn't care and stepped on the accelerator, and the speed of the car soared from about 230 to 250. Sure enough, a good car means more confidence. Not only did they catch up, they even surpassed us. Han Feng had a gloomy face and frowned. It's just that. Zhu Chen couldn't shake him either. He's obviously a tough character. Peng Shui, if there's someone like that, I'll definitely use all the means at my disposal to bring him down. Why are you so anxious to go find Su Zhengyuan? Thinking of this, Han Feng felt angry. He no longer held back and drove at full speed, heading straight for 300. At the end point, Zhu Chen's evil figure suddenly shook. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and his face turned pale rapidly, as if he had suffered a serious illness. He stared at the oncoming car and said in disbelief, Yi Chen actually won the championship. Chapter 66, Feng Ruinen's Thoughts, Meng Zixuan's Night of Fear. Mountain top. It looks like it has been flattened, and is a square half the size of a football field. Countless young men and women couldn't help but shout as they watched the supercar about to sprint. Hey, it's a yellow car. This isn't Feng Ruinen and Han Feng's car. Oh my God, is the King of Kangshan going to be replaced? It seems so. The Hennessy Viper GT has incredible performance. Not to mention the Lamborghini Aventador, even the Bugatti Dior is far inferior. What a pity, I thought I could see Feng Ruinen's heroic figure. Ha 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 ha. Feng Ruinen looks so manly, I didn't expect you to like him too, it's really weird. Don't talk nonsense, don't talk nonsense. She is a woman after all, could it be that you like Han Feng? Amidst the discussion, Meng Zixuan regained her previous enthusiasm. Go, go, Yi Chen, we're almost at the finish line, sprint. She waved her little pink fists and gritted her teeth, as if she was driving the car herself. Yi Chen, what a silly girl. He shook his head, concentrating, and unknowingly, the speed of the car reached the extreme. The speed is over 400 kilometers per hour, and there are bends. Meng Zixuan, who was standing by, felt the blood in her body boiling. The reflections on both sides quickly retreated, as if the whole person was flying. Heh, it looks like the championship is in our pocket. She looked at Yi Chen and found that he still looked calm and composed, which made her wonder. Yi Chen, aren't you excited? For her, racing is all about the thrill brought by extreme speed. It would be even better if we could win the championship. But Yi Chen, it's like I'm not racing at all, but just taking a walk. Feng Ruinen, it looks like you and I have no chance. As Yi Chen accelerated, they were instantly left behind and were now nearly a kilometer behind. Han Feng, it's already this late, why don't you give it a try? Have you already admitted defeat? Feng Ruinen simply took off her earplugs, threw them aside, and increased the speed of the car to the maximum. What a pity! The performance gap between sports cars is too huge, and Yi Chen is not an ordinary person. How many people can overtake on a curve? She and Han Feng could only watch Yi Chen gallop away and sprint towards the finish line. Half a minute passed. They finally reached the finish line. And at this time, Yi Chen and Meng Zixuan had already gotten out of the sports car and were enjoying the cheers from everyone present. Yi Chen, is that him? He's so handsome, I really want to give birth to a baby with him. Hoo-hoo, then you have to get in line. It's just that there seems to be a beautiful woman next to him. Isn't that the star Meng Zixuan? Are they having an affair? Heh, forget it. I'm not going to get involved. If it makes the headlines and exposes this place, I'll have nowhere to go racing in the future. I have to say the Hennessy Viper GT is incredibly powerful, leaving all the other sports cars behind. It would have been hard not to win. You're wrong. Viper started last but overtook several other cars one after another, and only then did it get first place. Yi Chen's driving skills played a significant role. Yeah, I heard he almost fell off a cliff while overtaking on a curve, but unexpectedly he caught up and even took first place. Amidst the discussion, Feng Ruinen strode forward. The beauties standing in front of her were intimidated by her power and retreated away. Yi Chen, right? Are you free tonight? Feng Ruinen stared at Yi Chen with a straight look in her eyes, which made people fantasize. Sorry, no time. Yi Chen shook his head and replied to Feng Ruinen. He finally experienced the extreme speed of the Hennessy Viper GT tonight, and his wish was fulfilled. As for Feng Ruinen, firstly, it's not the style of women he appreciates. Secondly, I just gained some favorability from Lin Wanmo. Thirdly, he also has to solve Yi Chen's troubles. You rejected me before I even said what I was going to do. That's really abominable. Feng Ruinen's smile froze on her face in an instant. She stamped her feet and snorted coldly. Turning around, he saw Han Feng with a wicked smile on his face, and he couldn't help but get angry. Han Feng, are you laughing at me? Han Feng shrugged and shook his head. Who dares to laugh at your joke? You see, Yi Chen is not an ordinary person. Even I can't see through him. Feng Ruinen narrowed her eyes. She stared at Yi Chen's figure for a few seconds. If it were someone else, or even herself, after winning the championship, they would at least be a little excited, if not overjoyed. But Yi Chen, like he doesn't care at all. This kind of person is the one I, Feng Ruinen, want to conquer. Han Feng, you're still a little short of it. Feng Ruinen raised her little finger towards Han Feng and smiled. Then I can only wish you good luck. Han Feng didn't care, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. At first, invited by Peng Shuo, he took action against Yi Chen, who knew that Yi Chen would cleverly resolve the crisis, forcing him to face Yi Chen squarely. Until now, Yi Chen is no longer the ordinary employee he used to be. He deserves to be placed in a high position and treated with caution. But if Feng Ryunin helped him, the worst that could happen would be that they both would be brought down together. Yi Chen, I'm not dreaming, am I? I felt like I was flying just now. Wasn't the car going too fast? Meng Zixuan was still immersed in the joy of winning the championship and hadn't woken up yet, her face flushed with excitement. Yi Chen, okay, let's deal with the business first. He pulled Meng Zixuan and walked towards Yu Chen. There are two mountain roads. The first one is the track we just saw, and the other one is a straight track that is nearly half the distance shorter and has a steeper slope. Zhu Chen finished his preparations and arrived here early. But when he saw Yi Chen walking forward, a look of panic appeared on his face. What a pity! Under the backlash, he was unable to move. As soon as he took a step, his blood and qi fluctuated, and his body was shaky. Zhu Chen, why are you here? Meng Zixuan was surprised when she saw him. Hehe, did you see that? Yi Chen and I won the championship. However, Zhu Chen didn't dare to speak at all. He was afraid that if he opened his mouth, the blood in his body would burst out. Wait, you look like this? Zhu Chen, are you sick? Zhu Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly. Sick, I'm not sick, but I'm dying. Yi Chen stared at him, his face gloomy to the extreme. Zhu Chen, who wants her? Zhu Chen still shook his head. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes. He knew what Zhu Chen meant. Don't tell Yi Chen, just die now. But if I tell Yi Chen, I'm afraid he will suffer a fate worse than death. In that case, don't blame me. You brought this upon yourself. Yi Chen stomped his feet suddenly, and a terrifying aura came out of his body and went straight towards Zhu Chen. Zhu Chen's entire body froze, as if he had lost his support, and he instantly fell to the ground and died. Zhu Chen, ambulance, ambulance. Meng Zixuan was so scared that her scalp went numb, and she shouted loudly. She never imagined that such a healthy and living person would die so quietly. Not just him. The onlookers were also shocked and became a mess. Be careful. If you have nightmares again tonight, come find me. Yi Chen gave some instructions and drove away in his Hennessy Viper GT supercar. Chapter 67. One opens at the lower limit, the other closes at the upper limit. Two worlds of ice and fire. AI Shang Medical Beauty. Sales Department. The terrifying night last night did not affect him at all. Wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. Only, he had just punched into the sales department when his colleagues around him made strange looks at him. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my face? Yi Chen smiled slightly and couldn't help but ask everyone. Hee, the flowers haven't grown yet, but my heart is about to bloom. Here, look for yourself. Our president is in your office again. Not only is he here, he even brought you milk tea. How thoughtful. Yi Chen, tell us honestly, is it with President Lin? Amid the discussions, Yi Chen finally noticed a figure in the office. Who else could it be but Lin Wanmo? Okay, stop talking and focus on your work. Don't embarrass the sales department. Yi Chen glared at them and growled. The girls stuck out their tongues, not daring to say anything more, and devoted themselves to their work. Knock, knock. Yi Chen knocked on the door and entered his office. Lin Wanmo looked at her work records with great interest. You're here. I passed by a milk tea shop this morning and just bought an extra cup. Here, drink it while it's hot. She pointed at the milk tea on the desk and said to Yi Chen, Thanks. Yi Chen nodded, took the milk tea and started drinking it. The faint aroma of milk warmed his heart. The unpleasantness I had with Zhang Xiangyun last night disappeared in an instant. I'm sorry about what happened last night. My mom is just like that. Don't take her words seriously. By the way, I've taken a look at the work done over the past 2 days. It's pretty good. And judging by the feedback from the work software, efficiency has increased by more than 10 percentage points. It's much better than Wang Keo's. She stared at Yi Chen, a look of surprise flashing in her eyes. You know, sales work is typically easy to learn, but difficult to master. It wasn't long after Yi Chen joined the company that he was able to perfectly integrate into the manager's position. It was obvious that he had worked hard. Wang Keo is too self-centered. Actually, as long as they are not too tired and can make money, they are still willing to work hard. Yi Chen did not take credit for it. Actually, after he was promoted to manager, he did not interfere too much with his colleagues' work. He just reduced their pressure and stopped them from working overtime. But just by doing this, not only did the performance not decline, but it actually improved again. Well, work hard, I'm going back to the office first. Lin Wanmo smiled at him, stood up and left. Staring at her back, Yi Chen fell into deep thought. Without a doubt, Lin Wanmo's attitude towards him is developing in a positive direction. I took him to meet my parents last night and brought myself milk tea today. Illustrate, is she gradually accepting herself? Unconsciously, a smile appeared on Yi Chen's face. But when Lin Wanmo returned to the office, her heart sank. She had a bad feeling that the stock market might crash again. As expected, as soon as the morning session opened, AI Shang Medical Beauty once again saw a huge sell-off, instantly hitting the lower limit. In the securities department, Zhao Yuhuan's heart sank to the bottom. But before she had time to find Lin Wanmo came over first. She glanced around and said in a deep voice, "Don't worry, everyone. This is within the expected range. Just proceed according to the plan. But there's too much panic selling. If there's no major capital to support the market, I'm afraid." Analysts gritted their teeth and still felt that this move was inappropriate and too risky. No buts, just do as I ask. As I said, if you can't do it, then change someone else. Lin Wanmo's pretty face darkened slightly, and a frosty aura instantly enveloped the entire affairs department. The company has more than just stocks. After saying that, she returned to the office to coordinate other matters. Peng Group. Peng Shuai's office. Peng Shuai, how's it going? Does this trick work? Su Zhengyuan chuckled and said while staring at the computer in front of him. Boss Su, you're still the wisest when you're old. You're truly worthy of being a top-tier businessman in Shanghai. I can't compare to your brains. Peng Shuai also laughed and handed Su Zhengyuan a cigar, while he himself took out a cigarette. Come on, Mr. Su, take this. Su Zhengyuan took it and took a light puff. Authentic Cuban goods. Good boy, such a good thing. How dare you hide it? If Mr. Su likes it, I still have 2 boxes. Take them with you when you go back later. Having said that, Peng Shuai's expression became serious. This time, we need Mr. Su's help in shorting AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price. Otherwise, those speculative investors will probably want a piece of the pie. In the eyes of ordinary people, you can only make money if the stock price rises. But, in the eyes of real big capital, short selling can make more money. Those crazy speculators are as bloodthirsty as sharks. No matter whether you are the main force or retail investors, as long as there is money to be made, they are indispensable. If it weren't for Su Zhengyuan, who relied on his business network to force them to retreat temporarily. Unsure, they will suddenly fire a shot and make Peng Shuai's plan fail. When it comes to business, more friends mean more opportunities. From now on, we need the full cooperation of the Peng Group. Su Zhengyuan is not without conditions. He plans to use AI, Shang Medical Beauty, as a springboard to enter the medical beauty industry. However, this condition is obviously insignificant compared to the benefits. No problem, it's all easy. Today, the stock price has been hit by the lower limit, and retail investors can't get out. There will be 2 more tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, completely locking the stock price in place. Let's see how Lin Wanmo can recover. He took a deep puff of his cigarette, and the anger in his eyes seemed to be about to burst out. Tianxing Trust, Hu Zioao, who had just finished a deal, sent the customer away and took 2 sips of coffee comfortably. She casually opened the stock software and took a quick glance, and was shocked again. How is this possible? If last night's ceiling was just luck, so today Yi Chen sold at the highest point, and the stock he just bought hit the daily limit again. What should I say now? Hu Zioao's breathing became rapid, and her heart beat to the extreme. Yi Chen, how on earth did you do it? In just 2 days, Yi Chen earned hundreds of millions, almost doubled. She looked at the account in front of her and was completely lost in thought. Not just her. Yi Chen himself was a little bit unbelievable. It's almost 1 billion. Yesterday, I made a profit of 50% from the limit down to the limit up. The market opened high this morning, and I made another 10 points, plus the 20 points that hit the daily limit just now. After deducting transaction fees, it is almost 980 million, nearly 1 billion, which has doubled. I was thinking about gambling on stones before, but now with stocks, all I have to do is buy, and then sell. It's much easier and simpler. Yi Chen grinned and shook his head. Only, he opened the stock of AI Shang Medical Beauty, and sure enough, it hit the limit down again. 1 continuous limit up, 1 continuous limit down. It's really like ice and fire. I just don't know if Wanmo can keep her composure and follow my ideas to minimize the losses. Thinking of this, he stopped working, stood up and walked towards the president's office. Chapter 68. After consecutive limit downs, AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price hits bottom and it's time to rebound. After 2 consecutive limit downs, The AI Shang Medical Beauty stock forum was filled with wailing. What's going on? I just finished work this morning and opened my phone to see it's at the lower limit again. Yeah, it hit the lower limit. There's no way to get out even if I want to. Is there some bad news again? My third aunt's second sister's brother-in-law said that some time ago, AI Shang Medical Beauty almost couldn't repay the bank principal and interest. That news came 8 years ago. AI Shang Medical Beauty has ample cash flow, so there's no way that kind of accident would happen again. Could it be a product problem? It caused a lot of uproar and was even reported in the newspapers. That's because there's a traitor inside the company, deliberately spreading rumors and slandering us. Furthermore, the new product received rave reviews and quickly captured a majority of the market share. If that's the case, then the stock should be rising. Why did it hit the lower limit twice in a row? Are you going to let me live? I finally bought in, but now I'm losing a fortune, hundreds of thousands. Can anyone tell me how many more limit-down days there are? When will I have the opportunity to sell? Just wait, this major capital can't hold the market up at all. The market crash is too fierce. Tomorrow will be very bad. We have to wait and see if there is a chance to exit the market the day after tomorrow. As panic spread, more and more sell orders were placed, and it was obvious that the price limit could not be broken. Period. There were some large orders to cushion the losses, but unfortunately, they were swallowed up by the sell orders before they could even make a splash. Lin Wanmo clenched her fingers, took a deep breath, and forced herself to calm down and not be affected by the stock price fluctuations. Bang, banged. Yi Chen knocked on the door and entered. Yi Chen, please sit down. Lin Wanmo forced a smile and raised her hand, saying, just as you predicted, someone is manipulating the stock price of AI Shang Medical Beauty. Yi Chen nodded and said, then follow the original plan. Don't alarm the other party, just pretend to fight hard to protect the market. I've already had the analyst do that. But, Lin Wanmo paused, a worried look appearing on her face. What if the other party doesn't fall for it, or if they understand our plan? She looked up at Yi Chen and bit her lips tightly. Impossible. Who else could have attacked AI Shang Medical Beauty besides that person? Yi Chen shook his head and gave Lin Wanmo a reassuring look. Yes. Who else could it be except Peng Shuai, who has repeatedly targeted Lin Wanmo? That's right, Wang Keo's connection is broken. They must think we don't know who the culprit is. Lin Wanmo took a deep breath and returned to her normal expression. Okay, let's follow your plan. Wait for 2 more limit drops, then grab the chips at a low price and catch them off guard. Lin Wanmo clenched his fists and said in a deep voice. After the two smiled at each other, Lin Wanmo said, Yi Chen, let's have lunch together at noon. I don't know why. As long as Yi Chen was around, Lin Wanmo felt much more at ease. Take the tricky stock price fluctuation, for example. With Yi Chen's advice, everything can be easily solved. Yi Chen was stunned for a moment and said, okay, I'll treat you to a meal. Day 3. AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock continued to hit the daily limit. There are almost no people in the stock forum, and everyone is pessimistic. The key point is that there is no negative news. Who can withstand 3 consecutive limit falls? Only. At this time, Peng Shuai's face looked a little ugly. Su Zhengyuan, who was sitting opposite him, couldn't help but yell at Han Feng. Han Feng, how did you know we would fail? I just know it. Han Feng crossed his legs, looking nonchalant. I can see through this trick, let alone Yi Chen. Su Zhengyuan sneered when he heard this. You have to understand that stocks are not like gambling on stones or appraising treasures. The mysteries involved are far more dangerous. Techniques and methods are indeed important, but what's more important is the capital and chips. Han Feng, Yi Chen is good at gambling on stones and appraising treasures, but that doesn't mean he knows everything about the stock market. Having said that, he paused. What's more, how could a mere Yi Chen possibly make a decision for Lin Wanmo? What qualifications does he have? Peng Shuai looked at the two people arguing and was a little dumbfounded. Although he has some intelligence and talent, he is also a bad guy. But there is no way to compare with Han Feng and Su Zhengyuan. Han Feng turned to look at Peng Shuai and asked, Peng Shuai, don't underestimate Yi Chen. Do you know who owns the first Hennessy Viper GT supercar in the Magic City? Whose is it? Could it be Yi Chen's? Peng Shuai suddenly remembered the photos circulating in the circle these days, which were of the yellow Hennessy Viper GT supercar. How is this possible? He's just a poor country boy. I've done some research and it's pretty clear. A Hennessy Viper GT supercar costs at least 100 million. I can't even buy one if I want to. When Peng Shuai said this, she shook her head and laughed. Look, if you don't believe me, forget it. Just pretend Han Feng never said that. Han Feng was extremely disappointed when he saw his expression. It is said that rotten mud cannot be helped, but Peng Shuai is not rotten mud. Otherwise, she could not be friends with Han Feng. But, after several consecutive failures, Peng Shuai was too eager for quick success. Even if Su Zhengyuan is a successful businessman, so what? In front of Yi Chen, it's useless. Hey, madman, hey. Peng Shuai stood up to stop him, but failed, so she had to return to the sofa. Su Zhengyuan narrowed his eyes and said, Peng Shuai, sometimes you have to make your own decisions and don't let others influence you. Peng Shuai was stunned for a moment, then said, Boss Su is right. We used to let Crazy Man make the decisions because he was smart, but now it seems Boss Su is still the most reliable. The two smiled at each other, as if they saw the dawn of victory. Day 4. AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price still hit the limit down. By this time, everyone knows some people are shorting AI Shang Medical Beauty, and the stock price will not be able to rise again in the short term, except for some retail investors who have made up their minds and are determined to hold on. Most people are waiting for the limit down to be lifted. No matter how much they lose, they have to escape. And in this case, AI Shang Medical Beauty secretly obtained chips at a low price, and it was not exposed. Because the chips are too spread out, and compared to the total amount, it is not worth mentioning at all. Little did they know, under Yi Chen's suggestion, all of AI Shang Medical Beauty's funds were dispersed. If Su Zhengyuan has a network of relationships and connections, how could Lin Wanmo not have one? And there are also Lin Yaod and Zheng Xiangyun to help. When she returned home that time, in addition to bringing Yi Chen to meet her parents, Lin Wanmo's mind was all on this. Break down to zero. AI Shang Medical Beauty has obtained some chips. But now it is far from enough. On the other hand, Yi Chen's stock operations are still as sharp as ever, making a lot of money. In other words, hundreds of millions or even billions of funds are really nothing in the stock market and cannot change the general trend. Day 5. Beyond everyone's expectations. AI Shang Medical Beauty opened with a high opening price. Is the stock price about to bottom out and rebound? Everyone couldn't help but feel their hearts pounding. Chapter 69. Another limit down, Peng Shuai gets carried away. Yi Chen's assets are 2 billion. AI Shang Medical Beauty. Securities Department. As the stock opened in the red, Zhao Yuhuan and the analysts couldn't help but cheer up. Boss Lin, good news, good news. It seems the other party has almost run out of chips and can't continue to crash the market. The stock price has bottomed out, stabilizing investor confidence and having a significant positive impact on the subsequent planned share issuance. It has now stabilized at around 15 yuan. As long as the bottom is consolidated, the downward trend can be completely reversed and the stock price will rise again. However, Lin Wanmo shook her head. She said calmly, Isn't it too early to say these things now? We still have to see if the other party is deliberately trying to lure someone to take over. This is very possible. The analyst was stunned for a moment, then reacted. After several consecutive limit-down days, retail investors are eager to cover their positions and flee. If we give them a little sweet treat at this time, they will flock in. It's just that another limit down will completely lock up the chips and achieve their goal of plummeting the stock price. Hearing this, Zhao Yuhuan panicked again. What should we do then? She pursed her lips, feeling a little overwhelmed. Although she has good workability, but has she ever experienced such a situation? What to do? Of course, continue with the previous strategy. Don't they want to drive the stock price down, then start all over again? That's perfect. I can acquire more shares and completely control AI Shang Medical Beauty. Lin Wanmo narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice. Zhao Yuhuan and the analyst were shocked and looked up at her with awe on their faces. The fact that she dared to gamble with the stock price was enough to show Lin Wanmo's ability and charm. This is indeed the case. With the full launch of the Yan series II into the market, the brand influence of AI Shang Medical Beauty is gradually spreading. And just right, at this time, Meng Zixuan's heroine-led drama was aired, and she endorsed the Yan series, which also created a wave of popularity. In addition to the Yan series, the research and development and launch of other products are also proceeding in an orderly manner. You can say that, in the field of beauty and cosmetics in Shanghai, AI Shang Medical Beauty has become a dominant player. The company's prospects are that its earnings will continue to grow at least for the next 10 years. With this confidence, She doesn't mind continuing to accumulate chips and obtain more equity. As for the other party, if they want to tank the stock price, let them do it. Anyway, she reached an agreement with her parents and obtained capital support. Want to increase the stock price, just one phone call away. Not long after, the stock price of AI Shang Medical Beauty, which had just risen by 3 points, was just as Lin Wanmo expected. Under the huge selling pressure, the price suddenly plunged, even falling by 3 points. This time, the retail investors who just added to their positions or bought at the bottom are now facing green faces. Mad, what's going on? I thought the market was going to rebound, so I invested 20,000 yuan, but now it's all gone to waste. There's no bad news. Why is the price dropping so much? They're treating us retail investors like nobody's business. The main capital is playing a game. Some want to support the market while others want to continue to crash it. It all depends on who has more funds. Oh no, it's all over, it's all over. This is going to hit the limit down. As expected, under the extremely miserable gaze of stock investors, AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock continued to fall and went straight to the limit. See this scene? Peng Shuai couldn't help but laugh wildly. Ha ha ha, Mr. Su, did you see that? It's the limit down again. Su Zhengyuan has been staying in Peng Shuai's office at Peng Group these days. What Han Feng, what a madman besides gambling on stones, what other skills does he have? Of course, capital has the final say when it comes to stocks. I, Su Zhengyuan, have traveled extensively to build a huge business, and my network of connections is truly impressive. As long as we control the lifeline of capital, even a mere company like AI Shang Medical Beauty, which isn't a giant, can be easily captured. Su Zhengyuan took another puff of his Cuban cigar, a smug look on his face. Peng Shuai clapped his hands and said, "Boss Su, this is all thanks to you. And if you hadn't stopped me yesterday, I might have listened to the nonsense of a madman and let AI Shang Medical Beauty escape the disaster. Isn't that what friends do when they work together?" A Shang Medical Beauty's stock price has been cut in half, and its market value has evaporated by billions. It will be very difficult to recover the losses. Su Zhengyuan said to Peng Shuai with a burning gaze. Yes, not only did we make a small profit, but we also trapped the vast majority of retail investors. It will be extremely difficult for them to push up the stock price again. Peng Shuai nodded, took a deep breath, and had a proud look on her face. It all depends on today and tomorrow. If the main capital doesn't come out, then there will be no hope at all. They are well prepared to respond. Today, it's time to cheat retail investors. Tomorrow, if Lin Wanmo still wants to save the stock, he will definitely take action. By then, the chips in their hands will be completely released, causing the stock price to plummet. AI Shang Medical Beauty. Sales Department. Manager Yi Chen's office. He looked at the stock price of AI Shang Medical Beauty and couldn't help shaking his head. The other party was obviously a little careless and did not expect that Lin Wanmo had already taken advantage of the opportunity to absorb chips at a low price. So what if the stock hits the limit down? As long as the subsequent funds remain normal, won't it be easy to push up the stock price? Peng Shuai wouldn't be capable of such a thing. Could it be Han Feng? No, he's a very strange and evil person. He wouldn't be so stubborn. Could it be? Yi Chen thought about it and realized that there were only a few people he had offended. Liu Tao and Zhou Qing couldn't possibly afford it. They'd be too stingy to even afford a high-end loft apartment. They simply don't have the financial resources. Yes, Su Zhengyuan. When we were gambling on the stone, this old guy's demeanor was not right, and he and Peng Shuai were flirting with each other. The possibility of them joining forces is very high. Think of this. A hint of murderous intent suddenly appeared on Yi Chen's body. But soon he suppressed it. No rush, no rush. First solve the problem of AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price, then take action against Zhengyuan Group. Yi Chen smiled slightly and regained his calm expression. And he opened his stock account. Looking at the series of numbers, my heart trembled slightly, and my expression was extremely excited. 2 billion, I didn't expect it to be 2 billion. There are still 5 days left. Making another 3 billion won't be a problem. Yesterday, he bought another stock at a low price and made a 20-point profit. It continued to open high today and hit the daily limit. Not just him, Hu Zioao from Tianxing Trust was completely paralyzed. If 1 or 2 days was just luck, then how should we calculate the continuous limit up like now, where the principal has quadrupled? Yi Chen, are you the Warren Buffett of Magic City? No, even better than Buffett. Buffett also experienced primitive capital accumulation in his early years, and the returns were not so exaggerated. It was not until he got the support of a large consortium that he felt confident in his operations and began to pursue returns. But compared to Yi Chen, Buffett is not good enough. Chapter 70, Hu Xiaoyao's questioning, Gu Qingshan's thoughts. The stock hit the limit down on the fifth day, which happened to be the two-day weekend. Those who hold AI Shang medical beauty stocks breathed a sigh of relief, but then their hearts tightened. It's not easy to make it to the weekend. Yeah, it's unbelievable that the stock has hit the lower limit 5 times in a row. I didn't experience this kind of misery during the stock market crash, but I never thought that AI Shang medical beauty would make me experience it. The good news is that the stock market won't fall any further in the next 2 days. That's worse than bad news. After the weekend, the price will continue to fall. Still falling, then it's all over. I have to sell it next Monday no matter what. This stock is so weird. It keeps falling every day even without any negative news. On the contrary, those weird stocks with poor performance often hit the daily limit. Afternoon, the sales department has finished all the work, and there is an event next Monday. Out of boredom, he took a look at the stock market. There were all kinds of people, all kinds of speeches, and it was a noisy mess. Some people even cursed, swore, and even used voodoo dolls to pierce people because they lost money. This gambler's mentality opened his eyes. No wonder Hu Xiaoyao told me to stay away from the stock market. It's really no different from gambling. Yi Chen shook his head, took a deep breath, and planned to never touch stocks again after making a fortune this time. But it's better if nothing unexpected happens in the next 5 days. Yi Chen, what are you looking at? At this time, Lin Wanmo walked over. When she saw the stock software in front of Yi Chen, she was stunned for a moment. Fortunately, the stock fund account is automatically closed, and only the stock limit interface remains. Stocks are a very sinister thing. Just look at them but don't buy them. She also thought that Yi Chen had been paying attention to stocks recently because of the AI Shang medical beauty incident and wanted to invest in the market. I know, I'm just looking. Yi Chen nodded and smiled slightly. Sometimes, white lies are also necessary. Could it be that Yi Chen opened his account and let Lin Wanmo see his operations? How can I explain so much money? How can I explain that every stock I bought hit the daily limit? I was going to take you home for dinner tonight, but my parents want to take me to meet a very important guest, so I have to go. When she said this, a look of apology appeared on her face. It's okay, I have something to do tonight. Yi Chen nodded and replied to her. Okay, I'll be leaving first. Lin Wanmo waved her hand and left gracefully, not affected at all by the stock limit down. The guest she was meeting tonight was the giant crocodile capital, which was led by her parents. Yi Chen had something to do because Hu Xiaoyao called just now. Ask him to go home together after get off work and have a good chat about stocks. A few days ago, he went to and from get off work with Lin Wanmo and ate together. It was already very late when she got home, and she had to go to work early in the morning, so Hu Xiaoyao never had a chance. But tomorrow is the weekend, so I don't have to worry so much. Only, he got into Hu Xiaoyao's car, which caused more discussion among the company employees. What's going on? Yi Chen didn't get in Mr. Lin's car. Yeah, got in this Mini Cooper, what's going on? Wow, another beauty. Yi Chen's luck with women is amazing. Honestly, when he first joined the company and I asked him if he had a girlfriend, he said no. I should have taken action then. That's right, how can we compete now? Forget about Mr. Lin, he can't even afford a Maserati. And this guy, he's got good looks and a decent temperament. He's an intellectual white-collar worker. We're not even as good as him. Apartment. Yi Chen's home. Hu Xiaoyao took out the iPad Air she carried with her and opened the stock software. She put her hands on her hips, stared at Yi Chen and asked, Yi Chen, tell me carefully what is going on. What's going on, stocks? Yi Chen blinked his eyes, looked up at Hu Xiaoyao, and couldn't help laughing at her tigress appearance. Laugh, you're still laughing. You still have the nerve to laugh. Hu Xiaoyao was so angry that she raised her little fist. Tell me the truth, Yi Chen. Is there any problem with your source of funds and operating methods? If this involves economic crime, the consequences will be very serious. She put away her fist and looked serious. The atmosphere in the field suddenly became solemn. Ahem. Yi Chen also coughed lightly and returned to his normal expression. I know what you want to ask. The source of this money is fine, and the operation method is absolutely fine. How can I put it? It must be Warren Buffett, the stock god, possessing me. I'm bursting with luck. When Hu Xiaoyao heard him say that, she got angry again. Extreme luck, I think it's genius. Do you know how much money you made in these 5 days? She stared at Yi Chen, stretched out her hands and gestured, but found that it was not enough, so she had to give up. 1.5 billion. Yi Chen said seriously. The entire stock market has a daily trading volume of trillions of dollars. My limited funds are barely enough to fill the gaps in other people's pockets. Hu Xiaoyao was completely speechless. In the stock market, the vast majority of funds are held by trust institutions and securities investment banks. No matter how much money retail investors have, they can't make a big splash. To make 1.5 billion like you, your starting capital must be tens or even hundreds of billions. Do you think the money in the stock market just comes from the wind? She shook her head and slumped down on the sofa. Finally, she waved her hands and said, "Forget it, Yi Chen, I don't want to quarrel with you, it's just like this." Before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Yi Chen. "I know what you want to say. Making money this way is too easy. You're worried that I'll get lost because of something I didn't work for, right? Actually, you don't have to worry at all. Don't you know my personality?" Yi Chen said this and handed her a car key. "Is this the Hennessy Viper GT downstairs?" Hu Xiaoyao was completely shocked. She didn't expect that Yi Chen actually picked up the car. "It's a supercar that costs over 100 million. Huh, let me digest it. I want to be quiet this weekend." Hu Xiaoyao stood up, waved to Yi Chen, and left the room without looking back. No way was the blow too heavy. Yi Chen touched his nose, wondering if he had gone too far. After all, this is Hu Xiaoyao, my friend of many years. The difference from her previous performance was so huge that she couldn't accept it for a while. "Well, maybe we can talk to her tomorrow." "Wait, what about dinner?" The next day, Yi Chen got up, washed, and changed into clean clothes. He knocked on Hu Xiaoyao's door, but no one answered. Did he go out or did he sleep in? Yi Chen shook his head and gave up. He drove straight to the villa where Gu Qingshan was. At the entrance of the villa, Gu Qingshan, Gu Xinling, and Old Ning were all there. When he saw Yi Chen getting off the Hennessy Viper GT, he couldn't help but widen his eyes. "Yi Chen, is this your car?" Gu Qingshan smiled brightly, walked forward, put his arm around Yi Chen's shoulder, and whispered, "Yi Chen, I heard you don't have a girlfriend, right?" Chapter 71, Yi Chen's Plan, Zhu Chen's Background, and the Terrifying Liu Family. Yi Chen didn't expect it. As soon as they met, Gu Qingshan did this, making him extremely embarrassed. Mr. Gu, what do you mean?" Yi Chen glanced at him and found that his face was flushed, and the old injuries in his body were almost completely healed. He couldn't help but smile and said, "It looks like it's almost healed." Gu Qingshan's thoughts were naturally on Yi Chen. He thought, Yi Chen is young and promising, and he is also his savior. Whether it's character or personality, there's nothing to say. As for Gu Xinling, her parents died early, and the grandfather and grandson depended on each other for survival. Although he is almost in good health now, he is getting older and will always have some problems of one kind or another. Gu Xinling is old enough. It's time to deal with the major issues in her life. Looking at Yi Chen like this, he doesn't seem to be very interested. "Nothing interesting, just asking. I'm almost recovered now, all thanks to you. I have to say, the effect of the Fuxi 9 needles is something even Elder Ning didn't expect." Gu Qingshan patted his chest with an expression of disbelief. To be honest, the effect was so good that even he himself did not expect it. "I thought I had a physical examination before, and was told that I only have a few years left to live." But who knew that Yi Chen's sudden appearance pulled him back from the presence of the King of Hell? The more he looked at Yi Chen, the more it seemed like he was looking at his grandson-in-law. But he also knew that people like Yi Chen could not be forced. If you dig deeper, it may backfire. "What are you two talking about?" Gu Xinling glanced at Yi Chen, and Gu Qingshan with a puzzled look on her face. "Girl, they are talking about your lifelong event." Aside, Old Ning laughed. "No way." Gu Xinling's pretty face turned red all the way to her neck. When she glanced at Yi Chen from the corner of her eye, her heart pounded. What a pity. She knows it too. Yi Chen's thoughts were never on her, even though she was wearing a white dress today and looked incredibly pretty. Sensing the atmosphere was a bit strange, Yi Chen said to Gu Qingshan, "Let's first look at the specific condition of the patient. Don't be careless." The group arrived at the treatment room. Yi Chen re-examined Gu Qingshan. "The previous old injury has recovered more than half. Mr. Gu, you won't need acupuncture anymore. Just follow the Chinese medicine prescription I gave you and drink it for about a month, and you'll be cured." Gu Qingshan looked up at him with a look of surprise, but Elder Ning couldn't help but ask, "Really, no acupuncture is needed?" "Certainly. This may be related to the fact that Mr. Gu exercises regularly, and his physique is better than that of ordinary people." Yi Chen nodded and replied to Mr. Ning, "I see." Old Ning looked regretful. The 9 needles of Fuxi was the acupuncture method he had always dreamed of. Yi Chen gave the acupuncture with such smoothness that just watching him was a pleasure. "Don't worry, Mr. Ning. If there's anything you're not familiar with about the Fuxi 9 needles, I'll explain it to you again." Yi Chen smiled slightly and said to Old Ning, "That's for the best, Hall." He rubbed his hands together excitedly, like a little kid who likes a toy. This scene let Gu Qingshan and Gu Xinling shake their heads. Master Ning, is the Fuxi 9 needles really that magical and mysterious? This is the first time I've seen you so excited." Gu Qingshan joked and asked Gu Xinling to boil the medicine. He glanced at Yi Chen again and asked again, "Yi Chen, you really don't want to consider it?" Ning Lao also said, "Yi Chen, Xinling is a good girl." However, before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Yi Chen. "Mr. Gu, Mr. Ning, I appreciate your kindness. It's just, I already have someone I like." Lin Wanmo's figure appeared in Yi Chen's mind. During this period of time together, he discovered that he and Lin Wanmo were attracted to each other. Gradually, from a work-colleague relationship, it evolved into a good friend relationship. Although it hasn't reached the stage of being a man and a woman, it's almost there. Okay, just pretend we didn't say anything. Old Ning was very embarrassed. He actually liked Gu Xinling, a well-behaved, sensible, and filial girl. And what about Yi Chen? He was a young man whom he could not even reach. If they really were together, wouldn't others be envious? By the way, Mr. Ning, Yi Chen suddenly thought of Meng Zixuan and Zhu Chen. What do you know about the pure yin body? When he heard the word pure yin body, Old Ning's body shook. He turned his head and stared at Yi Chen with a serious look on his face. "I heard that a pure yin body is extremely rare. It is the highest quality furnace cauldron, rarely seen in 1,000 years. In the era when ancient martial arts were prevalent, those with pure yin bodies suffered a tragic end." Having said that, he paused and looked up at Yi Chen. "Could it be that you have encountered this before? Since ancient times, medicine and martial arts have been inseparable. As one of the best traditional Chinese medicine practitioners in Shanghai, Mr. Ning knows these secrets very well, if not by heart. I recently ran into someone by chance and almost got ambushed." Yi Chen nodded and smiled at him. "Who knows?" Old Ning's face darkened and he said seriously, "Yi Chen, this is not a joke. People who are obsessed with furnaces and cauldrons are generally the heads or heirs of ancient martial arts families. If you are targeted by them, it will be dangerous." Yi Chen raised his eyebrows and asked, "What do you mean?" "I don't know the details, but you must be careful. Old Gu has his own little piece of land in this demon city, and everyone is afraid of him, but compared to this bottomless ancient martial arts family, he is still far behind." Old Ning shook his head, his brows furrowed into the shape of a Chinese letter character. "By the way, do you know who is plotting against you?" Yi Chen seemed to be thinking about something. He found that the previous level was too low. What pure yin body, what ancient martial arts family? He had never heard of these before and had no access to them at all. "Zhu Chen, has Elder Ning heard of it?" Thinking of this, he said to Mr. Ning, "Zhu Chen, the 4th son of the Zhu family, known as the little Zhu Kongaming." The corner of Old Ning's mouth twitched, and he smiled bitterly. "Yi Chen, you've gotten into big trouble. Zhu Chen, the 4th son of the Zhu family, was known as little Zhu Kongaming. But that's okay. The key is the Liu family," he said to Yi Chen, who looked confused. "Zhu Shiliu, the Liu family is behind him." Gu Qingshan then asked, "Is it the Liu family?" "Which other Liu family?" When Mr. Ning said this, he sighed. Gu Qingshan's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. He said to Yi Chen, "Yi Chen, if you have really offended the Liu family, listen to my advice and leave the Magic City as soon as possible. Escape as far as you can." Yi Chen was speechless. "Is it that serious? You don't know how terrifying this Liu family is. Come to think of it, my old injury was also related to the Liu family. But I didn't dare to seek revenge, and they didn't take me seriously. Everyone says I'm the underground emperor of Magic City, but I know my own weight. The Liu family is the real one." Gu Qingshan stood up and urged Yi Chen to leave quickly. Certainly, he was not afraid of getting into trouble, but was worried about Yi Chen's safety. Chapter 72, Meng Zixuan called. Yi Chen was numb. Gu Xinling walked in with medicine. Seeing Gu Qingshan chasing people away, he was stunned. "Grandpa, what are you doing?" Did Yi Chen do something out of line that made his grandfather so furious? Elder Ning also stood up and shook his head, saying, "Elder Gu, the Liu family is powerful. We can't just run away. It's better to prepare a generous gift and go to their house to apologize. That way there's still a glimmer of hope." "What Liu family? What's the point of asking for forgiveness? Did Yi Chen do anything wrong?" Gu Xinling was confused, but since it was about Yi Chen, she couldn't help but feel a little worried. "Xinling, Yi Chen has offended the Liu family." Gu Qingshan sighed and said helplessly, "Liu family, what Liu family? Grandpa, is there any trouble in this magic city that even you can't handle?" Gu Xinling was completely stunned. Gu Qingshan smiled bitterly at Yi Chen and Ning Lao, who were standing beside him. "Ever since her parents passed away, I've been semi-retired. I made some friends and connections before, so I let Xinling do some legitimate business. She doesn't know these secrets." Yi Chen and Mr. Ning finally understood. But Gu Qingshan disagreed with Elder Ning's suggestion. "Old Ning, you know the Liu family's character very well. If Zhu Chen really died at Yi Chen's hands, I'm afraid they won't let this matter go." When Mr. Ning heard this, he nodded dejectedly. "Yes, the Liu family is domineering. Once Zhu Chen dies, it will be a fight to the death." After hearing this, Yi Chen understood everything. Zhu Chen should be optimistic about Meng Zixuan's pure yin body on behalf of the Liu family. The square lacquer box mentioned earlier may have something to do with this matter. As for why he didn't take action against Meng Zixuan now, he was probably waiting for the right opportunity. If it is used as a furnace on the 24th birthday, the effect can be achieved at its best. No wonder Meng Zixuan's career is so smooth. She has the support of the Liu family behind her, and they are extremely strict with her. Zhu Chen has always been secretly protecting her. "I'm not afraid of trouble, but I'm afraid that the Liu family is too powerful and will implicate other people. That would be troublesome." Yi Chen thought that his physique was far superior to that of ordinary people, and even those from ancient martial arts families would not be able to defeat him. But if the Liu family turns to deal with Lin Wanmo or Hu Xiaoyao, he will be too busy to handle it. Escape is not an option, and staying here is also a dead end. Is there no other way? Gu Xinling understood the whole story and couldn't help but get angry. To be honest, it's not that she doesn't like Yi Chen, but when it comes to emotions, she is more reserved and introverted. But if Yi Chen was in danger or trouble, it would be strange if she wasn't worried. "By the way, Yi Chen, do you still remember the exchange meeting I mentioned to you before? After the exchange meeting, there will be an ancient martial arts conference. Perhaps you can take this opportunity to get to know the Cao family." Old Ning suddenly thought of the Chinese medicine exchange meeting he had mentioned to Yi Chen before. Upon hearing this, Gu Qingshan's eyes lit up. Yes, the only family that can compete with the Liu family is the Cao family. Yi Chen was completely confused. Wait a minute. You mentioned Zhu Xiliu and little Kong Ming before, and now you're talking about the Cao family. Are they descendants of the Three Kingdoms?" Hearing this, Gu Qingshan and Ning Lao also laughed. Gu Qingshan shook his head and said, "That's not the case. It's just that their surnames happen to overlap. There's no connection between the two, but seriously, Yi Chen, aren't you afraid of death?" "I'm afraid, of course I'm afraid. However, being afraid of death won't solve the problem. If it really comes to that, we have to give it a try, right?" Yi Chen smiled slightly, his expression calm. He said to Mr. Ning, "Mr. Ning, thank you for your advice. Let me find a way to find the Cao family myself. I don't want to involve you." "You're looking down on me when you say that." "Yi Chen, wait a minute. I'll say hello to the exchange meeting. You can just go there next weekend. Anyway, he doesn't need acupuncture. Just continue taking Chinese medicine." Old Ning shook his white beard, picked up his phone, and called the exchange meeting. In his opinion, if a talent like Yi Chen was killed because he accidentally offended the Liu family, it would be an unprecedented loss. Anyway, no matter how domineering the Liu family is, they would never target someone like him. "Hang up the phone," Old Ning said to Yi Chen. "Yi Chen, it's done. It will take some time for the Liu family to respond. I hope I can help you if I have the chance." "Thank you very much." After Yi Chen finished speaking, he glanced at the three of them. Yi Chen left first. "We'll meet again if we're destined to." "Never mind, let's not meet again." Yi Chen smiled casually, left the Gu family villa without looking back. "Yi Chen." Gu Xinling raised her hand and wanted to say something, but the words got stuck in her throat and she couldn't say anything. "Yes, if it is the Liu family, not only Yi Chen is in danger, but anyone who gets close to him is also in danger. Even if Gu Xinling can ignore it, but she still has her grandfather, Gu Qingshan, and this old Ning. Xinling, don't think too much. I don't think Yi Chen will die young. He is blessed with a long life. Old Ning tried to comfort her a few times, but Gu Xinling was still in a bad mood. She pointed at the medicine soup and said, "Grandpa, the medicine is here, drink it quickly." After saying this, she left the treatment room and returned to her room. Coming out of the villa, Yi Chen frowned. The Liu family, the Cao family. The amount of information today was so huge that he couldn't react quickly enough. Just thinking about it, the phone rang. He picked it up and took a look. Who else could it be but Meng Zixuan? "Just connected," Meng Zixuan said in a trembling voice. "Yi Chen, are you free now? Can you come to my house? I'm a little scared." After hanging up the phone, Yi Chen shook his head. Escape was not a solution. Let's meet up with Meng Zixuan first and find out the situation. As for Mr. Ning's help, it can be used as a backup plan. He got on the Hennessy Viper GT and rushed back to Millennium Road. But it is not an apartment, but a villa area next to it. How could Meng Zixuan still look as excited as she did last night? The whole person looked pale, and it was obvious that his mental state was extremely bad. There are even dark circles under the eyes. And she seemed very relaxed in front of Yi Chen. She was just wearing pajamas, and her beautiful figure was clearly visible. "What's wrong? Before I came back last night, didn't you tell me to pay attention to my surroundings? I really feel like someone is watching me. It's so scary. Take off your jade and let me see it." Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the jade on Meng Zixuan's body. "Really? There are a few small cracks at the corners. No need to think about it. It must be Zhu Chen's method." He took a deep breath and said, "Meng Zixuan, we are in trouble, a deadly trouble." "What trouble, Jade, or the person who's following me?" She knew nothing about the pure yin body. Yi Chen rolled his eyes and felt numb all over. How should I confront Meng Zixuan about this? Chapter 73, paparazzi secretly photographed Yi Chen, who was unlucky. 1000-Year Road. Outside the villa area, among all the famous cars, there is an ordinary RV. One of the windows was open, and a camera was faintly visible. Without a doubt, this is the paparazzi taking pictures. The direction of the secret filming was exactly the room where Meng Zixuan was. That's weird. Just now she didn't draw the curtains, and I vaguely saw a figure, but now the curtains are drawn. "Hey, Meng Zixuan, I've been watching you for more than half a month. I don't believe I can't find a scandal about you." The paparazzi in the car stared at the window and said viciously, "For him, in 10 days or half a month, as long as you get some explosive news, all the hard work will be worth it." After all, for popular female stars like Meng Zixuan, the main focus is on the pure and lovely image. Any scandal will affect their personality. If he really takes some photos of you, go directly to Meng Zixuan's agent. To be able to negotiate it, you need at least several million. Even if we can't close the deal, selling it to those news media will still net us a lot of money. Just as he was thinking about it, there was a completely different scene in the villa. "Yi Chen, why are you pulling the curtains?" Meng Zixuan crossed her arms over her chest and stared at Yi Chen in front of her with a look of vigilance. Yi Chen said unhappily, "You already let me in, why are you still afraid of me?" Meng Zixuan was startled, and her face turned even paler. "I was just teasing you, but you took it seriously." Seeing this, Yi Chen couldn't help but laugh. He pointed out the window and said, "Haven't a lot of celebrities been exposed recently? Besides, you said before that you always feel like someone is following you, so you have to be on guard." "You mean the paparazzi?" Meng Zixuan patted his chest and couldn't help but let out a sigh. Just a moment ago, she was really scared. But now I realize that how could someone like Yi Chen do such a dirty thing? Not to mention, he has a special relationship with Lin Wanmo. With such a beauty around, it doesn't make sense for her to still have any thoughts about herself, right? If it's paparazzi, then there's no problem. Should I just pay attention? Meng Zixuan looked up at Yi Chen and blinked. "It's not that easy." Yi Chen smiled bitterly and sighed. If it was just Zhu Chen, then it wouldn't be a big deal. The two had dealt with each other before, so he was not afraid at all. But there is now the mysterious Liu family. This made Yi Chen a little wary. So what should we do now? Before Meng Zixuan could utter the word do, she heard a hurried knock on the door. "Knock, knock, knock." Her face changed, and she quickly lowered her voice. "Oh no, Sister Qing is here. Hurry and hide." Last night, she slept restlessly, so I called Liu Qing early in the morning. Liu Qing was a little late because she was dealing with her notice. She has always been concerned about the relationship between Meng Zixuan, Yi Chen, and Lin Wanmo. If she really knew that Yi Chen was in Meng Zixuan's room, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yi Chen was stunned. He looked up and asked, "Where are you hiding?" The bed is made of solid wood, and there is no way to get under it. There was an anti-theft steel mesh installed on the window, so no one could get out. Wardrobe, get into the closet. In a hurry, Meng Zixuan pointed to the wardrobe. Yi Chen said, "Oh," and climbed into the closet. Only, this girl's wardrobe is delicate and beautiful, but a little small. He had no choice but to bend over and curl up into a ball. This is more like a young couple at home, just in time for their parents to come home. Yi Chen shook his head and sneered. And at this time, Meng Zixuan opened the door and Liu Qing walked in. She immediately asked Meng Zixuan, "Zixuan, what took you so long? I've been knocking on the door for so long." Meng Zixuan happened to see Yi Chen's shoes, and her heart rose to her throat. She pretended to be calm and quickly stood in front of the wardrobe. "I didn't sleep well last night. I was a little sleepy just now. I just heard it. Then she handed Liu Qing shoe covers. "Sister Qing, I'm worried that the paparazzi are following me." She pointed out the window and said to Liu Qing, "What?" Liu Qing's face darkened. She quickly walked to the window, pulled up the curtains, and looked down. And take advantage of this opportunity, Meng Zixuan carefully put away Yi Chen's shoes. As soon as she turned around, Liu Qing came over and stared at her. "What's wrong, Sister Qing?" Meng Zixuan's voice trembled a little. What if Liu Qing found out that there were men's shoes in her house? How would she explain it? "You mean there are paparazzi following you?" "I just lifted the curtain and took a look, and it seems to be there." As an agent, how to avoid paparazzi's sneak shots is also part of daily work. To this end, she has specifically studied the paparazzi's work of taking secret photos. The RV below is, without a doubt, the best shooting location. "Zixuan, you didn't forget to draw the curtains, did you?" Liu Qing glared at Meng Zixuan and asked her. "No, it's closed fine." Meng Zixuan finally came back to his senses and said to her, "Forget it, stand aside and let me take a picture of him." Liu Qing thought for a moment and said to Meng Zixuan. Meng Zixuan quickly jumped away. Then, Liu Qing opened the curtains. Someone's there. Below, the paparazzi perked up. He quickly adjusted the focus and was about to start shooting. Who knows? He saw Liu Qing's figure. Crack. Under the camera, Liu Qing even glanced over here. Damn, how could it be the agent? And it seems like he's been discovered. Seeing this, the paparazzi didn't dare to stay any longer and quickly withdrew the camera and drove away. Only then did Liu Qing close the curtains again. "Zixuan, you must be careful. Be careful of being followed and secretly photographed. If that doesn't work, I'll find you another place." Liu Qing stared at Meng Zixuan and said to her. "But..." Meng Zixuan hesitated. She has a good impression of Yi Chen. They finally become neighbors. Does that mean he has to move? "No buts, I'll go find a room today." Liu Qing sighed and softened his attitude. "Zixuan, I'm not forcing you. It's because the current situation is not good. If it affects your new drama, your future career may also be affected." Hearing this, Meng Zixuan had no choice but to nod. "Well, it'd be better if it's around here, okay." Meng Zixuan raised her head, looked at Liu Qing with her big eyes, and pleaded. Liu Qing thought Meng Zixuan had adapted to the situation here, so he nodded and said, "Okay, no problem." The two chatted for almost an hour, until it was almost time for dinner. Meng Zixuan's eyes kept drifting towards the wardrobe. Liu Qing couldn't help but frown and asked suspiciously, "Zixuan, why are you looking into the closet? Is there something in there?" No, I was thinking it's almost noon. I should change clothes and go out for dinner." "No need to go out. I ordered takeout for you. It should be here soon." Liu Qing smiled slightly and said to her, Yi Chen. Yi Chen, who was hiding in the closet, was completely speechless. Chapter 74. Inexplicable Scandal, Murong Jing's Anger. Until lunch was over, Meng Zixuan forcibly sent Liu Qing away on the pretext of taking a lunch break and looking for a house. And at this time, Yi Chen just came out of the closet. "Yi Chen, I'm really sorry for what happened just now. How about I treat you to a meal?" Meng Zixuan looked at Yi Chen with an apologetic look on her face. "Nothing, just an emergency. It's not your fault. If you want to treat me to a meal, maybe next time. I have something else to do, so I'm leaving now." Yi Chen shook his head and said to her, "Just now." Luckily, he had muted his phone. Otherwise, Hu Xiao's phone call would have exposed him. "Okay then, I'll ask you out when I have time." Speaking of this, Meng Zixuan remembered what happened before. She asked Yi Chen, Yi Chen, then there's nothing wrong on my side, right? Maybe it's the paparazzi who have been following me these days. They're not paparazzi. Never mind, you won't understand even if I tell you now. So, besides the paparazzi, try to have someone accompany you every day when you go out. Never be alone. In case of emergency, call me. Yi Chen waved at him, glanced outside, and left Meng Zixuan's villa. Looking at Yi Chen's back, Meng Zixuan was completely confused. If it's not the paparazzi, then who is following me? Could it be an extreme fan? That's unlikely. She scratched her head, puzzled. Oh no, I forgot to tell Yi Chen that I'm moving out soon. But before she had time to think about it, Liu Qing called. After hanging up the phone, Meng Zixuan opened the mobile network and was dumbfounded. How so? Just returned to Cayenne Road apartments. Yi Chen knocked on Hu Xiaoyao's door. Yi Chen, you haven't eaten yet, right? Here, this is specially left for you. After opening the door, Hu Xiaoyao pointed to the small dining table next to her. Judging from her expression, she didn't seem to have slept much, just like Meng Zixuan just now. Thanks, I'm starving. Yi Chen smiled, didn't say anything, picked up the bowl and chopsticks and started eating. Hu Xiaoyao started playing with her cell phone, but after a while she couldn't help but exclaimed, Huh, Meng Zixuan is also involved in a scandal. This is too unbelievable. Meng Zixuan, why is she involved in a scandal? Yi Chen was stunned for a moment, his heart trembling. No way. Was someone filming me closing the curtains earlier? If that's the case, the Liu family will definitely come knocking on our door if they see it. Here, take a look for yourself. Popular actress Meng Zixuan suspected scandal has leaked. Okay, it turns out it was just clickbait. Hu Xiaoyao shook her head and frowned. She thought there was a real scandal, but when she picked it up, she saw only 2 dry photos. And all of Meng Zixuan's photos are from the past, plus a photo of Liu Qing. Who can believe it? Seeing this, Yi Chen couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. This scene happened to be captured by Hu Xiaoyao. She couldn't help but raise her eyebrows and asked, Yi Chen, do you know Meng Zixuan? Yes, I know her. She's the spokesperson for AI Shang Medical Beauty. I've met her a few times. Yi Chen casually told about how he met Meng Zixuan before. Yi Chen, it's not you and her who are involved in the scandal, right? Hu Xiaoyao's gossip fire is burning fiercely. Next time you run into her, remember to get me an autograph. Who knows? Her next words made Yi Chen roll his eyes wildly. Okay, next time I see her, I'll get her autograph for you. There was no need for Yi Chen to refuse such a small matter. Have dinner. Hu Xiaoyao's expression straightened, and she said to Yi Chen, Yi Chen, I thought a lot last night, but one thing is for sure, we are friends, and that won't change no matter what, right? Even if Yi Chen is worth billions, even if he drives a Hennessy Viper GT supercar, so what? As long as he is still Yi Chen, it is enough. Huh, really? When Yi Chen heard these words coming out of her mouth, he was a little bit unbelieving. Yi Chen was troubled by the look of shock he had seen last night. He wondered if it would be better not to expose himself. Of course it's true. Why, you don't believe it? Hu Xiaoyao glared at him and growled at him. I believe it, of course I believe it. By the way, are you free after lunch? I want to buy another car. When Hu Xiaoyao heard that Yi Chen was going to buy another car, she was stunned. Don't you already have that supercar? Why buy another car? Yi Chen touched his nose and said, That car is too cool. After all, I'm just a sales manager. It's not appropriate for me to drive this kind of car to work. It's your money, you decide. Not just one car, 10 cars will do. Hu Xiaoyao laughed and suddenly thought of Zhou Qing and shook her head. Yi Chen, tell me, if Zhou Qing knew that you have so much money now, what would she think? Yi Chen hasn't thought about Zhou Qing these days. Hearing her say this suddenly, he smiled and said, What would she think? She would think that I deceived her, concealed her, and deliberately made her suffer. Speaking of which, the last time I took Lin Wanmo there. Having said this, Yi Chen stopped abruptly. This week I took Lin Wanmo to do a pregnancy checkup and happened to meet Zhou Qing, and something unpleasant happened again. He almost let the cat out of the bag just now. What are you taking Lin Wanmo with you for? Hu Xiaoyao narrowed her eyes and asked Yi Chen. Nothing, just pretend I didn't say anything. Yi Chen quickly got up and returned to his apartment. You are such a good person, Yi Chen. You are hiding something from me. Could it be that between you and Lin Wanmo? Hu Xiaoyao stared at Yi Chen's back and was completely stunned. Tianxing Films. Workshop. Murong Jing looked at the entertainment scandal that had just come out, and his face became extremely ugly. Meng Zixuan, is there a scandal? Others may not know, but he knows it clearly. The humiliation that Yi Chen, Zhu Chen, gave him will be unforgettable for him for the rest of his life. The moment he saw the scandal, he thought of Yi Chen. Young, handsome, and calm. What a great gigolo, isn't he? Okay. They actually got mixed up. Meng Zixuan, you are the woman that I, Murong Jing, have set my eyes on. If you are flirting with others, don't blame me. He wondered whether he should take this opportunity to completely ruin Meng Zixuan's reputation. He is narrow-minded and has a strong desire for revenge. If he can't get something, he would rather destroy it. Hey, it's time to get some hot stuff out anonymously. But I just want to buy a new car recently, but I can't just expose the news for nothing. I have to come up with a few million. Thinking of this, he snapped his fingers at his agent. Sister Zai, please help me contact some news media and tell them I have all the information about the rumored boyfriend. Hearing this, Zai Fangfeng was shocked. Murong Jing, don't do anything rash. If this gets out, it will definitely cause an uproar. Besides, if Meng Zixuan finds out, we'll be in big trouble. However, Murong Jing was not afraid at all. What are you worried about? If you don't tell me, I won't tell you either. Just sign a confidentiality agreement. Besides, it's not now. Wouldn't it be better to wait until the TV series is finished and then release it to take advantage of the popularity? When Murong Jing thought of this, he laughed to himself with a smug look on his face. Chapter 75, Car Buying Meeting Chen Tianzai Again. 1000-Year Road. International Youth Future City, Loft Apartment. Yi Chen took an hour lunch break. When I got up, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. After washing his face, he immediately felt refreshed. I knocked on the door, and Hu Xiaoyao from the opposite side came out immediately. You can tell that she dressed up specially. Not only did she wear a skirt that she rarely wore, she even put on some lipstick. Sniffing the faint scent of perfume on her body, Yi Chen couldn't help but widen his eyes and said to Hu Xiaoyao, Xiaoyao, you are wearing a skirt and dressing up. Are you going on a blind date? Fuck you. Hu Xiaoyao glared at him unhappily. Aren't I going to buy a car with you? Why, it doesn't look good. Yi Chen stared at her up and down for a few times and nodded. She looks good, of course she looks good. You're really not going on a blind date. If you say one more word, you'll go look at the car yourself. Hu Xiaoyao stomped her feet, and her frustrated look made Yi Chen couldn't help laughing. Okay, I won't say any more, Miss Hu. Please calm down. You're quite sensible. Hu Xiaoyao was not really angry and took Yi Chen to her car. As a newly promoted sales manager, it would be so cool to drive that Hennessy Viper GT. So, he plans to buy an ordinary car. It's ordinary, but it can't be too bad. So there aren't many options available. Lexus and Volvo are low-key and luxurious, and their texture and comfort are not inferior to BBA. Because his ex-girlfriend is Chen Tianzai, a car salesman, Hu Xiaoyao also knows a little about it. She asked as she drove, Yi Chen, Volvo is made of good materials, has good safety, and has better performance, but what about Lexus? It has a better interior, higher comfort, and lower fuel consumption. It's up to you to choose. Yi Chen thought about it and said, then let's go to Volvo. For him, gas money is not a problem at all. As for comfort, I don't care that much about it. My commute time isn't long anyway, only half an hour in the morning and evening. Okay, let's go to Volvo. Visible to the naked eye. Hu Xiaoyao breathed a sigh of relief. Yi Chen frowned slightly, as if thinking about something. By the way, didn't Chen Tianzai work at the Lexus store before? There are only 2 Lexus stores in Shanghai, and the other one is too far away. It seems Hu Xiaoyao hasn't gotten over Chen Tianzai's shadow yet. Thinking of this, a murderous look flashed in his eyes. But soon, he calmed down and went to the Volvo 4S dealership. Only, he didn't expect that as soon as he got off the car and arrived at the store door, the salesperson walking towards him was none other than Chen Tianzai. Yi Chen glanced at Hu Xiaoyao and was a little dumbfounded. Hu Xiaoyao also stood there in a daze. What's going on? I knew it earlier. Even if she had to run a little further, she would take Yi Chen to another store. Hello, Hu Xiaoyao, Yi Chen. Chen Tianzai didn't expect to meet Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoyao in the 4S store. Ever since being kicked out of the apartment that day, Chen Tianzai's work has not been going well. Because of personal credit issues, he was kicked out by Lexus. Later, he used some connections to get a job as a front desk receptionist and salesperson for Volvo. Every time he thought of Hu Xiaoyao and Yi Chen, especially Yi Chen, he hated them to the core. And Hu Xiaoyao is always without makeup. She actually dressed up, put on lipstick and perfume in front of Yi Chen, which made him even more furious. Chen Tianzai narrowed his eyes and asked, Hu Xiaoyao, what are you doing here? Buy a car, right? Hu Xiaoyao snorted and stared at Chen Tianzai. Before, She wondered what her mentality would be if she met Chen Tianzai again. Is it anger, fear, or something else? It was not until this time, when she really met him, that she realized that she didn't feel anything at all. Yes, this way, please. Chen Tianzai smiled and led the two of them to the car exhibition area. Anyway, in public, how could Yi Chen dare to hit anyone? If that's the case, I'll just lie down on the ground and have to pay with at least a Volvo. Although I've only been here a short time, I used to sell mid to high-end cars, so I know a lot about Volvo. It depends on your needs. Do you plan to buy a regular sedan or an SUV? I have to say, Chen Tianzai does have some business skills, and he is eloquent and can easily win the favor of others. But Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoao had seen through his true face long ago, and could not be fooled by his appearance. Hu Xiaoao said to Yi Chen, let's forget it and come back next time. When she saw Chen Tianzai, she felt a little nauseous. No, buy it here. Yi Chen looked at Chen Tianzai and smiled slightly. I think he's a good person. At least an acquaintance is better than a stranger. What a joke. How could Chen Tianzai treat Hu Xiaoao like that and beat her up before? He winked at Hu Xiaoao, indicating that she should come and choose a car. Xiaoao, I don't know much about cars, so you pick one for me. By doing this, he could not only let Hu Xiaoao vent her anger. What's more important is to let her get rid of Chen Tianzai's influence and completely get out of the previous shadow. Chen Tianzai was sitting opposite the two of them. The eyeballs are rolling around. Before he beat me up and kicked me out of Hu Xiaoao's house. This grudge has been completely formed. Now you're letting Hu Xiaoao humiliate me. Do you really think I, Chen Tianzai, am made of clay? Thinking of this, he suddenly felt a surge of anger. In his opinion, all the bitter fruits he is suffering now are caused by Yi Chen. Chen Tianzai couldn't swallow this anger if he didn't trick Yi Chen and make him feel uncomfortable. By the way, aren't there 2 new cars with problems in the warehouse? Heh. Chen Tianzai took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. Then, he put on a warm smile and said, Hu Xiaoao, we're acquaintances, so I'll be frank. Whether you choose an SUV or a regular sedan, I can get you the lowest price. What's more, I'll give you all the free gifts. I definitely won't rip you off. No way. He is now imagining a scene where Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoao are driving a problematic car, and an accident occurs on the road. Unconsciously, his smile became even brighter. When things are out of the ordinary, there must be something fishy going on. What's Chen Tianzai up to? But Yi Chen's 5 senses were extremely sharp, and he immediately noticed Chen Tianzai's little thoughts. What on earth could a small salesman like him do? No matter what, he'll only reap what he sows in the end. Thinking of this, Yi Chen winked at Hu Xiaoao. Hu Xiaoao thought for a moment and said, the Volvo sedan is also quite spacious. Let's go with the sedan. Okay, come over and take a look. The latest S90 is very good and has a great value for money. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Chen Tianzai turned his back to the two of them and smiled sinisterly. Chapter 76. Liu Tao's background, the Liu family, Lin Wanmo's decision. Husband, are you really going to take me to meet your parents? Zhou Qing looked at Liu Tao standing beside her, and for some reason she felt uneasy. Didn't we agree on this yesterday? Besides, since you're pregnant, of course you have to meet my parents. Don't worry, they're easy to talk to. If they dare to give you a hard time, I'll punish them. Liu Tao smiled and looked ingratiating. Before, he and Zhou Qing were just playing around. But I didn't expect it. Zhou Qing is actually pregnant. This good news was of great significance, and it made him calm down. After all, this is the descendant of the Liu family, so he should be taken care of carefully, right? This is not. In order to comfort Zhou Qing, he specially took Zhou Qing to meet his parents. Okay then, but you have to keep an eye on me. I don't want any mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflicts. Somehow she thought of Yi Chen. After dating for a year or 2, let alone meeting his parents, he hasn't even had a good meal. Looking at Liu Tao, who was patting his chest and making promises, Zhou Qing couldn't help but said in a coquettish voice, Liu Tao, you are so good to me. I really don't know what I would do without you. Why are you suddenly so sentimental? Come on, hurry up and get over there or you'll miss dinner. Liu Tao grinned, opened the car door, let Zhou Qing get in and drove towards his home. Not long after, they arrived at the Liu family villa. This is a very old building located in the eastern suburbs. The surrounding area is ancient and charming, with mountains and rivers connecting to each other. In the bustling and noisy Magic City, it is extremely rare and somewhat out of place. Look, this is our Liu family villa. I heard it has a history of over 100 years. The red bricks, glazed tiles, and green tiles really have a sense of history. But The surface was covered with dense ivy, which seemed too quiet and gloomy, giving Zhou Qing goosebumps. It was okay when I was a kid, but when I got older, I couldn't get used to it anymore, so I moved to the city center. But my parents have always lived here. Unless there's something going on at the company, they rarely move. Zhou Qing hardly listened to what Liu Tao said. She simply asked, Liu Tao, how do you think I look now? I'm not ugly, am I? Even an ugly daughter-in-law has to meet her parents-in-law, not to mention you are dressed so beautifully today. You look so radiant. How could you be ugly? Liu Tao smiled and pulled Zhou Qing towards the villa. Dad, Mom, I'm back. Look, who did I bring back? Hey, your daughter-in-law. Before he finished speaking, he noticed that something was wrong in the atmosphere. Just see. There were 2 or 3 cars parked in the villa's large yard. All of them were S-Class Maybachs. And his parents winked at him madly. I was wondering who it was that came in and started yelling. It turned out to be Liu Tao. The speaker was a man in his early 20s. Behind him stood 4 or 5 burly men. Liu Tao's parents quickly smiled and said, Brother Yuan, Liu Tao has been noisy since he was little. Please don't blame him. I'm easy to talk to, but you have to know that if it were the young master, I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to return to the Liu family in this lifetime. Liu Yuan laughed and didn't take it seriously. Liu Tao reacted at this time and said quickly, Brother Yuan, I didn't expect it to be you. Sorry for disturbing you. Finished. He winked at Zhou Qing. Who knows? Zhou Qing stood there in a daze at a loss. Forget it, there's nothing to do anyway, just come out and walk around. Don't be so restrained, it's annoying to watch. Also, please pay attention to what I just said to you. Otherwise, you will have a hard time explaining to the young master. Before he finished speaking, Liu Yuan stood up and left with everyone behind him. Before he got in the car, he looked at Zhou Qing with a look of contempt, which made the latter blush and almost couldn't help cursing. Liu Tao, who is that, Brother Yuan? He's so arrogant and thinks he really thinks he is. Before he could finish his words, he was glared at by Liu Tao's parents. What do you know? And at this time, Liu Tao explained to Zhou Qing, you can't say that. Look at our family, it's okay, right? But compared to the behemoth's family, it's nothing. They are the real upper class, and we are just marginal figures. He sighed. He turned around and looked at his parents, saying, Mom and Dad, don't be angry. Isn't it okay now? Besides, it was Zhou Qing's first time here, and I didn't expect to meet them, so I didn't tell her. He thought of what Liu Yuan said before he left, and asked with a smile, What did Brother Yuan tell you before? It's okay to tell you, but before that, Zhu Chen, the kid from the Zhu family, suddenly suffered a backlash and died. He's fine, but he's keeping an eye on someone for the young master. Her name is Meng Zixuan or someone else. Doesn't our family own a film and television company? It just so happens that Meng Zixuan and I are filming a drama recently, so let me look for some clues. Okay, Zhou Qing is your girlfriend, right? Come and see. Nanshan Villa. Lin family. Lin Wanmo looked at Wu Kaiyan, the president of Juxin Capital, and couldn't help but frowned. Originally, last night, under the leadership of her parents, she had dinner with Wu Kaiyan. But unexpectedly, Wu Kaiyan had something urgent to do. Today he came specially to have a chat at Nanshan Villa. Only, the cooperation talks were not very pleasant. Mr. Wu, tell me, what conditions will you accept? Lin Wanmo took a deep breath, forced herself to calm down, and asked Wu Kaiyan, I want 10% of AI Shang Medical Beauty's shares. Wu Kaiyan smiled slightly and said to Lin Wanmo, That's impossible. Lin Wanmo's face darkened, and she shook her head firmly. The reason why she found Wu Kaiyan was to get his funds into the market, provide funds for the subsequent surge in AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price. Only, the other party's conditions are too harsh. They actually want 10% of the shares. It's simply an exorbitant demand. If I let you invest your money in the market, you can make a lot of money yourself, but you still want a 10% stake. Aren't you taking advantage of me? Hearing Lin Wanmo's words, Wu Kaiyan smiled again. Boss Lin, you can't say that. You know, it's not cheap to drive up the stock price of AI Shang Medical Beauty, and it takes time to cash out such a large amount of funds. If there is a share transaction as a condition for cooperation, we can not only make additional investments, but also have a better chance of approval for subsequent planned share issuances. Obviously, Wu Kaiyan is very optimistic about the prospects of AI Shang Medical Beauty. Otherwise, equity would not be used as a condition for investment. Well, let me think about it and give you an answer before noon tomorrow. Okay, don't delay too long, because I heard that the situation is not favorable for you now. Wu Kaiyan got up and left Nanshan Villa without eating dinner. Lin Yao and Zhang Xiangyun walked over and said to Lin Wanmo, Wanmo, why don't you agree to his offer? 10% of the shares and finding a big backer will be very beneficial to the future of AI Shang Medical Beauty. Mom and Dad, Wu Kaiyan's goal isn't just 10% of the equity, but the entire AI Shang Medical Beauty Company. No, no, I must not open this door. Otherwise, I will only be making wedding clothes for others. Lin Wanmo shook her head, took a deep breath, and a look of determination appeared in her eyes. Chapter 77, Yi Chen's Speculation. Chen Tianzai reaping the fruits of his own labor. Volvo 4S store. With the strong recommendation of Chen Tianzai, Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoyao finally chose the new Volvo S90 sedan. I have to say, when it comes to safety performance, Volvo is impeccable. And after all, it is a luxury car. Although the interior is a bit run down, the comfort is actually guaranteed, and it is not that bad. Next, the test drive performance was also very good, and Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoyao were very satisfied. Well, I said this car is good, right? Chen Tianzai laughed and said to the two of them. Hu Xiaoyao frowned, and Yi Chen nodded and said, Do you have a car available? Available car? Yes, of course. Chen Tianzai suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and took a deep breath. Are you paying in full or taking out a loan? The full payment process is very quick, and I can go to the vehicle management office to register the car after it's done. If I'm taking out a loan, I need to go through the loan process, and I probably won't be able to pick up the car until tomorrow. Hundreds of thousands. Of course Yi Chen didn't. His previous life was almost all in the stock market. However, since Yi Chen paid for the apartment, Hu Xiaoyao had several million on her, so buying a Volvo was not a problem. Pay in full, get it done quickly, we're in a hurry, Hu Xiaoyao said to Chen Tian. At this time, she has stepped out of the shadows she was in before. When facing Chen Tianzai again, he almost didn't take him seriously at all. A scumbag, isn't he? Okay, I'll do it right away. Chen Tianzai smiled slightly, seemingly not taking it to heart. In fact, he turned his head with a gloomy look on his face. Damn Hu Xiaoyao, damn Yi Chen, how dare they give me such a cold shoulder? What's wrong? Is it all about Dad when buying a car? Humph, I'll rip you off this time. Thinking of this, he felt much better. In order to avoid being discovered by Yi Chen, he quickly completed the payment procedures. The price is the lowest, and it also offers free maintenance, car film, 360 driving recorder, etc. All free. We've already taken care of all this for you. There's still half an hour until the vehicle management office closes, so you can still get the license plate. Chen Tianzai still had a smile on his face as he spoke to the two of them. If you can, go to the warehouse in the back and pick up the car now. You can drive back. Hu Xiaoyao nodded and said calmly, Okay. Only... Yi Chen glanced at Chen Tianzai and found something was wrong. Strange, this is going so smoothly. This is going so smoothly. I beat him up so badly last time, and I also stopped him from taking money from Hu Xiaoyao, and he actually just let it go like that. No, 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 it's impossible. Chen Tianzai is not that kind of person. Chen Tianzai's character is absolutely vindictive. How could it be possible that he didn't take advantage of the opportunity to buy a car and do something about it? But he actually offered the lowest price and the biggest discount. This is too unreasonable. When something is abnormal, there must be something wrong. Yi Chen suddenly thought of something. Could there be something wrong with the car? Before he joined AI Shang Medical Beauty Sales, he also learned about car sales, or to be more precise, used car sales. The water is deep here. Apart from vehicles that have undergone major insurance repairs and cannot be faked, there are many other second-hand cars that are inferior in quality. There are no major problems, but a lot of minor ones. The key is that the after-sales service is not perfect. Whoever buys it will have a headache. There are new cars too. After all, since it is made by machines, there will always be some faults. Could it be? Yi Chen felt a little horrified when he thought of Chen Tianzai's plan. It seems that this kid can't be kept. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes, and a murderous look flashed in his eyes. No way. This Chen Tianzai is different from Zhou Qing. Zhou Qing felt the huge contrast between the past and the present, and she felt unbalanced, so she became envious, jealous, and resentful. But it's just a thought. Unlike Chen Tianzai, who had obviously lost his mind and was desperate to kill him and Hu Xiaoyao. Thinking of this, he regained his calm and composed expression. Wait here for a moment, I'll drive the car out for you. Chen Tianzai gave the two of them some instructions, and then went into the warehouse. Lao Cheng, I'm here to pick up the car, the new S90. Lao Chen and Chen Qiang are responsible for picking up cars from the warehouse. Okay, wait a moment. I'll bring it up for you right away. Chen Qiang was about to ask someone to make arrangements, but was stopped by Chen Tianzai. He leaned forward and lowered his voice. Old Chang, I remember there was an S90 with a minor problem. We haven't had time to send it back to headquarters yet. Chen Tianzai, what do you mean? Chen Qiang frowned and was about to push him away. It's just a minor problem, no big deal. If we sell it, we don't have to send it back to headquarters, right? Besides, if you really want to repair your car, you have to go through us. You can make a little extra money. Please help me with this. I don't want any commission from selling the car this time. For a car, his commission is several thousand, which is a considerable amount. I see. Chen Qiang was in hesitation. Before, Chen Tianzai used his connections to get a job as a salesperson. And this matter is neither big nor small. Anyway, as the warehouse manager, any product problems can be directly referred to after sales service. At most, it can be considered as dereliction of duty on his part, and there is no other impact. Okay, Chen Tianzai, but let me make it clear first, don't cause any trouble for me. Actually, the headquarters also stated that unless it is a major product defect, they will repair it themselves if it can be repaired. When the time comes, just report the repair costs. Chen Qiang, this is done, I'll treat you to a meal. Chen Tianzai chuckled. This was the most important step. Next, let me ask you, why do you do something that harms others and benefits yourself? Chen Qiang added another sentence. Look, see that bitch outside? She's my ex-girlfriend. We were dating for half a year, but she wouldn't even let me hold her hand. Now she's running off with this gigolo. Chen Tianzai's eyes were extremely vicious. So that's how it is. Go ahead, I'll get the car out. Only then did Chen Qiang believe Chen Tianzai and shouted to his men. Big head, pull number 3 out. Old Chen, number 3 isn't that. What are you talking about? Just do it now, no more nonsense. Not long after, the brand new Volvo S90 was pulled outside the warehouse. Chen Tianzai took out the car keys and said, Yi Chen, Hu Zaiao here, the car is in your hands. Drive well. He turned to leave, but was stopped by Yi Chen. I'm afraid of scratching my new car. So, you drive to the vehicle management office and I'll take Hu Zaiao's car. Yi Chen remained calm and applied slight force with his fingers. A terrifying force instantly deformed Chen Tianzai's wrist, and he almost cried out in pain. Stop talking nonsense and get over here. Yi Chen pressed the car key and let Chen Tianzai get in the driver's seat without saying anything. He motioned Chen Tianzai to roll down the window. Chen Tianzai, you wouldn't be unwilling, would you? Or is there something wrong with your car? No, absolutely no problem. Okay, let's get going. Chapter 78. Zhuge family's reaction, the funding agreement fell through. Is AI Shang medical beauty in danger? Zhuge family. At this time, Zhuge Chen's body was placed in the mourning hall. Everyone present had a gloomy and sad look on their faces. You know, the Zhuge family has lost many talented people in recent years. Zhuge Chen is the most outstanding rising star among them and the hope of the Zhuge family. Who knows? It died suddenly, which was really unexpected. The current head of the Zhuge family, Zhuge Dachuan, glanced at everyone present and couldn't help but snorted coldly. Chenner is gone. The most important thing now is to avenge him. Maybe many of you don't know why Chenner died. Someone from the Liu family has arrived. Liu Yuan is here to pay his respects. He will tell you the reason. After Zhuge Dachuan finished speaking, he made way for a little. Liu Yuan walked forward and smiled slightly. Zhuge Chen died for the young master of the Liu family. How dare someone attack the Zhuge family and the Liu family? What do you think? As soon as the words fell, everyone in the Zhuge family below had a look of anger on their faces. Too arrogant, too bold. For so many years in this tiny piece of land in the Demon City, who dares to lay a hand on our people? Besides, Chenner is the future and hope of our Zhuge family. No matter who it is, once we find him, we will make him pay a heavy price. That's right, we've been silent for too long. It seems that only by using thunderous means to find the ferocious beast can we scare the people of the Demon City. Hearing this, Liu Yuan nodded. Everyone said it well. He narrowed his eyes and smiled again. But now, the only trouble is, I don't know who did it. All I know is that there was a connection between the Kangshan car race and Zhuge Chen's sudden breakdown. Having said that, Liu Yuan took out a piece of paper from his pocket. I have a list of the previous races here. Take it and find out who attacked Zhuge Chen. Remember, just find him. Don't act on your own because it's very likely that you won't be his match. It's not just the Zhuge family. Before he came here, he also gave a copy to Liu Tao's parents. They were only investigating openly, while Liu Tao's parents were investigating secretly. Liu Yuan thought to himself that this way he would definitely be able to find out who had attacked Zhu Chen. Did you all hear that? Go and find the murderer before the 7th day and offer sacrifices to Chener's spirit in heaven. Zhu Dachuan waved his hand and shouted to everyone. Then, everyone knelt down to pay their respects, and then gradually dispersed. Liu Yuan kept his eyes narrowed from beginning to end. Actually, it doesn't matter who attacked Zhu Chen. What's more important is that the young master of the Liu family cannot afford to make any mistakes in his important affairs. Otherwise, I've raised Meng Zixuan for so many years and have been paying attention to her since she was a child. Haven't all those hard work been in vain? Master Zhuge, Liu Yuan will be staying at the Phoenix Hotel in Magic City for the time being. If you have any news, please feel free to contact me. Liu Yuan said something to Zhuge Dachuan and then left the Zhuge family. At this time, behind Zhuge Dachuan, a man popped up. Master Liu Yuan's behavior is truly disgusting. It seems that he doesn't care about Brother Chen at all, but is worried about the important matter of the young master of the Liu family. Looking at his appearance, he is surprisingly similar to Zhu Chen, except that he is 1 or 2 years older. Jinger, you know what the Liu family is like, but there's nothing we can do. The Zhu family depends on the Liu family for survival. Without the Liu family, we're nothing. We have to keep Chener's death in our hearts and not talk about it, do you understand? And a future of the Zhu family depends on you. Zhuge Dachuan sighed and said to Zhuge Jing in front of him, Master, I know what to do. Zhuge Jing took a deep breath and nodded. Actually, Zhu Chen is the Zhuge family's chess piece in the open. The real young master of the Zhuge family is Zhuge Jing. Zhuge Jing is Zhuge Chen's elder brother, only 1 or 2 years older. But he has been secretly controlling the Zhuge family for several years and is a true talent. However, no matter what, Chener is still my brother. This vengeance must be avenged. Millennium Road in the apartment. Yi Chen drove his Volvo home, and unexpectedly he met Lin Wanmo downstairs. He looked surprised and asked, Wanmo, why are you here? You didn't even tell me. Sorry, did I bother you? Lin Wanmo's face didn't look good, and she forced a smile. No. Yi Chen shook his head and smiled slightly. Have you eaten yet? Come on, I'll take you to eat. Just now, before driving to the vehicle management office, Chen Tianzai was so frightened by his sharp eyes that he dared not even breathe. I couldn't help myself and drove the problematic car myself. Who knows? Just after leaving the 4S store, there was a Volvo collision at a turn ahead. Fortunately, there were many airbags and the car was safe, so Chen Tianzai saved his life. Only, with such a severe concussion, I'm afraid I won't be able to walk for another 2 or 3 months. Seeing this scene, Hu Xiaoyao was shocked. Evildoers will be punished by evildoers. Do evil and you will suffer the consequences, right? Yi Chen's words made Hu Xiaoyao react. Turn out to be, Chen Tianzai was trying to trick them, and even secretly tampered with the brake system after the car came out. Who knew that it would hurt himself? Yi Chen was too lazy to make 2 trips, so he just talked with the person in charge for a while, picked up a new car and left satisfied. When I came back, Hu Xiaoyao had some friends from the company come to visit her and go out to play together, so Yi Chen came back alone. Who knows? He was surprised and delighted to meet Lin Wanmo, a small restaurant next to the apartment. Yi Chen ordered a few non-spicy dishes, both meat and vegetables, which looked nutritious and healthy. While eating, Yi Chen asked, What's wrong? What happened? You look absent-minded. Yi Chen, do you think I'm useless? For some reason, Lin Wanmo suddenly put down her chopsticks. Her nose felt sore, and she couldn't help crying. Useless? Who said that? If you're useless, then everyone in the Demon City is useless. Yi Chen smiled and shook his head and said to Lin Wanmo, Tell me what's going on. Maybe I can help. Lin Wanmo took a deep breath and finally recovered. She stared at Yi Chen for a few seconds before saying, The funding agreement we negotiated with Juxin Group fell through. I'm afraid that AI Shang Medical Beauty's stock price won't be able to recover in the short term. Just now, she talked for a long time, but refused to give in on the share issue. So as not to, the other party is like a snake swallowing an elephant, snatching away AI Shang Medical Beauty. Juxin Group also stated that it would not cooperate unless it obtained shares. Cooperation has completely reached a deadlock. In this way, if the funding agreement falls through and the funds are not in place, the plan that I had discussed with Yi Chen before had to be aborted. This may affect the development of AI Shang Medical Beauty. Funding problem. Yi Chen blinked and his heart moved. Chapter 79, Yi Chen's Promise, Meng Zixuan's Request. Yi Chen didn't expect that Lin Wanmo would encounter financial problems again. Only, for him, now funding is not a problem at all. Not to mention that the previous principal and interest could not be repaid. Hundreds of millions of funds would be needed. Even if it's billions, it's no problem for Yi Chen. Certainly, he needs to wait another week before his funds can be withdrawn from the stock market. By that time, it is estimated that there will be more than 5 billion. Even if the trouble is huge, it can be solved right. The funding issue is so troublesome. Juxin Group wants shares in AI Shang Medical Beauty. How can I agree to this? Lin Wanmo shook her head repeatedly when she reached this point, although she was still in a bad mood, but after saying these words, she felt a lot more relaxed. Okay, let's not talk about these unhappy things. Let's talk about you. What are you busy with this weekend? Lin Wanmo shook her hair, brushed it, and smiled at Yi Chen. I have a way to help you solve the funding problem, but it will take a week. I wasn't idle on the weekend either. I took Gu Qingshan to see a doctor and bought a car. Yi Chen told Lin Wanmo everything that happened today. Lin Wanmo frowned. Why does Yi Chen's words seem to be getting more and more outrageous? Yi Chen, this is not a small amount, at least tens of billions. I know what you mean, but I will find a way to solve it myself. Although she didn't know where Yi Chen got the money to buy a car. But if you really want to enter the stock market, the funds will definitely flow like water. A few hundred million can easily be wasted and become a toy of capital. Fortunately, it's enough for Yi Chen to have the intention. If she was really at her wit's end, she would also consider auctioning the jade that Yi Chen had given her. Not to mention emeralds. Even the first-grade imperial green can be worth hundreds of millions. Certainly, finding capital cooperation that does not require equity is naturally the best choice. Yi Chen, seeing this, he had no choice but to nod and laugh. No way. Who told him not to show off his wealth now? But if Lin Wanmo really knew that he had tens of billions of dollars in his hands, what would her expression and thoughts be? Well, I just thought that since you're pregnant now, it's better not to overwork yourself. Having said that, he looked up at Lin Wanmo's slightly bulging belly. Lin Wanmo blushed slightly and nodded. I know. I'm very careful now. After returning home, I usually sleep for more than 9 hours. Because of the Lin family's special physique. Tang Gu specifically warned her not to overwork herself. Physical health is one thing, but maintaining mental health is more important. Be positive and have no worries. But these troublesome problems that occurred one after another made Lin Wanmo very troubled. Fortunately, beneath her beautiful appearance, she has an extremely strong heart. Otherwise, how could the miracle of AI, Shang Medical Beauty, be created in the city where the market is eroding the market? Okay, let's eat quickly, or the food will get cold. Yi Chen did not tell her about Meng Zixuan. The financial issue was enough to worry her. If I knew, with the Liu family and the Zhuge family behind him, even his safety is not guaranteed. Wouldn't Lin Wanmo be worried and afraid to death? Next, in a good atmosphere, Lin Wanmo enjoyed the meal very much. The previous bad mood was swept away, and Yi Chen even sent her to the gate of the community. Yi Chen, to be honest, I've been thinking a lot about what's going on between you and me these past 2 days. After this trouble is resolved, we can have a good talk again. Is that okay with you? Hearing this, Yi Chen became excited. Does Lin Wanmo mean that the two of them can talk? What to talk about? Of course it's love. Can? Yi Chen nodded and watched her leave. Although I didn't hear the reward notification for the increased favorability, I did get Lin Wanmo's accurate thoughts. Yi Chen took a deep breath and clenched his fists. Whether it's the Zhuge family or the Liu family, if they want to deal with me, Yi Chen, then think about what price they will have to pay. Thinking of this, a terrible murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Getting ready to go back to the apartment. Unexpectedly, someone is walking towards me. Who else could it be but Meng Zixuan? Compared to the previous few days, Meng Zixuan's disguise was even more outrageous. The whole person was locked in the sweatshirt, with only one eye covered by sunglasses. Meng Zixuan, what are you doing? Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and asked Meng Zixuan. I didn't expect you to recognize me. I was thinking of looking for you, so I came over here to hang out. It's much more lively than where I am. Meng Zixuan looked at the white-collar workers, coming and going in pairs with a look of envy on her face. Over there in the villa area. At night, unless someone is having a party, it is as quiet as a ghost. It's nothing like Yi Chen's place, where there are food and drinks on both sides of the road. What a pity you didn't come out until after dinner tonight. Otherwise, I could treat you to crayfish. Meng Zixuan sighed and said regretfully, I think you want to eat it yourself. Yi Chen rolled his eyes and said unhappily. He didn't expect that Meng Zixuan would be so restless, sneak out again and look for him. This recent scandal may not be true, but you're not worried about being discovered. Yi Chen didn't want to send her back. Meng Zixuan was also a victim in Zhu Chen's incident. This little girl was so focused on making her mark in the entertainment industry that she didn't even realize what kind of trouble she had gotten herself into. Anyway, the Liu family's affairs must be resolved. Avoiding them is not a solution, right? What's the big deal? I can just let them announce it. I have a clear conscience anyway. Meng Zixuan's words surprised Yi Chen. He didn't expect that this little girl had such a unique way of thinking. If your idol found out she had a boyfriend, wouldn't your fans be cyberbullying her to death? Are you scared? Meng Zixuan giggled and shook her head. Immediately, her expression became serious, and she said to Yi Chen, Actually, the main reason I came to you is because I felt something was not right. Oh, what's wrong? Yi Chen raised his eyebrows and asked her. At first I thought it was the paparazzi following me, but then I looked and there was a whole group of them. Speaking of this, Meng Zixuan couldn't help but shrink back. Obviously, she felt unsafe in the villa, so she came to the apartment. Being surrounded by people and surrounded by the hustle and bustle, she was not so scared anymore. Is this true? Yi Chen frowned and his heart skipped a beat. According to Gu Qingshan, it would be strange if the Liu family, a behemoth, did not react. And at this time, he took a look and sure enough, in an inconspicuous corner, there were two people looking over here. Their expressions and clothing are completely out of tune with those of white-collar workers, and they look extremely different. Of course it's true, how could I lie to you? Having said that, Meng Zixuan hesitated for a moment and finally plucked up the courage. Yi Chen, can I sleep at your house for one night? Chapter 80. Enemies meet on a narrow road. Meng Zixuan gets angry, and Zhou Qing and Liu Tao are depressed. 1,000-year road. On the path next to the apartment, Yi Chen just stood there in a daze. He didn't expect Meng Zixuan to say such intriguing words. Isn't she afraid of causing misunderstanding? The corner of Yi Chen's mouth twitched, and he turned back to stare at Meng Zixuan without saying a word. Being stared at by Yi Chen like this, Meng Zixuan felt uneasy and her neck turned red. After a few seconds, her heart darkened and she shook her head. If it doesn't work, then forget it. I don't know why. When she was with Yi Chen, she felt extremely at ease and free. Even, she found her sense of existence as an ordinary person. She is no longer the high-ranking actress, no longer always keeping a sweet smile, no longer caring about the tone and expression when she speaks, and no longer has to avoid certain foods. She can only drool at the sight of the food she wants to eat every day. Only, she knows it too. His request was not only excessive, but would also cause Yi Chen to have wild thoughts. That's fine, once it is known by someone with ulterior motives, or even exposed. Meng Zixuan's career in the entertainment industry is about to reach its peak. Yi Chen is not much better off. He will definitely be subjected to online violence by those extreme fans. The relationship between the two plummeted, and they might even become enemies. This is a situation she doesn't want to see. So, she took a deep breath and prepared to leave and return to the villa. But who knows? Yi Chen hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said, Okay, no problem. Real. All of Meng Zixuan's previous thoughts disappeared in an instant. She stared at Yi Chen. Her eyes narrowed into slits and couldn't help laughing. Yi Chen nodded and said to her, Of course, but... However, before he finished speaking, an extremely sarcastic and harsh voice came. Hey, isn't this Yi Chen? Which beauty have you hooked up with again? Tisk, 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 you look so well dressed. I heard you even bought a car. Yi Chen frowned and looked back. Who else could it be but Zhou Qing and Liu Tao? Just see. Zhou Qing was wearing high heels and designer clothes, at least tens of thousands of dollars worth. On the other hand, Liu Tao. At this time he was carrying large and small bags, looking like a dog licker. Where is the look of the young master he used to be? Zhou Qing walked up to Yi Chen with an arrogant look and glanced at Meng Zixuan. Little girl, do you know who this man in front of you is? Hearing this, not only did Meng Zixuan not step back, but she took a step forward. She narrowed her eyes and nodded. I know. These days, Meng Zixuan was able to relax a little, except for the night of racing. At other times, her heartstrings were tense, and she was already full of anger. Zhou Qing jumped up without saying a word and bumped into the gun muzzle. How could she let him go? knowing that you still want to go to their house. Be careful if you don't pay after eating. Zhou Qing smiled contemptuously and said to Meng Zixuan. Although she didn't know Meng Zixuan in disguise, she knew that she was having an affair with Yi Chen. This was intolerable. Zhou Qing is inherently stingy and selfish. In her opinion, Yi Chen was just a long-term meal ticket, and she would naturally lose it if she found a new one. But who knew that this ex-boyfriend had hooked up with Lin Wanmo, Hu Xiaoyao, and Meng Zixuan? Burning with jealousy, Zhou Qing almost lost her mind. Who are you calling a little girl who doesn't pay after eating? Meng Zixuan's face darkened, and she stared at Zhou Qing and said indifferently. Zhou Qing was pregnant, and Liu Tao was by her side, taking great care of her and treating her like a bodhisattva. Even though they were Liu Tao's parents, Zhou Qing didn't give them a good look. How could she take Meng Zixuan, a mere girl, seriously when she didn't even know her identity? Immediately, Zhou Qing sneered and said, "Speaking of you, what's wrong?" "Me." Meng Zixuan took 2 steps forward and then slapped Zhou Qing in the face. Bang! Zhou Qing was stunned. The 5 bright red fingerprints on her face looked funny and ridiculous. But the next second, she only felt a burning pain on her face and reacted instantly. A moment, her face flushed red, and she stared at Meng Zixuan in front of her and said, "Well, you dare to hit me." Liu Tao was also confused. No matter how fierce and domineering Yi Chen was, he would not be the first to attack. But I didn't expect it. The little girl in front of me actually dared to slap Zhou Qing. What a courage! Liu Tao's face was as gloomy as water, and he was furious to the extreme. You know, ever since Zhou Qing became pregnant, he, such a wild man, has been obedient to Zhou Qing in everything. Even his extremely picky parents didn't even look at Zhou Qing at all at his request. It's just because Zhou Qing is pregnant with his Liu family's child. But now Zhou Qing was slapped loudly in public. Liu Tao's temper exploded, and he had already forgotten Yi Chen. Just see. He stared at Meng Zixuan with a fierce look on his face. Zhou Qing reacted, covering her face and crying, "Liu Tao, she hit me, she actually hit me." "I know. No one dares to hit my woman, Liu Tao. No matter who it is, they will pay the price." Liu Tao rushed towards Meng Zixuan. He was already fat and big-eared, and when he ran, he looked like a fierce wild boar charging around recklessly. However, Yi Chen stood in front of Liu Tao. He kicked and hit Liu Tao's round belly. The latter couldn't withstand this terrible force, and immediately flew back and fell flat on his face. "Yi Chen, you are going too far." Liu Tao got up from the ground, covered in dust. He was so angry that his speech became slurred. Zhou Qing also realized that the person she had offended was not someone else, but Yi Chen, the terrifying Yi Chen. Not to mention that he attacked in anger, even if there were 10 of him. In front of Yi Chen, he was just a joke. It was no harder to crush him than to crush an ant. But was Zhou Qing's slap going to be in vain? "Well done." Meng Zixuan snorted coldly and glanced at Liu Tao and Zhou Qing. She giggled and said, "As expected, birds of a feather flock together. You two should stay together. Don't separate and cause trouble for others." These words are more effective than any sarcasm. Liu Tao and Zhou Qing were both furious and angry. But facing Yi Chen's terrifying and gloomy eyes, his heart skipped a beat for no reason, and he didn't dare to say anything more. The onlookers pointed and talked at them. Zhou Qing felt a burning pain on his face, and he wished he could find a hole to crawl into. She said to Liu Tao, "Husband, let's go." Seeing that there was no more fun to watch, everyone couldn't help but shake their heads. "Hey, why don't you fight?" "Yeah, I didn't miss that great scene just now. I thought they were going to have a big fight. What a pity." Hey, this guy looks familiar. Isn't he the owner of the Hennessy Viper GT supercar?" "Hiss, it's really him." "Oh my God, the girl next to him." Amidst the discussion, Zhou Qing and Liu Tao, who were walking away, suddenly reacted. "Did you notice that the woman's voice is exactly the same as Meng Zixuan's?" Chapter 81, Meng Zixuan. "Yi Chen, can you speak a little more quietly?" Yi Chen naturally didn't know that Liu Tao was actually from the Liu family. The Liu family also has close ties with the Zhuge family. "I don't know even more." Zhou Qing was so angry that she suddenly realized that the woman next to him was Meng Zixuan. He looked at Meng Zixuan, smiled slightly, and asked, "Are you relieved?" "Certainly." Meng Zixuan waved her little fists. Her eyes narrowed into slits with laughter. Honestly, I feel like I've been suppressing this for too long, and today I finally let it out. It feels so good." This period of time, Meng Zixuan always felt that someone was following her. Liu Qing came today and found out that he was a paparazzi. But after driving away the paparazzi, Meng Zixuan found that the situation had not improved at all. Behind her, someone was still watching her secretly. And there are also rumors, which is really inexplicable. In addition to racing, she also wants to star in good works that are loved by the public. Otherwise, if you rely solely on your looks and capital to accumulate traffic, you will be suppressed by other newcomers in a few years. Her ordinary appearance made Yi Chen look at her differently. After all, in his impression, like popular actresses like Meng Zixuan, he only frequents high-end international shopping malls and is a shopping freak. At night, he appeared at a celebrity dinner, toasting and becoming the center of attention. It's nothing like what's happening now, chatting with him at a roadside stall, and then fighting with Zhou Qing over a disagreement. Of course, it's much easier now that I've let go of my idol image. In fact, character creation is something that cannot be achieved without decades of hard work. It's better not to suppress your personality. As long as you produce good works, they won't mind your shortcomings. They might even find them endearing. Yi Chen changed the subject here. Meng Zixuan, do you really want to sleep with me? Hearing this, Meng Zixuan rolled her eyes at him. Why, I don't mind at all, so why do you mind? After returning to her true nature, she is very different from how she appears in entertainment news. A total little gangster. Okay, let's go. He took Meng Zixuan into the apartment. Who knows? Zhou Qing and Liu Tao, who were far away, happened to see this scene. Okay. The previous scandal was definitely about Yi Chen and Meng Zixuan. And the relationship between the two is so close. Maybe Zhu Chen's matter is related to Yi Chen. Kinger, if it really is him, that slap was definitely worth it. Liu Tao smiled sinisterly, and the anger in his eyes almost turned into reality. After meeting Yi Chen several times in a row, neither he nor Zhou Qing gained any advantage. But now there is a godsend opportunity. If it was really Yi Chen who attacked Zhu Chen, then he would definitely die. Zhou Qing was stunned for a moment, covering her swollen face with her hands, looking confused. What does this have to do with Yi Chen? Liu Tao shook his head, chuckled, and said, haven't you figured it out yet? Zhu Chen was sent by the Liu family to keep an eye on Meng Zixuan, but he was suddenly killed for no apparent reason. Now Meng Zixuan and Yi Chen are a couple. What do you think? You mean Yi Chen did this? Zhou Qing finally understood. Of course, Yi Chen is a wicked kid with strange skills. He must have done it. Besides, Meng Zixuan has a special status. She's the Liu family's forbidden lover. Judging from the situation, they might have already been in bed together. It would be strange if the Liu family didn't torture Yi Chen to death now. At this point, Liu Tao laughed even louder. Let's go back and tell Liu Yuan. He hugged Zhou Qing and went to the hotel instead of going to the apartment. In the apartment, just as Yi Chen reached the door opposite opened with a creak. Hu Xiaoyao looked at Meng Zixuan beside Yi Chen and was stunned for a moment. Yi Chen, you. However, she soon discovered, this woman who is even younger and more beautiful than her is none other than one of her favorite stars, Meng Zixuan. For a while, Meng Zixuan froze in place. Nothing, you just want her autograph. I'm here, I can sign as many as you want. Yi Chen said this and turned to look at Meng Zixuan. Meng Zixuan, this is my classmate and good friend, Hu Xiaoyao. You sleep in her room tonight. Meng Zixuan was also stunned for a moment. Then he reacted and said, okay, Meng Zixuan, please take care of me. She smiled slightly, not shy at all, and looked very familiar. Really, I'm not dreaming, ha. It took Hu Xiaoyao several seconds to confirm that the person standing in front of her was Meng Zixuan. Okay, you can have some fun with her later. Yi Chen rolled his eyes and pushed Meng Zixuan into Hu Xiaoyao's house. Remember, call me if anything happens. Of course, Yi Chen couldn't let Meng Zixuan stay at home. A single man and a single woman are in the same room. If something really happens, it will be a joke. Not to mention, Yi Chen is not the kind of person who is promiscuous. Now that he and Lin Wanmo are at the most critical stage, it is even more impossible for him to have an affair with other girls behind her back. What could be the problem but you? Meng Zixuan shook her head, grinned, and closed the door with a puzzled look on her face. To be honest, she took some hits. In terms of appearance and temperament alone, she is no less beautiful than any other woman. Logically speaking, coming here with Yi Chen, I will naturally stay in his room. But who would have thought that Yi Chen would push her to her friend Hu Xiaoyao? Humph, you actually rejected me. This is the first time since we were little. When Meng Zixuan said this, she couldn't help but feel a little angry. But she immediately chuckled and said, Hu Xiaoyao, is Yi Chen usually such a gentleman? I just said I was going to his house to sleep for a night, and he actually pushed me to you. Of course not. If I hadn't known he had a girlfriend, I would have thought he. Hey, who knows? Opposite the door, when Yi Chen heard the conversation between the two women, he couldn't help but smile bitterly. My sexual orientation is normal, okay? It's just that Meng Zixuan's identity is special. If it is exposed, not only will her reputation be damaged, but also the relationship between Lin Wanmo and me. Thinking of this, he shook his head. Next, Yi Chen boiled some water to drink, turned on the computer to check the stock trend for next week, and after making sure everything was correct, he took a shower and went to bed. But just as he finished washing, he noticed some unusual movement outside the house. If it's not Meng Zixuan and Hu Xiaoyao, then who is it? Yi Chen frowned, put on a bath towel, and walked carefully to the living room window sill. Who knows? As soon as he stuck his head out, a bullet came from 200 meters away, narrowly missing his cheek. Yi Chen's heart was pounding, and he quickly stepped back. But the bullet was actually an armor-piercing bullet, which could not even withstand the steel and concrete, and went through the wall. Fortunately, Yi Chen reacted very quickly, rolling on the ground and hiding under the coffee table. Bang, 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 bang. A series of bullet sounds rang out, and things in front of the window and on the coffee table were shattered all over the floor. Such a loud noise made Meng Zixuan on the opposite side unable to bear it. She opened the door in her pajamas, knocked on the door, and shouted at Yi Chen. Yi Chen, what are you doing? Can you be quieter? Chapter 82, Why Sleep on the Sofa, Sleep on the Floor. Hearing Meng Zixuan's cry, Yi Chen's heart skipped a beat. Why is Meng Zixuan here at this time? Turn out to be. Hu Xiaoyao and Meng Zixuan got along very well and started chatting enthusiastically as soon as they met. Seeing that it was getting late and Meng Zixuan had an announcement the next day, she reluctantly stopped. When Meng Zixuan finished taking a shower and wanted to have a good sleep. Unexpectedly, on Yi Chen's side across the street, there was a constant crackling sound. Even at parties, it had never been so noisy. She couldn't sleep at all. Could it be that Yi Chen doesn't want me to enter the house because he is hiding someone inside? When Meng Zixuan thought of this, it was impossible for her not to be jealous, and her face darkened. This is why there was a knock on the door outside. Only, Yi Chen was in danger and could only shout at her. Meng Zixuan, go back to your room quickly, you have nothing to do here. The words that were originally meant to protect Meng Zixuan made her feel even worse. Yi Chen, you. She stamped her feet, her face changed several times, and finally, suppressing her depression, she kicked the door hard and returned to Hu Xiaoyao's house. Hu Xiaoyao asked her, what's wrong, still arguing? I don't know what he's doing, who cares? Speaking of this, Meng Zixuan took a deep breath and smiled with relief. Hu Xiaoyao, have you ever slept in his room? When Hu Xiaoyao heard this, her pretty face immediately turned red. She shook her head and said, Yi Chen has always treated me as a sister. It's impossible for him to do such a thing. Yeah, I just treat you like a sister, what a pity. Meng Zixuan shook her head, completely confused about Yi Chen. I thought, he is no different from other young people. He has some abilities, is aloof and arrogant, and looks down on everyone. And, when faced with a woman I like, I accept every offer. Who knew that Yi Chen would just leave Hu Xiaoyao alone without taking any action? Even if I came to the door, I was allowed to go to Hu Xiaoyao's house without any ambiguous thoughts. Is he really different from other men? It's just, why is there so much noise at home? Could there be someone else hiding? When she thought of this, she felt like she had something stuck in her throat. But she quickly realized something was wrong, and her expression changed. What's wrong? Seeing this, Hu Xiaoyao hurriedly asked him. The sound from Yi Chen's room doesn't sound like he's messing around, but like there's danger. At this time, she recalled several previous filming experiences on set. Isn't the sound coming from Yi Chen's room the terrible explosion? What should we do then? When Hu Xiaoyao heard this, she was overwhelmed and anxious like an ant on a hot pan. She is just an ordinary person, and she can't stand Chen Tianzai. What's more, the current situation is so complicated. Lock the doors and windows, close the curtains, and don't leave or go out. Meng Zixuan was also very worried, but she knew that the most important thing now was not to cause more trouble. Okay. Hu Xiaoyao's face turned pale, and she quickly locked the doors and windows, closing them tightly so that not even a fly could get in. Meng Zixuan pulled Hu Xiaoyao and smiled at her. Don't worry, Yi Chen will be fine. Yi Chen's room is separated by a door. Suddenly it became quiet. Maybe it was Meng Zixuan's shout. Maybe it was the man knowing he couldn't hit Yi Chen, maybe. However, Yi Chen didn't dare to be careless. It wasn't until a full 5 minutes had passed that he finally moved aside. The dangerous aura hanging over his head finally dissipated completely, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Without a doubt, the other party most likely came because of Meng Zixuan. Otherwise, neither Wang Tao nor Peng Shuai would dare to make such a dangerous move. Once they are exposed, they will most likely be finished. Could it be Su Zhengyuan? But soon, Yi Chen shook his head again. Su Zhengyuan is a businessman who believes that harmony brings wealth. Even if there is something unpleasant, they will fight in the business field and will not use such means. It seems that it is still related to Meng Zixuan. Looking at the mess in the house, Yi Chen frowned, thinking over and over, not quite understanding where he had been exposed. Could it be that something went wrong with Gu Qingshan? But then he thought again, this is unlikely. If Gu Qingshan and Old Ning were to expose him, why not delay it for a day and detain him on the spot in the Gu family villa? But I recently bought a Volvo and a racing car. Han Feng is unlikely, and Chen Tianzai is even less likely. By the way, Liu Tao. Yi Chen's eyes lit up when he thought of Liu Tao and Zhou Qing. Behind Zhu Chen stands the Liu family. Liu Tao's family is wealthy. Otherwise, Zhou Qing wouldn't be clinging to the cash cow and refusing to let go. They definitely recognized Meng Zixuan. Moreover, if it was really Liu Tao, seeing that he entered the apartment with me, they would naturally give up, so they killed him together. Yi Chen thought of this and nodded secretly. This way, everything makes sense. I thought I had a chance to catch my breath, but I didn't expect them to come to me so soon. There's no way to hide. We can only go find them and nip this crisis in the bud. In a situation like today, Yi Chen was fine and was able to escape the disaster. But what about Meng Zixuan and Hu Xiaoyao? If the other party had attacked these two ordinary people, they would probably have been riddled with holes like the window and coffee table. Forget about it tonight, let's clean up here first. As for how to fight back and completely eliminate the threat, it is not something that can be done in a rash manner. You have to plan it in detail and make sure to hit the target in one go, leaving the opponent no chance to breathe. With such a big commotion, the property management will definitely be alerted. Yi Chen thought of this, looked at the mess on the ground, shook his head and smiled bitterly. Others say that a new house brings a new look. He, on the other hand, hadn't even lived there for 2 days when his house was beaten to pieces. I'm afraid it won't be repaired for another 2 or 3 days. As expected, within a few minutes, the property management arrived. Fortunately, Yi Chen collected the bullet holes and smoothed out the marks. As for the mess at home, Yi Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly, explaining that he was in a bad mood before and had thrown things around a little loudly. After much persuasion and promises, the property was finally sent away. And at this time, it was already early morning. He put away the rest of the debris and went to the bathroom to wash up again. Looking at himself in the mirror, murderous intent appeared in Yi Chen's eyes. Immediately, he knocked on the door opposite. After a few seconds, Meng Zixuan's vigilant voice came from the room, asking, "Who is it?" "It's me, Yi Chen." Hearing Yi Chen's voice, Meng Zixuan pulled out the anti-theft bolt and opened the door carefully. I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when I saw that he was okay. "Yi Chen, how are you?" Behind her, Hu Xiaoyao also looked concerned. "I'm fine, but I can't sleep at home, so I'd like to lend you the sofa." Yi Chen pointed at the sofa and smiled at the two women. Hu Xiaoyao was about to agree. "Who knows?" Meng Zixuan punched him and said, "Why are you sleeping on the sofa? Go sleep on the floor." Chapter 83, Liu Yuan's Anger. 2 women and 1 man playing landlord. Phoenix Hotel. Inside the presidential suite. In the living room, Liu Yuan smoked quietly without saying a word. In front of him, several of his men and Liu Tao were trembling with fear. The atmosphere in the field almost froze. Liu Tao's forehead was covered with cold sweat. He rubbed his hands and wanted to say something, but the words were stuck in his throat. Until 7 or 8 minutes later, Liu Yuankai finished the cigarette in his hand and looked up at everyone. "Everyone sit down, who is taller standing up." He snorted coldly and pointed across. Everyone did not dare to be negligent and quickly sat on the ground opposite with embarrassed smiles on their faces. I saw a funny scene with several people. Liu Yuan couldn't help laughing. After a few seconds, he narrowed his eyes and said, "You woke me up in the middle of the night, thinking there was good news, but I didn't expect it to be like this." Hearing this, everyone's heart skipped a beat, and they didn't dare to breathe. Liu Yuan's gaze was fixed on Liu Tao. "Liu Tao, this is a good job." Liu Tao felt relieved, but he didn't dare to be careless at all. "Brother Yuan, you're joking. I just happened to buy an apartment next to Meng Zixuan, who knew we'd run into each other. He rubbed his hands and said carefully, but the others didn't do so well. Just Yi Chen used firearms, and he made such a big fuss about it. That's fine, but we haven't killed anyone yet. Tell me, is this right or wrong? Speaking of this, Liu Yuan's face was gloomy, and murderous intent was revealed. You know, using firearms is too bold. Once it is exposed, even the Liu family will be in trouble. What's even worse is that Yi Chen didn't kill him, which alerted the enemy. Next time I want to do it, it won't be so easy. This shouldn't be allowed. Please punish me, Brother Yuan. Those people raised their heads, looked at Liu Yuan, swallowed their saliva, and said. They knew Liu Yuan's methods. He usually smiles cheerfully, but now his smile is even more unsettling. The Liu family is notorious for his cruelty in torturing people. Just recently, one of Liu's men committed a crime, and he threw the man into the cellar without saying a word. Then he found a lot of poisonous creatures such as centipedes, poisonous snakes, and scorpions. The screams lasted for several hours. It sounded creepy and gave me goosebumps all over. What's the point of punishing you now? Go find him, find Yi Chen, and then report to me. I will direct the operation. Liu Yuan stood up suddenly, furious. What are you still standing there for? Do you want me to do it myself? He raised his foot and kicked, and no one dared to dodge and could only take the kicks. Then, Liu Yuan looked at Liu Tao. He stepped forward, patted Liu Tao on the shoulder, and said, I can't sleep this time. Liu Tao, you are familiar with this place. Take me out to play. This, Brother Yuan, Zhou Qing is still waiting for me at home. Liu Tao said stubbornly and politely refused. He has changed a lot during this period of time, and he almost never goes to those places where people go to look for prostitutes. Liu Yuan's face darkened, and he narrowed his eyes. Originally, the young master had ordered him to do this matter of Meng Zixuan well. But now, Meng Zixuan actually got involved with Yi Chen, and even when his men took action, they were unable to capture them. If this gets out, what qualifications will Liu Yuan have to be in charge of the Liu family in the future? But there is still time. Before coming, the owner gave me a deadline of half a month. While I'm looking for Yi Chen now, I might as well take this opportunity to relax. No, don't worry, Brother Yuan. I was confused just now. I'll take you there right away. Liu Tao wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and quickly changed his words. Liu Yuan put too much pressure on him. Moreover, his parents also reminded him that he should be more respectful and careful when dealing with Liu Yuan than with his own parents. His request was met unconditionally, and he even transferred 5 million to him, just thinking about the possibility of this happening. Okay, that's more like it. Liu Yuan chuckled and followed Liu Tao out of the hotel and headed straight for the nightclub. 1000-Year Road, Hu Zioao apartment. Inside the house, Yi Chen looked up at Meng Zixuan and was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect it. Meng Zixuan punched him without knowing the truth. Obviously, just kidding. The clever Hu Zioao interrupted and said, Yi Chen, we were really scared just now. Zixuan is just worried about you, don't mind it. I know. Yi Chen took a deep breath and looked at the two people who were still in shock. He felt a headache for no reason. The cause of the incident was Meng Zixuan. However, it's not easy to tell Meng Zixuan this, and it's even harder to tell Hu Zioao. I'll move out tomorrow and won't affect you. After hearing what Yi Chen said, Hu Zioao could no longer sit still. She stood up and asked, Yi Chen, are you moving away? Yi Chen nodded. It's too dangerous to be with me. If I move away, you will be safe. But Hu Zioao was anxious. However, before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Yi Chen. No buts, I've made up my mind. Yi Chen shook his head, and his eyes fell on Meng Zixuan. Don't go anywhere these days. The announcements have stopped. Stay with me, okay? Hearing this, Meng Zixuan was confused. Hu Zioao was also confused. She knows. During this period, Yi Chen and Lin Wanmo had a great time talking to each other, and even showed signs of developing into a romantic relationship. But unexpectedly, this time with Meng Zixuan, could it be that the two of them really have some shameful relationship? Don't think too much. This matter has nothing to do with her. Seeing that the two were dumbfounded, Yi Chen had no choice but to reveal a little. Is it about me? Meng Zixuan came back to her senses, but became even more confused. She really couldn't figure out why Yi Chen's attack this time was related to her. I'll tell you about this later. Now just take a rest. After all this trouble, Yi Chen was a little tired, not to mention Meng Zixuan and Hu Zioao, who were ordinary people. Do you think we can sleep now? Meng Zixuan rolled her eyes and said unhappily, "The scene just now was even more terrifying than the night of the race. You know, that was a traffic accident. As long as you are not too unlucky with the safety performance of supercars, even if an accident happens, the person will not be in serious trouble. But this is definitely a safety accident. If something goes wrong, you will die and won't even see the sun tomorrow. How about this? There are just 3 of us. Let's play landlord." Hu Zioao suggested. A few days ago, a colleague came over and left a few decks of cards. Okay, I've always wanted to play, but I never had the chance. Today I'll show you how good I am." Meng Zixuan giggled and temporarily forgot her previous fear and worry. Yi Chen stared at the 2 extremely excited women, and the corner of his mouth twitched. 2 women and 1 man were in the same room, and they were playing landlord. Chapter 84, Gu Qingshan's decision. Cao Jiashan's daughter, Cao Jianjia, said he couldn't sleep, but less than an hour into playing cards, the 2 women fell asleep first. He also snored slightly. Looking at the 2 people with haggard faces sitting beside the sofa, Yi Chen shook his head. "Well, it seems I have no choice but to sleep in the bed." He took a deep breath, carefully covered the 2 women with bedding, and then walked towards the bedroom. At the same time, Cao family, even in the middle of the night, the villa was still brightly lit. In the hall, several important members of the Cao family gathered together, frowning slightly and looking unhappy. "Patriarch, why are you gathering everyone so late at night, just for a mere Gu Qingshan? You should know that our Cao family never uses this table unless it's for ancestor worship or important matters. What happened? Yeah, could it be that the Liu family is causing trouble again? If there's nothing else, let's go back to sleep." Amidst the discussions, Cao Xiang, the head of the Cao family, raised his head, glanced at everyone, and coughed lightly. Next second, everyone fell silent immediately, not daring to say another word. And at this time, they also noticed that there was someone standing under their table. "Hey, isn't this Gu Qingshan?" Someone recognized him and snorted. Gu Qingshan was a big shot who could make the Magic City tremble with just a stomp of his feet. But in their eyes, he was no different from an ant. His eyes were full of sarcasm. Today's events are related to the information provided by Gu Qingshan. Before, we have been trying to find out the whereabouts of the young master of the Liu family, but we have never been able to find out. Having said that, he paused, his face slightly gloomy. Everyone was shocked and did not dare to delay, so they held their breath. Gu Qingshan provided a clue, that is Meng Zixuan. "I heard that Meng Zixuan has a special physique, which is why she is favored by the young master of the Liu family. It's just that because of Yi Chen's accidental connection with Meng Zixuan, the Liu family's plans were disrupted. Now Liu Yuan has also come out to make moves." Hearing this, everyone present frowned. For them, although the Magic City is big, it is ultimately limited. The Cao family and the Liu family have never been on good terms with each other. They are like 2 giant crocodiles under the surface of the Magic City, and neither can do anything to the other. They are like 2 towering trees, so tall that you can't see their tops. Other families and groups are just branches that spread out from them. We need to rely on them to absorb nutrients, and together form the giant city of Magic City. But isn't Gu Qingshan a member of the Liu family? How could he be so kind as to reveal such confidential information? Someone reacted and asked Cao Xiang a question. "Back then, I fought for the Liu family and ended up with this injury. If it weren't for Yi Chen's miraculous healing, the injury would have relapsed in the past 2 days, and I'm afraid I wouldn't be standing here alive. To me, he is my savior, but he was accidentally involved in the affairs of the Zhuge and Liu families. So I came here to ask the Cao family for help." Gu Qingshan sighed, a look of determination flashing in his eyes. 2 days ago, after knowing what happened to Yi Chen, he tossed and turned hesitant. After all, for him, getting involved in the affairs of the Cao and Liu families would be like courting death. But both Gu Xinling and Old Ning made him feel that he should step forward and seek a glimmer of hope for Yi Chen. So, after hesitating for a long time, he finally went to the Cao family, and the scene just now happened. Don't question it, it's true. I got the news that a shooting occurred on Cayenne Road just now, but it was suppressed. It can almost be confirmed that it was done by Liu Yuan's men from the Liu family. But Liu Yuan didn't succeed this time. Cao Xiang raised his eyebrows after he finished speaking. Everyone couldn't help but gasp and couldn't help but talk about it. Is this true? This is unbelievable. Yes, Liu Yuan, this kid, although he looks like a good person, he is also a real capable person. He is very capable and has always made plans. I didn't expect to be defeated by Yi Chen, Who is he? He shouldn't be an ordinary person. Could he be a descendant of the former Yi family? If so, it's not impossible to consider him. The key is, Gu Qingshan, what price can you pay? The chatter gradually stopped, and everyone looked at Gu Qingshan and asked him, I am willing to sacrifice my life. What price do you want? Gu Qingshan came to the Cao family. Obviously, he was determined to do whatever he wanted. Even if it means exchanging my own life for Yi Chen's life, I will do it at all costs. Looking at the somewhat excited Gu Qingshan, Cao Xiang waved his hand. Gu Qingshan, you're almost at the end of your life. What's the point of taking your life? Well, I heard you have a granddaughter, Gu Xinling, right? Would it be okay to let her work for the Cao family? Don't worry, my Cao family has always been sensible in what we do, and will never treat her unfairly. Gu Qingshan finally calmed down and nodded. Etc. This sentence made Gu Qingshan frown again. It turned out that someone asked Cao Xiang again, Master, who should we send to resolve this matter? This. Cao Xiang thought for a moment and looked at the screen behind him. Next second, a graceful figure walked out from behind the screen. Although the aura was not strong, it immediately attracted the attention of everyone present. Even though Gu Qingshan was already over 60, he couldn't help but feel disturbed. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens, fallen into the mortal world. Just this beautiful face and the gentle swaying steps can attract everyone's attention and make them fall in love with her. The Cao family has a daughter named Cao Jianjia. Suddenly, these words appeared in Gu Qingshan's mind. If you say, Liu Yuan of the Liu family has the spirit of a great general and is a leader among the younger generation, then Cao Jianjia of the Cao family is the most dazzling pearl. As soon as she appeared, everyone in the Cao family nodded in approval. Yes, with Cao Jiashan's darling daughter taking action, wouldn't this kind of thing be easy to accomplish? I'm quite interested in the Yi Chen you mentioned. Cao Jianjia opened her pearly teeth slightly, and her voice was indescribably melodious and beautiful. Gu Qingshan had no choice but to apologize and said, Since this matter has been settled, I will go back first. Next Monday, my granddaughter Gu Xinling will come here to discuss it with the head of the Cao family. No way. This Cao Jianjia is so scary. If he looks at it a few more times, even he might not be able to control himself. 1,000-Year Road. Hu Zioao apartment. Achoo. Yi Chen sneezed, and when he looked up, the sunlight was extremely dazzling. Look at the phone again. It's almost noon. It seems yesterday's incident was indeed a big deal. Even someone as self-disciplined as him got up late. He got dressed and went to the living room. Meng Zixuan and Hu Zioao cuddled together. Their sleeping postures were touching. Just as he was about to take a picture, there was a knock on the door. Yi Chen, are you there? Chapter 85, Yi Chen's decision. Cao Jianjia's shock. Outside the door, Cao Jianjia. At this moment, she was wearing a white long dress, dragging behind her. It sets off her slender and graceful figure, making it extremely beautiful. And her delicate facial features are even more stunning. Since she entered the community, many people were stunned. Before I knew it, I had followed her outside the apartment building and was now surrounded in the corridor and hallway. They secretly wondered who Cao Jianjia was looking for. Hearing the knock on the door and the voices, Yi Chen frowned. Meng Zixuan and Hu Zioao were also awakened instantly and quickly got up from the sofa. They whispered, Yi Chen, what's wrong? It's okay, someone is looking for you. Yi Chen winked at the two women, asking them to go back to the bedroom while he went to the door. His 5 senses were heightened to the extreme, and there was no sign of any crisis. With a creak, the door opened. Cao Jianjia's beautiful face came into view, and Yi Chen was stunned for a moment. Just talking about appearance, this Cao Jianjia was in no way inferior to any woman he had ever seen. Hu Zioao in the room was no match for her at all. Even Meng Zixuan, who debuted with her looks, is slightly inferior. Her beauty is natural and unpretentious. Born with it, any more would be too much, any less would be too little, truly flawless. Only Lin Wanmo can be compared with her, but she also lacks a bit of the otherworldly aura. Only. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes. It was because Cao Jianjia's eyes were full of amusement. Like a fairy high above, she instinctively distanced herself from others. His eyes turned. He was even more puzzled when he saw the corridor was crowded with people. What's going on? He definitely didn't know the stunningly beautiful woman in front of him. As for the crowd, he had met them once or twice before, in front of the Hennessy Viper GT supercar that night. It's a man after all. Woo woo woo, the goddess has a boyfriend. This guy is not that great, he's just a little more handsome than me. Isn't that enough? Just based on looks, he's the only one worthy of her. Wait, why does he look familiar to me? I know, he's the man behind the Hennessy Viper GT. Yes, that's him. No wonder he's favored by such a stunning beauty. He's actually a handsome, rich second generation. Amidst the discussions, people's feelings turned from jealousy and hatred to envy. No way. Who made Yi Chen not only handsome, but also so rich? Looking at themselves again, they feel ashamed of themselves. When Cao Jianjia heard this, she couldn't help but blink. According to her Cao family's investigation, Yi Chen is just an ordinary person. Even if he has some skills, it is just accidental. At least the two incidents involving Gu Qingshan and Su Zhengyuan were too mysterious to be used as a real reference. But now, he actually has a supercar of this level. Even in the Cao family, there are not many. Yi Chen, it seems that you are even more mysterious than I thought. Cao Jianjia said to herself, her eyes fixed on Yi Chen, revealing a look of interest. Not just cars. Apartments here are not cheap. If Yi Chen was just an ordinary person, how could he afford to live there? And the moment Yi Chen opened the door just now, she caught a quick glance and discovered two beautiful figures. Come out for a moment, I have something to tell you. Cao Jianjia said this and turned to look at the people behind him. It's none of your business, just go away. Her voice is like the sound of nature, extremely beautiful. And it exuded a mesmerizing charm that made them obey involuntarily and leave. This time, Yi Chen had to frown and look at Cao Jianjia with a solemn expression. But then he sneered and shook his head. Yes, she is just a woman after all. Even if she is extremely beautiful and breathtakingly beautiful, so what? Could she eat herself? Okay, wait a minute. Yi Chen closed the door. Returned to the bedroom. Yi Chen, what happened? Meng Zixuan and Hu Xiaoya were both nervous, obviously not yet out of the shadow of last night. It's okay, someone's just looking for me. Stay home and wait for me to come back. Yi Chen reminded them to lock the door. Then he followed Cao Jianjia downstairs to a secluded corner of the community. The two walked together. The man was handsome and the woman was beautiful, which naturally attracted everyone's attention. Along the way, people pointed at them. Yi Chen took the initiative to ask, "Who are you and what do you want from me?" "Don't be so hostile." Cao Jianjia looked at his eyes, which were firm and calm without a trace of lust, and could not help but nod secretly. "Okay, to tell you the truth, someone asked our Cao family to protect your life." Hearing the Cao family, Yi Chen was shocked. What happened last night gave him a new understanding of this behemoth. But who can invite them? Obviously, it wasn't Meng Zixuan. She was just a poor pawn and no one cared about her at all. Gu Qingshan, this little old man is really stupid. When Yi Chen said this, he sighed secretly. This must be a huge price, right? Cao Jianjia nodded. His daughter signed a contract to sell herself, but my Cao family has always been fair in our dealings. This will only last for 50 years and won't affect the next generation. Hearing this, Yi Chen felt a surge of anger in his heart. Is a 50-year indenture still fair? Only, he became even more dissatisfied with the Liu family. If they hadn't acted so arrogantly, how could Zhu Chen have targeted him and things had come to this? Soon, Yi Chen suppressed his anger, narrowed his eyes, and asked Cao Jianjia, "What if I refuse?" "Reject." Cao Jianjia was stunned. She never expected that Yi Chen would say such a thing. Who in the Magic City doesn't know how powerful the Cao family is? Now Yi Chen is in crisis with the Liu family, and with the protection of the Cao family, he has an extra amulet. And that was Gu Qingshan's decision, and had nothing to do with Yi Chen himself. Is Yi Chen trying to kill himself? Are you kidding me? Cao Jianjia's face darkened slightly as she asked Yi Chen, "Do I look like I'm joking to you?" Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and said seriously, "Hey." Cao Jianjia chuckled and stared at Yi Chen with her beautiful eyes, as if she wanted to see through what he was thinking. However, Yi Chen's eyes were as deep as the stars and the moon, shining so brightly that it was impossible to see clearly. "Do you know that someone from the Liu family is looking for you outside?" Yi Chen nodded. "Do you know that the Zhuge family also regards you as an enemy and wants to kill you as soon as possible?" Yi Chen nodded again. "Do you know that my Cao family can protect you and free you from these threats?" Yi Chen still nodded. "Then do you know that if you refuse, you will lose these protections and face their threats directly?" Yi Chen spoke this time. He stared at Cao Jianjia and said word by word, "So what?" Chapter 86. Cao Jianjia. "Yi Chen, you want to die." Yi Chen said, "So what?" And Cao Jianjia was completely dumbfounded. She never expected it. After she explained the pros and cons, Yi Chen still insisted on doing so. He actually turned a deaf ear to the Cao family and politely declined their offer of help. Yi Chen Yu, as the darling of the Cao family, her reputation is even higher than that of Liu Yuan. The pride in Cao Jianjia's heart made her chest heaving with anger. She thought, this time I came to see Yi Chen. She only needs to beckon with her fingers, and the other person will fall at her feet and do whatever she wants. After all, in her opinion, the Cao family's only rival has always been the Liu family, who are on par with them. How could an ordinary person like Yi Chen have any room for maneuver? If Gu Qingshan and Gu Xinling hadn't signed the indenture contract, why would she make this trip to talk to Yi Chen? Little did they know. In Yi Chen's opinion, she looked a little ridiculous. Do you think that just because I've mentioned the Cao family's name, I should be obedient and let you control me? Yi Chen seemed to see through Cao Jianjia's thoughts and smiled slightly. And at this time, Cao Jianjia also calmed down. She stared at Yi Chen and reassessed him. Although Yi Chen in front of him was young, he was as calm as a middle-aged man. What shocked her even more was that, for some unknown reason and purpose, he actually refused the Cao family's help. Could it be that he has the strength to face the Liu family head-on? But the thought was fleeting. No matter how powerful Yi Chen is, he is still just one person, not to mention being compared with the Cao and Liu families, even the slightly inferior Zhuge family. Crushing someone like Yi Chen to death is not much harder than crushing an ant. Cao Jianjia's mind raced, and then she took a deep breath and said, Yi Chen, no matter what, Gu Xinling has already signed the indenture. Even if you don't want the Cao family's help, you can't change this fact. So your Cao family is going to force the sale. Yi Chen raised his eyebrows and looked at Cao Jianjia. A murderous intent flashed across his face. You can think so. Cao Jianjia laughed. This time she felt she had a slight advantage. After all, in her opinion, Gu Qingshan and Gu Xinling are nothing compared to his own life. But who knows? Yi Chen actually values it so much. Such a sentimental person is nothing to worry about. If you think this is my weakness, then you can try it. Yi Chen's eyes were calm, and he spoke lightly. No one can threaten our Cao family. Yi Chen, although you look mysterious and have some good points, don't take yourself too seriously. Originally, we only came here to help you for Gu Qingshan's sake. Having said this, Cao Jianjia paused. Before I came here, there were 4 or 5 people watching. If Liu Yuan knew your exact movements, you would be dead for sure. If I were you, you'd better cooperate with us, or you won't see the sun tomorrow. Cao Jianjia snorted coldly. Good. She likes the proud and upright Yi Chen. After all, those who had been around her in the past were all currying favor with the powerful. Even if she didn't reveal the name of the Cao family, people would still covet her beauty. I finally met Yi Chen, a man with pure eyes without any other thoughts, and of course he looked at him with some appreciation. But if Yi Chen disrespected the Cao family or even refused their help, then he would have no value in existing. I know I will remember this favor, but don't make things difficult for Gu Qingshan. Yi Chen stared at Cao Jianjia and said in a deep voice, Oh, then what benefits does my Cao family have? Or what will you offer as compensation? Having said that, Cao Jianjia's smile became even more pronounced. Compare this to Gu Qingshan, who is on the decline, and Gu Xinling, who has yet to achieve great things. Obviously, she was more interested in Yi Chen in front of her. What a pity! Yi Chen immediately stopped her from thinking about it. Sorry, I'm not interested in you. He couldn't hold back his voice, and it was a little loud. Many people looked over with amused expressions. Oh my God, did I hear that right? That guy actually said he's not interested. Yes, this is a goddess-level beauty, no, a goddess among goddesses. In the entire Magic City, even if you include all the movie stars, there aren't 2 who are prettier than her. If I were this woman, I would definitely turn around and leave. Instead of being bullied here, I might as well just find a few lickers and do whatever I want. Then you don't understand. Few women like to lick dogs, let alone such an arrogant goddess. Come to think of it, if I were her, wouldn't I be pestering this guy? Amidst the discussions, Cao Jianjia's face turned red and white. She was so angry. Yi Chen, can you speak? What do you mean you are not interested in me? When did I ever make you interested in me? Yi Chen spread his hands and shrugged. Sorry, mine. I still say that. If you have any needs, I can satisfy them, but forget about Gu Xinling. Yi Chen is not averse to cooperating with the Cao family, but the Cao family's conditions are too harsh. He didn't want to get Gu Qingshan and his granddaughter into trouble because of him. Cao Jianjia was silent. For her, Gu Xinling alone can only bring limited benefits. On the contrary, after talking with Yi Chen for so long, she intuitively discovered that the benefits Yi Chen brought to the Cao family were unimaginable. In particular, he was able to kill Zhu Chen without anyone noticing. This existence that caused the Cao family such a headache, if it had other abilities. Cao Jianjia looked up. She looked at Yi Chen, who was smiling, and suddenly felt powerless in her heart. She knows. In the end, I lost this conversation. Okay, I promise you, I can leave Gu Xinling alone, but what benefits can you afford to give me? Cao Jianjia blinked and asked Yi Chen. For a behemoth like the Cao family, money is obviously not their thing. There's no need to embarrass myself by showing off my two miraculous gambling stone skills. As for power, you know I come from an ordinary background and can't help you advance further. My skills are just okay, but I guess you guys don't care. Having said that, Yi Chen suddenly widened his eyes. He stared at Cao Jianjia for a few seconds, his expression a little strange. Cao Jianjia was almost laughing at his words. At this time, he asked angrily, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my face? Instead of talking so much, why not say something practical and useful?" The points listed by Yi Chen are indeed of little help to the Cao family. If there was no bargaining chip that could impress her, even if she admired Yi Chen, she would not follow his advice and abandon Gu Xinling. The flowers aren't, but you are indeed sick. Yi Chen shook his head and said to her, "Sick, you are sick." Cao Jianjia's face darkened, and the anger in her eyes almost turned into reality. "Look, you still don't admit it. Listen to me, I'll prescribe you a prescription and guarantee that your illness will be cured in half a month." Yi Chen pointed at her chest and said seriously. Cao Jianjia looked down, her face flushed, and she said angrily, "Yi Chen, you want to die." Chapter 87. The Deal with Cao Jianjia, the Unexpected Class Reunion. Cao Jianjia was really sick. Yi Chen could see it at a glance. But this is Cao Jianjia's unspeakable secret. From childhood to adulthood, no one knew about it except herself, the head of the Cao family, her parents, and the family doctor. But Yi Chen, who was standing in front of her, not only saw it at a glance, but also almost pointed out the cause of her illness. This is really... It made her a little angry and embarrassed. "Yi Chen, you want to die." This sentence made the corners of people's mouths twitch. The conversation between the two was so weird. "Hey, did you guys hear what's going on?" "Of course not. It seems this goddess is sick. No wonder this handsome, rich second generation despises her." "What, sick? She's so beautiful. Could she be suffering from that kind of illness?" "SHH, don't be so loud, someone might hear you." "So what if I heard it? I'm not allowed to say it. If I had a Hennessy Viper GT supercar, what kind of girl would I not be able to pick up?" "That's right. Even if the face is not so pretty, there are always those with good figures. Isn't it the same when the lights are turned off?" Seeing that everyone was becoming more and more explicit in their words, Cao Jianjia's face became more and more gloomy. If it weren't for her good upbringing, which prevented her from losing her temper in front of so many people, she would have beaten these people in the mouth. She suppressed her anger and said in a low voice, "Yi Chen, since you can cure Gu Qingshan, can you cure my illness?" Hearing this, Yi Chen laughed. "Gu Qingshan is different from you. Besides, your Cao family is so wealthy, don't you have a miracle doctor? Besides, the Cao family has strict rules. Didn't we make a deal with Gu Xinling?" Cao Jianjia glared at him. Immediately, she said angrily, "I just want to ask if you can cure it." Yi Chen nodded and said, "Gu Xinling. If you can really cure it, what does a mere Gu Xinling matter to you? Cao Jianjia has a hidden illness, but unfortunately she can't tell outsiders. And, in order to treat her, the Cao family hired many miracle doctors from childhood to adulthood. Among them was Mr. Ning. After Gu Qingshan went to the Cao family last night, the Cao family members immediately went to find Elder Ning to find out what happened. That's why Cao Jianjia came. Yi Chen's Fuxi 9 Needles is magical. He was able to tell Cao Jianjia's illness at a glance, and it was obviously not a matter of luck. If it could be cured, Cao Jianjia forced herself to calm down. Same as the Zhuge family, this generation of the Cao family also established two heirs. One of them is Cao Jianjia. The other one is in the dark and rarely shows up in public. But, different from the Zhuge family, these two people from the Cao family may exchange identities at any time and become the real heirs. Cao Jianjia suffered from a hidden illness. If it could be cured, a mere Gu Xinling naturally cannot be compared with her. You can make the decision. Yi Chen looked at Cao Jianjia with a look of suspicion on his face. You... Cao Jianjia was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. She narrowed her eyes and said coldly, Yi Chen, do you miss Gu Xinling or not? Since you can make the decision, then let Gu Xinling return home first. I will start treating you immediately. Okay, no problem. Cao Jianjia acted decisively and quickly arranged everything after just one phone call. Gu Qingshan and Old Ning were both stunned. They had never expected that the Cao family, who were so difficult to talk to, would not want anything. Gu Xinling was even worried and called Yi Chen. We chatted for a few sentences, and she hung up after confirming. Well, I can still make the decision, right? Cao Jianjia raised her eyebrows and snorted. For some reason, she didn't gain any advantage in the several confrontations with Yi Chen. Yi Chen is like a copper pea, impervious to water, fire, oil, and salt. It even forced her to reveal all her cards and had to be led by Yi Chen. Here, give me your phone. Yi Chen stretched out his hand towards her and said, What do you need a phone for? Cao Jianjia stared at Yi Chen with burning eyes, as if he had bad intentions. But she still unlocked the screen and handed it over. Yi Chen opened the memo, swiped a few times, and wrote a prescription. Here, follow this prescription and drink it for half a month, and you should be fine. He also gave it to Cao Jianjia. Cao Jianjia, who had expected her to get her contact information, was stunned for a moment and asked, No more. Gone. What a joke, even though her hidden illness is serious. She is still young after all, and her body's recovery speed is far from comparable to that of Gu Qingshan, who is on the decline. After taking the medicine for half a month, Yi Chen also considered the worst extreme case scenario. If it still can't be cured, it would be a shame to reward the favorability system. Hearing this, Cao Jianjia was speechless. She didn't expect it to be so simple. Yi Chen just picked it up casually. Cao Jianjia narrowed her eyes and asked, What if it doesn't work? You can ask a famous doctor to look at this prescription. Even if they don't know how to make it, they still have good eyesight. Yi Chen paused and looked at the pretty Cao Jianjia, his heart without any ripples. If it doesn't work with your Cao family's capabilities, if you can't do anything to me, don't you still have Gu Xinling and the others? Cao Jianjia nodded. She slowly exhaled a breath of foul air. If I can really cure my hidden illness, it wouldn't be a loss. Okay, give me the contact information. The Liu family won't take action against you for the time being. Yi Chen frowned slightly. Why is it still temporary, with an expiration date? Cao Jianjia smiled. The Liu family is not to be trifled with. Moreover, Zhu Chen was a talent that the Zhu family valued very much. How could they let it go if he died? But you have 1 month. During this month, the Liu family will not take any action against you. Cao Jianjia asked for Yi Chen's cell phone number. And then, satisfied, she waved her hand and was about to leave. The people on the roadside began to murmur. Look, she's so beautiful. But seriously, what were those two talking about just now? It seems like they've reached some kind of unspeakable deal. Could it be that this handsome, rich second-generation guy doesn't mind that kind of disease? Or does he have it too? Upon hearing this, Yi Chen's mouth twitched. He didn't expect that he would end up bringing disaster upon himself. Puffed he. Even though Cao Jianjia had been angry for a while, she couldn't help but laugh happily. Just at this moment, Yi Chen's phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. He couldn't help but glance at Cao Jianjia. Why are you looking at me? I didn't hit you. Cao Jianjia shook her phone and spoke to him. Yi Chen answered the phone. He didn't expect that it was his college classmate. Hello, Yi Chen, hello. Do you remember I'm Zhang Chengjun? Yi Chen nodded. Of course, he remembered that Zhang Chengjun was a wealthy second generation. Only, apart from class activities, the two of them have no contact at all. A sudden phone call, what's the purpose? Ha, you didn't forget about the class reunion tonight, did you? Come quickly, I'll be waiting for you at the Golden Gate Hotel in Shanghai. Oh right, I just called Zhou Qing, she's coming too. Don't forget to bring a female companion. Chapter 88, taking Cao Jianjia to the class reunion. Class reunion, female companion. Yi Chen frowned. To be honest, since graduating and starting work, he rarely attends such class reunions. One comes, he didn't have much money, and he usually spent most of it on buying gifts for Zhou Qing and living expenses. How could he have any spare money to participate? Secondly, he had an average relationship with those people, or even wasn't very familiar with them, so the conversations were awkward. Among them, there are people like Zhang Chengjun. He was a middle-class, rich second generation who always loved to show off his wealth. He almost hooked up with Zhou Qing. Why, Yi Chen, you don't dare to come. Zhou Qing is fine. If you're scared, that's unacceptable. Yi Chen, we've been classmates for several years. You wouldn't even give me this face, would you? How about this? You don't have to spend a penny today and I'll reimburse your taxi fare. How about that? Cao Jianjia was right next to Yi Chen, and the sound was so loud that it was hard for her not to hear it clearly. Hee hee. She glanced at Yi Chen and was overjoyed. Yi Chen, who is this? A college classmate. Of course we'll go to the class reunion. We'll be there soon. As soon as she finished speaking, Cao Jianjia stretched out her hand and hung up the phone. Yi Chen frowned and asked, "What are you doing?" "Nothing. I'm not asking you to attend a class reunion. I want to see who is showing off in front of you." Cao Jianjia came here early this morning to discuss a deal with Yi Chen. But I didn't expect it. Things turned out that Yi Chen cured her hidden illness as a bargaining chip in exchange for a month of peace. She wanted to get to know Yi Chen better, so wasn't this class reunion a rare opportunity? Yi Chen was speechless and couldn't help rolling his eyes. "Miss Cao, aren't you bored?" But when he wanted to use his cell phone to make another call, Cao Jianjia stopped him. "Yi Chen, everyone has said this. Are you still a man?" "That Zhou Qing? I know she's your ex-girlfriend, and she's also related to the Liu family. If not for my sake, then look at yourself." Cao Jianjia was hinting at something, and Yi Chen could certainly hear it. He also confirmed his previous guess. "That's it. Liu Tao is a member of the Liu family, and is related to the terrible crisis he suffered this time." "Okay, I'll go." Yi Chen took out his car keys and rushed to the Golden Gate Hotel. "Wait, don't forget to bring a female companion." Cao Jianjia raised her eyebrows and got into Yi Chen's Hennessy Viper GT supercar without saying anything. This scene, the onlookers were once again caught up in discussion. "No, what's the matter? He actually got in a supercar. This handsome, rich second-generation guy is really not afraid of getting sick. Haha, seriously, this woman is as beautiful as a fairy. So what if she's sick?" "That's right. If I gave it to you, wouldn't you do it?" Golden Gate Hotel. At this time, the most conspicuous location in the hall, Zhang Chengjun sat in the main seat, and next to him were his lackeys among his college classmates, Zhu Qiang and Song Xiaofeng. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Chengjun was a little confused and threw his latest model of mobile phone on the table. "What's wrong, Junji?" Zhu Qiang and Song Xiaofeng asked with a wry smile. Zhang Chengjun shook his head and asked one of the girls, "Taozi, aren't you very familiar with Zhou Qing? Do you know if there are any other women around Yi Chen?" Even though it's just 2 short sentences, but the numb and sexy voice made Zhang Chengjun feel a little moved, and in his eyes a glimmer of lust flashed by. At first, in college, he was extremely envious of Zhou Qing, but Zhou Qing at that time had not yet entered society and still held a simple view of love. Even if he used money, he couldn't pry her away. Now, haha, Zhang Chengjun thought, if she really is a beauty, he would use money to win her over. Taozi, also known as Wen Tao, is Zhou Qing's roommate. Zhou Qing broke up with him a long time ago. Yi Chen is so poor who would want to date him. Having said that, Wen Tao glanced at Zhang Chengjun's face and instantly understood. Who knows, this guy might be scheming and trick the girl into coming here. You'll have to expose Yi Chen's true face later. She giggled and said meaningfully, "Haha, of course, of course." Zhang Chengjun came to his senses, glanced at everyone and chuckled. "You guys should stay busy later, understand?" He deliberately didn't bring a female companion this time, because he wanted to find one from among the crowd. Because he was the one who paid for the meal, the others also smiled ambiguously. "Boss Zhang has spoken, so of course we have to criticize Yi Chen." Zhang Chengjun was in a good mood. He clapped his hands and called the waiter. "Waiter, give me 2 more bottles of 1982 Lafite." Not long after, Liu Tao and Zhou Qing are here. The two of them had smiles on their faces, and it was obvious that they were not affected by the Liu family's affairs. "Hey, Mr. Zhang, you're so generous to treat us to such a delicious meal." Zhou Qing stepped forward, glanced at Zhang Chengjun, and said with a smile, "To be honest, when she first broke up with Yi Chen, she felt a little regretful. Why were you blind at the time and didn't see Zhang Chengjun, this cash cow? You wouldn't have lived in poverty for several years." Certainly, she has no regrets now. Even though Zhang Chengjun looks decent, tall, thin, and handsome, he can't compare to Liu Tao. Liu Tao is rich. He just said that once he has a child, he will buy her a BMW, a sports car. As for the Golden Gate Hotel, when she was with Yi Chen, it was an unattainable dream for her. But now, I don't even like it. Zhou Qing, you're still as sharp-tongued as before. Zhang Chengjun took a step forward, stared at her twice, and admired her more and more. But looking at her belly, he couldn't help but wonder, Holy crap, are you pregnant? I wanted to have a couple more drinks with you, but it looks like I can only drink with your boyfriend. Liu Tao stood in front of Zhou Qing calmly, squinting his eyes and said, "No problem, I'm just worried that there's not enough laphite here." He is also a man, so of course he understands the expression on Zhang Chengjun's face when he looks at Zhou Qing. But he wasn't too worried. The Golden Gate Hotel looks luxurious and grand. However, it's impossible to get a table in front of the real high-end hotels in Shanghai. As long as Zhou Qing wasn't blind, she would know what to choose. Ha ha ha, so generous, I like it. Zhang Chengjun extended his hand and invited them to sit down. The group of people had a great time chatting with each other under false pretenses. But now it was almost time for dinner and someone said unhappily, "Brother Jun, what's wrong with Yi Chen? It's been so long and he still hasn't arrived. Did he stand you up?" "Ha, he dares." Zhang Chengjun slammed the table angrily. "If you really dare to stand me up, I'll find his rental house and beat him to death." Zhou Qing coughed lightly and reminded in a low voice, "Zhang Chengjun, Yi Chen bought an apartment just over there on Kaianian Road." "What?" Zhang Chengjun was surprised, then he smiled silently. An apartment on Kaianian Road costs nearly tens of millions. He didn't believe Yi Chen could afford it. And at this time, there was a roar of a supercar outside the lobby. Everyone looked up. In a few seconds, I happened to see Yi Chen walking over, accompanied by a stunning goddess. They were stunned. Chapter 89 failed to show off wealth but got slapped in the face. Liu Tao's fear. Boom! The roar of the supercar instantly spread into the hall. Everyone looked up. Even Zhang Chengjun is no exception. Only, no one expected it. Yi Chen came, and next to him was a top-notch goddess they had never seen before. What's going on? There's such a beauty around Yi Chen. Yeah, even those top actresses don't look as pretty as her, and they don't have her body. The sound of the supercar just now, could that car be Yi Chen's? Impossible, he's just a poor loser who can afford a sports car. Zhou Qing wouldn't. Zhou Qing, I don't mean to target you. Did Yi Chen really find a rich girlfriend? At this point, everyone's eyes fell on Zhou Qing and Liu Tao. Zhou Qing's face looked a little ugly. It's not because I'm being compared to others, but it was Cao Jianjia who suddenly appeared in front of him. Forget about Lin Wanmo, she can tolerate it. With the addition of Meng Zixuan, she could still tolerate it. But there was Cao Jianjia right in front of her. How could Zhou Qing bear it? I've known for a long time that he's dishonest and full of bad intentions. Luckily, I left early. Zhou Qing's face fell, and she was burning with anger. Look, he had an affair with their company's boss, Lin Wanmo, and then hooked up with the female star Meng Zixuan, and now he's hooking up with this. Tusk, 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 what money? It's all rewarded by the gigolo. Speaking of this, Zhou Qing looked disdainful. Everyone frowned. Seriously, even if you are just a gigolo, being able to win the heart of such a top-notch goddess is a skill. Many people were envious, but they were reluctant to say it in front of Zhou Qing. Zhang Chengjun was stunned, but quickly said, yes, that's right. I didn't expect that Yi Chen, this kid, would be so useless. He always wants to be kept by a rich woman. It's really embarrassing for a man. At this time, Yi Chen had already walked over with Cao Jianjia. He is rich now, but his clothes are still the same cheap ones. On the other hand, Cao Jianjia, wearing a black evening gown with endless charm, every frown and smile attracted the attention of everyone present. Zhang Chengjun's heart was burning with excitement, and he stood up and walked forward without thinking. He walked up to Cao Jianjia in 2 or 3 steps, put on a gentlemanly smile and said, "Hello, beautiful lady, what's your name?" He turned his head to look at Yi Chen with a complaining look on his face. "Yi Chen, what's going on? Why are you hiding it so deeply? You have such a beautiful girlfriend. Why didn't you introduce her to everyone earlier?" "Who knows?" Cao Jianjia ignored him completely. "No, I didn't even look at him." Yi Chen nodded calmly and said, "She is not my girlfriend, she just came here to eat for free." Free meal? Everyone's mouth twitched, and they covered their faces. Not to mention Cao Jianjia's beautiful appearance and well-proportioned figure. Even her outfit is far from being comparable to street stall goods. Conservative estimate, no less than hundreds of thousands. The small bag in her hand is a limited edition platinum model from Hermes, which is worth at least 1 million. How could such a person possibly eat for free? On the contrary, Yi Chen seemed more like a freeloader. "Yi Chen, you're wrong. Beautiful women come to eat because they want to give us face. How can there be any such thing as free meals?" Zhang Chengjun didn't care and just laughed it off. "Oh, waiter, bring me 2 more bottles of 1982 Lafite." He snapped his fingers in a very impressive manner. The waiter loved this kind of generous customer the most and immediately put on his signature smile. "Okay, sir, please wait a moment." However, Cao Jianjia frowned. Etc. Zhang Chengjun looked a little unhappy when she said this. "What's wrong? This is 1982 Lafite. One bottle costs 50 or 60,000. Could it be that Cao Jianjia in front of him actually doesn't like him?" Cao Jianjia glanced at him and said, "I can't stand the crappy Lafite. Do you have Burgundy or Chevalier Montrachet Chardonnay?" Zhang Chengjun, who was feeling proud just now, couldn't help but shiver. He had naturally heard of Burgundy and Chevalier Montrachet Chardonnay, the king of white wines. One bottle costs over 100,000 yuan, which is almost equivalent to 3 bottles of 1982 Lafite. Compared to Chardonnay, Lafite is really rubbish. Only, in the eyes of ordinary people, the reputation of Lafite 1982 is not as great as that of Lafite 1982. But both the taste and aftertaste are far from comparable to Lafite. Today he took the plunge and spent a fortune to organize this class reunion. However, 5 or 6 bottles of 1982 Lafite would cost about 300,000 yuan. Add this table of food and other expenses, and it would cost at most 500,000 yuan. But if it is replaced with Burgundy, Chevalier Montrachet Chardonnay white wine, that's not something that can be solved with just a few $100,000. It will cost at least 1 million or more. Even though he was rich, he couldn't help feeling worried. And he started to hold a grudge against Cao Jianjia. Wouldn't that embarrass him? "Sorry, no." The waiter shook his head and chuckled. "They don't even have much stock of 1982 Lafite, let alone the even rarer and more expensive Burgundy Chardonnay." Zhang Chengjun breathed a sigh of relief. He stepped forward and said with a smile, "Then it's Lafite, come up here quickly." After waving his hand, he still moved closer to Cao Jianjia, sniffing the fragrance emanating from Cao Jianjia and said, "Beauty, if you can't get used to it, after the class reunion, I can take you out for a midnight snack and find a place that sells Chardonnay." Cao Jianjia looked down upon the nouveau rich Zhang Chengjun. His attentiveness made her feel sick and want to vomit. So, she turned around to look at Yi Chen and asked, "Yi Chen, which one is Zhou Qing?" Zhou Qing was stunned for a moment, then stood up and said, "It's me, what's wrong?" "I don't know why." When she saw Cao Jianjia, she felt ashamed of herself. It never appeared even in Lin Wanmo and Meng Zixuan. No way. Cao Jianjia's aura was too strong as soon as she stepped into the hall. Not only these 20 or 30 classmates, but also other people looked over and admired Cao Jianjia very much. "You are Zhou Qing, so you should be from the Liu family, right?" Cao Jianjia glanced at the fat man Liu Tao, and a frivolous look appeared in her eyes. "How do you know I Liu?" Before he finished speaking, Liu Tao's face changed drastically. The Cao and Liu families are taboos for ordinary people in Magic City. And almost few people know about it. But Cao Jianjia in front of him definitely didn't look like an ordinary person. She actually knew about the Liu family, so could it be that she is from the Cao family? Considering her stunning beauty, the only one who could be her is the pearl of the Cao family. "Are you Cao Jianjia?" Liu Tao took a deep breath, his heart pounding. Cold sweat broke out on my forehead, and I had the urge to leave the table and run away. Zhang Chengjun felt even more upset when he saw that Cao Jianjia ignored him and talked with Zhou Qing and Liu Tao. "What's Liu Jia Cao Jianjia? Is that your name? Beautiful lady, don't just stand there. Look, the 1982 Lafite is here. Have some first and then we can talk about other things." But this time Liu Tao spoke. "Zhang Chengjun, stop showing off your wealth. You don't deserve it at all." Chapter 90. The miserable Zhang Chengjun and Zhou Qing are defeated. Liu Tao said one sentence. Zhang Chengjun was stunned for a moment. He could never have imagined that Liu Tao would actually say such a thing. Isn't this embarrassing him in public? "Liu Tao, what do you mean?" Zhang Chengjun's face darkened and he growled. Then, he turned to look at Zhou Qing with an unhappy look on his face. "Zhou Qing, all your boyfriends are the same. They like to pretend to be rich. Do you know how much money I spent on organizing this class reunion?" He held up 5 fingers and sneered. 50,000. Someone murmured. Zhang Chengjun, who had sharp ears, laughed even louder. "Ha ha ha, 50,000. 50,000 isn't even enough to buy a bottle of 1982 Lafite. 500,000, a full 500,000. This time, the other students were all stunned and looked shocked. The vast majority of them are wage earners. After all, you just graduated from a third-rate university and have only been working for a few years. How much money can you earn? 500,000. I'm afraid they haven't earned that much in the past few years. But who would have thought that this class reunion would cost so much? Many people look at Zhang Chengjun differently. In recent years, they have already been baptized by society and are no longer ignorant college students. Even if Zhang Chengjun has a bad personality and a bad temper, what does it matter? Anyway, it's beneficial to act like a grandson in front of him, so why bother? Especially his two lackeys, they also started shouting. Zhou Qing, it's fine if you bring your boyfriend here to eat and drink for free, but you also say things like that. That's too much. Brother Jun knows all about his temper. He is rich, but it is not something that comes from the wind. If it were not for him, how would we have the opportunity to see these things? Zhu Qiang narrowed his eyes and stared at Zhou Qing, feeling a little annoyed. Exactly. What do you mean by stop showing off your wealth? If you have money, why not show it off? Liu Tao, right? Tell me, have you ever eaten a crab this big? I think you are the real poor guys. You can't stand seeing others showing off their wealth. Song Ziaofeng was even more outrageous, shouting at Liu Tao with mockery in his eyes. This time, it was Zhou Qing and Liu Tao's turn to be stunned. They didn't expect that they would be despised by Zhu Qiang and Song Ziaofeng. Zhu Qiang, Song Ziaofeng, do you really think my husband is like you, a country bumpkin with no sense of experience? Look, do you know this little bag I have? See it. It's a limited edition LV, not much, just under 200,000. And your poor husband, don't look down on his clothes, but they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can never afford them in your lifetime. Zhou Qing laughed in anger, staring at the two of them mercilessly. Seeing that he was slapped in the face, Zhu Qiang and Song Ziaofeng looked embarrassed, but they still insisted. Who knows whether what you said is true or not? Seeing that everyone was arguing with each other, Cao Jianjia turned around and looked at Yi Chen and rolled her eyes at him. Yi Chen, is this really your classmate? Guaranteed genuine. Yi Chen nodded and laughed in silence. Before, he can't play with these classmates. After graduation, we rarely kept in touch. I never thought that I would see all their ugly behaviors at the class reunion. Pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger, I really can't tell. Cao Jianjia curled her lips and stared at Yi Chen for a few more seconds. I don't know why. She always felt that she couldn't see through Yi Chen. Just like now, Zhang Chengjun's original target was Yi Chen, and he wanted to show off his wealth in front of him. But unknowingly, he led her astray, and her anger shifted to Liu Tao and Zhou Qing. How is it possible to say that he did it unintentionally? Okay, enough of the fun, time to go right. Yi Chen looked at the absurd class reunion and couldn't help shaking his head. Leave, I'm afraid I can't leave. Cao Jianjia pointed at Zhang Chengjun and laughed. Yi Chen is fine, but everyone present, as long as they are men, will inevitably be attracted to Cao Jianjia. She has a natural allure. Every frown and smile of hers is the focus of everyone's attention. There's no way she can be compared to a mediocre girl like Zhou Qing. Leave for what? Isn't it common for classmates to have some arguments? Zhang Chengjun calmed down, smiled slightly, and tried to be friendly. Little did they know. In his eyes, Zhang Chengjun is just a clown. Liu Tao sneered, Zhang Chengjun, don't waste your energy. She's from the Cao family. How could the jewel of the Cao family possibly be interested in someone like Zhang Chengjun? Just a small upstart, embarrassing himself in front of her. If it weren't for Yi Chen, she would have left long ago. Wait, Yi Chen. Liu Tao raised his head and looked at Yi Chen, who was calm and composed and couldn't help but get angry. But he also knew. He is no match for Yi Chen. He has been asking for trouble several times before, and now Zhou Qing is pregnant. If he takes action, what if something goes wrong? And there is Cao Jianjia from the Cao family. He knew that if Cao Jianjia was the escort, even if Liu Yuan came, he would probably not get any good results. However, seeing his expression change drastically, Yi Chen smiled slightly and walked forward. Yi Chen, what do you want to do? Liu Tao was trembling and almost couldn't stand. He was sweating profusely, as if he had just been fished out of the water. Nothing, Yi Chen said lightly, but the more he downplayed it, the more frightened Liu Tao became. In his eyes, Yi Chen was like a terrible monster. If he wasn't careful, he would open his bloody mouth and devour anyone he chose. Forget about Zhou Qing, but I haven't forgotten what happened to Meng Zixuan. He stepped forward and patted Liu Tao on the shoulder. The latter only felt a terrible force from his shoulders down, and half of his body was numb. I don't know why. The fear in his heart emerged like mushrooms after rain. Zhou Qing stepped forward and yelled at Yi Chen. Yi Chen, what do you mean? I told you to stop pestering us, but you still won't let go. Do you think you'll be content only if I die? Yi Chen, the corner of his mouth twitched. He never expected that Zhou Qing could be so narcissistic. Not to mention Lin Wanmo. Even Cao Jianjia, who was sitting in front of him, was so much prettier than Zhou Qing. He didn't feel anything, let alone knowing Zhou Qing's true nature. It's not hatred, it's more like we're just strangers. Cao Jianjia stepped forward and said to Zhou Qing, "Are you the Liu family's daughter-in-law?" "So what?" Zhou Qing snorted coldly and looked at Cao Jianjia. Her face was distorted with jealousy. "How about it? You don't think you're very good-looking, do you? Whether it's Lin Wanmo or Meng Zixuan, they're 1,000 times uglier than you." Hearing this, Zhou Qing's face suddenly turned red. But Liu Tao, who was standing by, didn't have the courage to stop it. He is just a branch of the Liu family. How can he be compared with a legitimate daughter like Cao Jianjia? So, not only did he not stop it, but he kept winking at Zhou Qing. Zhou Qing pretended not to see it, and was about to speak when Cao Jianjia spoke first. "Look at yourself. It's okay if you're ugly, but you're so narcissistic. Do you think Yi Chen is pestering you? If I were you, I would have died of shame. How could I have the nerve to stay here?" Chapter 91. What? This supercar belongs to Yi Chen. Yi Chen didn't expect it. Cao Jianjia, who looks elegant and charming, is even more sharp-tongued than Zhou Qing. After these words were spoken, everyone present was dumbfounded. Yo. Especially Zhou Qing. Her face turned purple and she stomped her feet in anger. What puzzled her even more was, Liu Tao has always treated her as a treasure and held her in the palm of his hand. Now he has become mute. Furious, she turned around and stared at Liu Tao, shouting, "Liu Tao, are you a man? Your wife is being treated like that and you're still standing there? Hit her. Go up and slap her in the face." Zhou Qing turned into a shrew and behaved in an ugly manner. Everyone who was watching turned their heads away. Many people are now beginning to understand Yi Chen. What kind of good attitude and temper does one have to be able to date Zhou Qing for several years? "Zhou Qing, don't do this, don't do this. That's Cao Jianjia, the jewel of the Cao family. We can't afford to offend her." Liu Tao looked embarrassed and tried to comfort her carefully. "What a pity." Zhou Qing didn't appreciate it at all. She still insisted, "I don't care. If you don't avenge me today, I won't go back." And she also pointed at the baby in her belly with a threatening look on her face. "Zhou Qing, you." This time, it was Liu Tao's turn to be angry. He didn't expect Zhou Qing to be so arrogant and unreasonable. The person from the Cao family, Cao Jianjia, who is that person? She looks stunningly beautiful, harmless, and has a good temperament. But when she really gets angry, she becomes a character that even Liu Yuan is afraid of. If they really wanted to turn against Cao Jianjia, they would be no match for her. Seeing that the class reunion had turned into a farce, Zhang Chengjun rolled his eyes and planned to run away. Anyway, after this time, I won't have any more interactions with them, so I might as well cheat them. At least I can get the money for the food and drinks. Hey, Yi Chen, aren't you pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? And you, Zhou Qing and Liu Tao, actually embarrass me. You deserve to be punished. Zhang Chengjun thought to himself and was about to leave. However, Yi Chen stood in front of him. "Zhang Chengjun, where are you going?" Yi Chen stared at him and smiled slightly. "No, I didn't go anywhere. I went to the bathroom because I had to pee." Zhang Chengjun's face froze and his eyes flickered. "You can go to the bathroom, but pay the bill first." Yi Chen pointed to the cashier counter and said lightly. This sound made everyone present quiet down. Especially Zhou Qing, who had just been arguing with Liu Tao, turned around and yelled at Zhang Chengjun. "Zhang Chengjun, what do you mean by this? Are you planning on running away and letting us pay the bill?" For a moment, the whole hall was in an uproar. "Zhang Chengjun, what do you mean? Are you still classmates? Why are you trying to trick us? Humph, why are you pretending to be rich when you don't have any money? You actually did this, how shameless." Luckily, Yi Chen found out. Otherwise, he would have really screwed us over, and we wouldn't have had a single drop of tears. Hehe, what's with all the classmates showing off their wealth? From what I see, he's just a clown. Right now, everyone saw it. Zhang Chengjun failed to show off his wealth and planned to run away. Who said I wanted to default on my debt? Humph, go pay it right now. Zhang Chengjun glared at Yi Chen fiercely and reluctantly went to the cashier to pay. Looking at the deductions of hundreds of thousands of dollars, he felt extremely miserable. Damn it, if I had known this would happen, I might as well have gone straight to find a beautiful woman. Zhang Chengjun was so angry that he paid the bill and ran away without even saying goodbye. Tusk, look at him like that, how painful it must be. Yeah, since they failed to trick us, this is the only way. If I had known this would happen, why did I do it in the first place? Yi Chen is such a nice guy, he didn't let us suffer any loss. Heh, with all the good wine and food left, it's time to have a good meal. Most of these students are just ordinary people. Even the Golden Gate Hotel probably can't afford it. Of course, I won't let go of the opportunity to get something for free. Even Zhang Chengjun's lackeys Zhu Qiang and Song Xiaofeng. The two of them looked at each other, lowered their heads and said nothing, just focusing on eating and drinking. Seeing this scene, Cao Jianjia felt bored. Yi Chen, are you leaving or not? Cao Jianjia glanced at everyone present, and her eyes fell on Yi Chen. She really couldn't understand how someone as outstanding as Yi Chen could have such a classmate. But think about it. Yi Chen's background is ordinary, and the abilities he has demonstrated before are also ordinary. Only, it seems that he completely transformed after he had an intersection with Lin Wanmo. He has become unfathomable, and even the Cao family wants to win him over. If the prescription that Yi Chen prescribed for himself is really fine, this investment will definitely make a lot of money. Well, let's go. Yi Chen didn't even look at them, and didn't take Zhou Qing seriously at all. Instead, Liu Tao came up and said to Cao Jianjia with a wry smile, "My wife was ignorant and offended you before. Please don't be offended." All right, are you still embarrassing yourself here? Cao Jianjia looked impatient and didn't bother to pay attention to him. After watching the two leave, Liu Tao breathed a sigh of relief and said to Zhou Qing, "Zhou Qing, don't do this again. You scared me to death. If we really offend her, we..." However, Zhou Qing's gaze was outside the hall. Just see, the most conspicuous location in the parking lot. Yi Chen took Cao Jianjia and got into the Hennessy Viper GT supercar. This supercar actually belongs to Yi Chen. Zhou Qing was completely dumbfounded when she saw the fat and big-eared Liu Tao in front of her. She never expected it. Yi Chen, whom he kicked away, could actually afford such a sports car. And think about the apartment he bought. Zhou Qing regretted it to the extreme. Not just her. Many classmates looked over. Hey, what's going on? Isn't Yi Chen a famous poor loser? Yeah, it's incredible that he drives such an expensive supercar. Tell me, has this kid been pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger all the time? Damn, how hateful. If I had known this would happen, I would have tried to curry favor with him. What the hell is Zhang Chengjun? Ha, we're not that unlucky. The unluckiest one is Zhou Qing, who actually kicked such a thick thigh away. SHH, don't say that, she'll get angry with you later. Amidst the discussions, the roar of a sports car faded away. Yi Chen, didn't I just say I'd treat you to a meal? What do you want to eat? Cao Jianjia, who was sitting in the passenger seat, asked with narrowed eyes. Anything is fine, I'm not picky. When someone invites him to dinner, Yi Chen is of course happy to save money. As for the relationship with Cao Jianjia, there won't be any sparks. How could such a big and powerful family think highly of me? I'm afraid that in Cao Jianjia's eyes, he is not even as good as Liu Tao. So there is no need to worry about Lin Wanmo. Okay, then you pick the place, I'll follow you. This was the first time that Cao Jianjia couldn't stay outside for a long time because of a hidden illness. Thinking about being able to be free in the future without any obstacles, her mood also lifted up along with the corners of her mouth, slightly. Chapter 92, Jealous Zhou Qing and Lin Wanmo's Decision. In the villa, Lin Wanmo had just finished running and felt a little tired. She took a towel to wipe the sweat off her face, leaned back on the sofa, and ate some fruit. Ever since I got pregnant and talked to Yi Chen, Lin Wanmo pays great attention to diet, nutrition, and daily routine. This is not take advantage of the weekend to relax. She went out for a run. Only, she felt a little empty in her heart and unconsciously thought of Yi Chen. What is he doing now? Is he home alone or out playing with others? Thinking of this, Lin Wanmo shook her head and laughed in silence. Lin Wanmo, have you fallen? Good. As a man, Yi Chen is not only handsome, but also calm and reliable. It also solved a lot of problems for her. Ding, ding, ding. Lin Wanmo was startled by the sudden ringing of the phone. She was stunned for a moment, took it off the treadmill and took a look. It was an unfamiliar number. She thought it might be a sales call or something, so she hung up. But I didn't expect it. The other party immediately called again. So persistent. Lin Wanmo frowned slightly, thought about it, and pressed the answer button. Hello, who is this? Lin Wanmo, it's me, Zhou Qing. Hearing Zhou Qing's voice, Lin Wanmo was stunned for a moment, then reacted. Where did you call from, and what do you want from me? Lin Wanmo sneered and asked with narrowed eyes. She thought it was a sales call, but unexpectedly, it was Yi Chen's ex-girlfriend Zhou Qing. Why all this hostility? Heh, you probably don't know what Yi Chen is doing. Zhou Qing snorted coldly, her words full of frivolous smile. Just now, she came out of the Golden Gate Hotel and became angrier the more she thought about it. In anger, she was merciless to Liu Tao and scolded him. This is not satisfying. She asked Liu Tao to use his connections to find Lin Wanmo's private number, and then she called. Fortunately, Lin Wanmo answered the call, which made her feel relieved. Yi Chen, who told you to act like a loser in front of me and embarrass me all day long. This time, just wait and see how I separate you and Lin Wanmo. Driven by jealousy, Zhou Qing couldn't bear to see Yi Chen and Cao Jianjia leave so casually, which led to this incident. Hearing Yi Chen, Lin Wanmo smiled. Zhou Qing, you and Yi Chen have already broken up. Why bother to keep pestering me? Lin Wanmo believes Yi Chen. Since he knows Zhou Qing's character, will he still pester Zhou Qing? How is that possible? The only explanation is that Zhou Qing is still dissatisfied with Yi Chen and wants to slander him. Really? As she expected, Zhou Qing's next sentence was, I know we broke up, but you don't know where he is now, right? Lin Wanmo shook her head and said calmly, Zhou Qing, don't waste your time. I think you should forget about Yi Chen as soon as possible and stop harassing me. Having said that, she wanted to hang up the phone and block it. Wait until I finish. Today is the weekend, and one of our classmates is organizing a class reunion. Guess who Yi Chen brought to attend? Heh, a beauty, a big beauty, not inferior to your big beauty. Just now, the two of them went to eat together. I don't know what they did after dinner. Zhou Qing hung up the phone decisively, without waiting for Lin Wanmo to ask any more questions. She did this just to disgust people, to disgust Yi Chen and Lin Wanmo. And if Lin Wanmo finds out that Yi Chen and Cao Jianjia are together, then there is absolutely no chance for Yi Chen and Lin Wanmo. Zhou Qing. However, there was a beeping sound from the phone, and Lin Wanmo had to put it down and frowned. This should be easy to confirm. Did Yi Chen really go out with another woman? But given his personality, he shouldn't do anything. It's just. But as a woman, Lin Wanmo was of course a little jealous. Of course, it's not jealousy at all. She took a deep breath, forced herself to calm down, and then dialed the number. Yi Chen, who was eating on the roadside, picked up the phone and saw that it was Lin Wanmo calling. After he answered the phone before he could speak, Lin Wanmo asked, Yi Chen, where are you now? We're eating out, what's wrong? Yi Chen was very observant and could hear the jealousy in Lin Wanmo's tone. With whom? For some reason, a trace of worry flashed through Lin Wanmo's mind. Cao Jianjia, the jewel of the Cao family. Wanmo, don't overthink it. Speaking of this, Yi Chen's eyes lit up. He said to Cao Jianjia, who was standing in front of him, Cao Jianjia, are you interested in investing in AI Shang Medical Beauty? Invest? Cao Jianjia put down her bowl and chopsticks, glanced at Yi Chen, and immediately understood. He's checking on you even when you're having a meal. How worried is President Lin about you? Yi Chen stared at her and asked, Cao Jianjia, whether you will vote or not, just give me the answer. Yi Chen's funds are now all in the stock market, and he will have to wait a week before he can withdraw them. But Cao Jianjia is different. Since she was able to find me, it means that she has a special status in the Cao family. For the wealthy Cao family, money has never been a problem. As for the money issue, I can only make suggestions and cannot make the final decision. However, I will let the Cao family know. Cao Jianjia thought for a moment and said to Yi Chen, Okay, let Wanmo talk to you then. Yi Chen said this and picked up the phone again. Wanmo, something happened before, so I'm having dinner with her outside. Are you free tonight? I'll have a good chat with you then. After hearing what Yi Chen said, Lin Wanmo finally breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, no problem. After hanging up the phone, Lin Wanmo laughed at herself. Lin Wanmo, you really underestimated Yi Chen and yourself. Yi Chen will not let you down, and you should also be more confident. What kind of woman would snatch Yi Chen away? Little did they know. If she saw Cao Jianjia's appearance, she would definitely be shocked and become alert again. Pity. Giants like the Cao family and the Liu family are all hiding in the dark. Even though she came from a wealthy family, neither Lin Yao nor Zheng Xiangyun had ever mentioned the Cao family to her. Lin Wanmo, don't question Yi Chen anymore. Otherwise, it will only make you distrust him and become unhappy. She took a deep breath and finally made a decision. The other side, Cao Jianjia, who was selling things at the roadside stall, stared at Yi Chen twice. She narrowed her eyes and asked, Are you attracted to her? Yi Chen nodded. It has to be said that during this period of time, his affection for Lin Wanmo has grown day by day, and their feelings have become increasingly deep. Unconsciously, he has fallen in love with Lin Wanmo. How is she better than me? Cao Jianjia is a woman after all, so of course she likes to compare. She's better than you in every way. Yi Chen spoke seriously, word by word. Chapter 93, Yi Chen's plan. The apartment is not enough, so should he buy a villa? Cao Jianjia, am I really that useless? She rolled her eyes and said unhappily, certainly. This is also half a joke. Thinking of her, Cao Jianjia, she is not exactly the most beautiful woman in the country, but she is almost the same. In this magical city, it is not widely known to outsiders just because of the Cao family, but in the real circle of aristocratic families, who wouldn't be moved by her beauty. What a pity! Cao Jianjia's intention is not here. She wants to become the head of the Cao family and take control of the situation as a woman. This idea was unique and overturned the Cao family's hundreds of years of tradition. The pressure can be imagined, but she thought to herself that she had this ability, which was like a gift from heaven. But if she didn't take it, she would suffer the consequences. If you want to compete with the Liu family, you must rely on her, Cao Jianjia. It's not completely useless. I don't believe what you said just now. If you do this well, I will give you some benefits. Yi Chen smiled slightly and said to the peerlessly beautiful Cao Jianjia, it's not that Cao Jianjia is not good-looking. Only, his whole heart is now on Lin Wanmo. What's more, Lin Wanmo is pregnant with his child. He also thought that after solving the stock problem, he should let Lin Wanmo have a good vacation. If she keeps working like this, it will have some impact on her and the baby in her belly. Benefits? What benefits can you give me? Cao Jianjia raised her eyebrows and stared at Yi Chen. As for money, the Cao family doesn't even need to think about it. In the entire Magic City, only the Liu family can be compared to the invisible rich family. If he wants power, what qualifications does Yi Chen have to provide her with help? Cao Jianjia, everyone ages, but you probably won't be interested in the anti-aging products on the market. But I can. At least keep your appearance the same as it is now for more than 15 years, without any side effects. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and spoke word by word. There are many beauty products on the market today. For example, face slimming injections and hyaluronic acid essences. But the prices are too scary and not affordable for ordinary people. And the effect was very good at the beginning, and I looked beautiful and young. But once the deadline has passed and you get older, the symptoms will rebound immediately. Not only does it damage the skin, but it also ages you very quickly. At 40, you look like a 60-year-old woman and you can't even face people. When Cao Jianjia heard this, her heart was pounding. Which woman doesn't love beauty? Which woman is not afraid of getting old? She, Cao Jianjia, is no exception. Real? But she quickly shook her head and sneered. Don't say that first. Let me see the effect of your recipe. If this recipe really works, I'll immediately solve the funding problem for Lin Wanmo and AI Shang Medical Beauty. But if it doesn't work, you should know the consequences. Cao Jianjia snorted coldly and stared at Yi Chen with a hint of warning. Certainly. Yi Chen nodded and smiled slightly. Next, the two finished the meal in a very harmonious atmosphere. Don't worry about the Liu family, I'm leaving first. After Cao Jianjia finished speaking, she waved towards the street. Soon, a low-key and steady Maybach drove over. Watching Cao Jianjia leave, Yi Chen narrowed his eyes and fell into deep thought. Reeds are lush and green, white dew turns to frost. My beloved is on the other side of the water. This Cao Jianjia is no less beautiful than Lin Wanmo, and she gives people a lot of pressure invisibly. Children of noble families should not be underestimated. Yi Chen took a deep breath, looked towards the street and sneered. How could such an important character like Cao Jianjia not be protected in secret? As for the other team, they were naturally from the Chen family. However, just as Cao Jianjia said, the Cao and Liu families temporarily reached an agreement and did not take action against him. Within a month, I need to figure out everything about the Liu family and eradicate it completely. Beneath Yi Chen's handsome face, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. There is always a saying that there is only 1,000 years of being a thief, but there is no such thing as being targeted by a thief for 1,000 years. Yi Chen is no exception. The Liu family actually took action against him because of Zhu Chen, so they should bear Yi Chen's wrath. However, what's bothering me now is what Lin Wanmo should think. After all, she is a woman. No matter how capable she is, she can't stand seeing her man being with others, right? It was nap time, so Yi Chen didn't bother to disturb them, but returned to Millennium Road. Returned to the apartment. As soon as I opened the door opposite opened. Hu Xiaoyao and Meng Zixuan came over. Yi Chen, where have you been? We were so worried about you, and you didn't even answer the phone. Hu Xiaoyao glared at Yi Chen and said viciously. She had been worried to death for most of the day, fearing that something might happen to Yi Chen. Only when he saw Yi Chen in front of him did he feel relieved. Yeah, where have you been? Sister Qing just called me and I didn't tell her. Beside Hu Xiaoyao, Meng Zixuan said cautiously. They are just ordinary people. Although they have a stronger ability to accept things than ordinary people, they obviously have not yet completely recovered from it. I went to a class reunion. Yi Chen gave the two women a reassuring look and smiled slightly. Isn't he back now? Besides, the matter is almost resolved. It's just that this place isn't very safe. We need to find another place. Originally, Millennium Road is a good choice. But who knows, will the Liu family and the Zhuge family take action against Hu Xiaoyao and Meng Zixuan out of anger and humiliation? Moving away from here temporarily is a good choice. Moving away, but Hu Xiaoyao was in a dilemma. She finally settled down here and lived with Yi Chen, close to the company. It's okay, it's not like I won't come back, it's just for now, Yi Chen said seriously and persuaded Hu Xiaoyao. At this moment, Meng Zixuan's eyes turned. Sister Qing just told me that she has found a villa. How about we go there together? She looked at Yi Chen and Hu Xiaoyao eagerly with a pleading look on her face. She asked someone from the Liu family to get this villa. They did a great job keeping it secret, so no one else would know about it. Can? Yi Chen nodded and glanced at Hu Xiaoyao. You guys go ahead, I have something to do tonight. I'll come find you when I'm done. This matter, the cause was actually Meng Zixuan. If we hide this little girl, there won't be so much trouble. Only, just like Hu Xiaoyao said, I finally got the apartment, but I didn't expect to move to a villa. Although it is possible to come back and live here, Yi Chen feels that there is probably no chance. The three chatted for a while, and Yi Chen helped Meng Zixuan and Hu Xiaoyao pack their things. Including his own work, it was almost 6 o'clock in the evening when he finished. Yi Chen will go there first. I'll send you the address when we get there. Meng Zixuan waved at Yi Chen and said to him, Wait a moment. Yi Chen stopped them. He handed over the Volvo car keys and said to Meng Zixuan, Don't drive your car, use mine. Then, he drove the Hennessy Viper GT supercar straight to Lin Wanmo's house. Chapter 94. Poor Peng Shuai got slapped in the face again. Villa. Lin Wanmo felt much better after getting up in the afternoon. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, she planned to go out to buy some ingredients and cook for herself. Firstly, she is pregnant now, and the things outside are not clean or hygienic enough. Secondly, of course, I have an appointment with Yi Chen. He will come over tonight. Certainly, the most important thing is that the nanny she hired had some matters to do these days, and took leave to go back to her hometown. Oh no, I don't know what Yi Chen likes to eat. Lin Wanmo suddenly thought of this and was a little dumbfounded. But it's not appropriate to ask him now. Thinking of this, Lin Wanmo picked out a fish, bought some tenderloin, an old hen for stewing, and some seasonal vegetables. Only, when buying groceries, she attracted countless people's attention wherever she went. In their opinion, with this appearance, can she cook like ordinary people? As soon as I returned to the villa, I saw Peng Shuai's sports car parked at the gate. Lin Wanmo frowned and thought to herself, what is Peng Shuai up to now? She has no feelings for Peng Shuai at all. Not to mention Peng Shuai, who is full of bad intentions. It might be him who is behind Wang Kao. Besides, now that the relationship with Yi Chen is getting closer and closer, there will naturally be no complications at this critical juncture. Wanmo, you're back. Peng Shuai got out of the car with a bouquet of bright red roses and 2 tickets to a late-night movie. I've already chosen a French restaurant with a 3-star Michelin professional chef and imported ingredients. What do you think? After dinner, we can go see a movie together. However, before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Lin Wanmo. Peng Shuai, I've told you many times, don't come to me again. It's impossible for us to be together. Lin Wanmo shook her head with a cold expression. Peng Shuai knows that she doesn't like him, but she keeps pestering him. She is so shameless. Lin Wanmo, don't be so heartless. Peng Shuai didn't care at all. He already knew Lin Wanmo's attitude. Only, he still has a trump card. You should also know that if the stock price collapses, it will affect the company's operations, and in the end, it may very well lead to bankruptcy. As long as you agree to have dinner and watch a movie with me, I'll help you solve it right away. How about that? Lin Wanmo's face became even gloomier. She took a deep breath, suppressed the anger in her heart, and said, Peng Shuai, if you were a little more normal, I wouldn't like you, but I wouldn't hate you either. But if you use despicable means to force me to submit like you are doing now, do you think I would agree? Having said that, she snorted coldly. Peng Shuai froze in place. Immediately, he felt a surge of anger in his heart and was furious on the spot. Lin Wanmo, don't refuse a toast and then drink a penalty. I'm talking to you softly and trying to persuade you, and you're just so disrespectful. Humph, let me tell you, what's wrong with me being a scumbag? Business is like a battlefield. Only those who survive are the winners. The means and process are not important. It seems you haven't understood this yet. Heh. When your AI Shang Medical Beauty goes bankrupt, it will be mine, Peng Shuai's. Peng Shuai was in a good mood when she said this. He sneered and stared at the charming Lin Wanmo. The greed in his bones made him want to pounce on her immediately. Peng Shuai, I knew it was you who did this. How shameless.